dream. Setting that pace like I'm doing up FIFA. Innovating the scene with an ether. Lift up the team like follow the leader. How many times did I compromise to make deals on the side cause I got too eager? That's broke boy trying to get a feature. Now I get paid for the rhythm, it's leisure. Used to be so low, reminisce way back when I was alone. Got pain from my mind this decade ago. This wave that I rode was out of control. Can't tell a boy stick to the code if he got built living inside of his soul. Man, I have to pray to God to let it all go. We've been here before, if you know, then you know. I can't put you say behind my back cause you know I can't waste my energy on people that I don't see. You never could do anything that ever face me. I'm not the type to hold the grudge cause I don't run away. Can't put you say behind my back cause you know I can't waste my energy on people that I don't see. You never could do anything that ever face me. I'm not the type to hold the grudge cause I don't run away.
But what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever the Final Central watch party, where today we'll be checking out the NA ProHubs. This is the final weekend for ProHubs before we hit playoffs. So if you guys are new, thank you for tuning in. Also bear with us as this is the first time we've done a live event here on the channel. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me, I am Sam. I am one of the co-hosts of the Final Central. Very happy to be here and very happy to all of you for being here. As well as thanking you all, for being a part of the channel. This has obviously grown really quickly, and so this is something that when we started the channel, we knew this wanted to be one of our biggest things. So thank you so much for tuning in. Bear with us as I'll be working on some things on the side to get this up and running. But yeah, we should be kicking off the matches here any moment. I know their stream starts at 8, so if you guys are not familiar though, check out our description of this stream. There will be a link to our Discord where you can hang out and chat. I'll be hopping in there a little bit later, as well to hang out with you guys who are over there. So make sure you join up and check that out. What's going on, Finny? What's up, Bonok? How you doing, guys? Cody, who is the other co-host of this channel, is currently out of power out in California. Sounds like it's going to be on late tonight. So TBD on if he's going to join up, but typically it'd be the two of us here, watching these parties together. This is meant to be a totally chill stream. So, big shout out to the ProHubs for allowing us to do this. And yeah. What's up, Brutal? Is that the bracket you're playing in, brother? I'm excited to see it too. I'm excited for all the matches. I've been busy this week. Oh, looks like we're starting. Let's get into it.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Pro League Season 0. This is Playday number 10. We've made it all the way. I'm sorry, it's 8. I don't know why I had 10 in my head. We had 4 and 4, and I thought that the number at the bottom was wrong, but I am the one that is wrong. So, welcome everybody. Numbers are hard. My name is Rio, and I am joined by the wonderful Mr. Merch. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Rio. I am so excited to be here. It is the last play day and the last group as EU finished up this morning. I'm very excited to see what's going on, what we have in store today.
Yeah, I am amazed by what I saw earlier today in the EU games, and big shout out because those were also cast by one of the players that we're going to be seeing today, STN, and he actually did a wonderful job. I think he was really riffing well with Jerry there, so just really am kind of his team on the Bricked side here shortly, but let's take a quick look at the lineup for Group A, because this is where we will be getting started with here momentarily. And yeah, in just a second, we'll get it. So hang on there for a minute. But I can just go ahead and go over the lineup because I've got it pulled up. But it is Bricked, Scallywags, Oni Legends, and the Blowers. So there's some really interesting teams in there. And kind of looking over kind of the overall scoreboard, we have Bricked on the top with 2,700 points. So they have really kind of gotten their number up there. And then following that, closely behind is we have the Scallywags in 8th, we have Oni Legends sadly in 12th, and the Blowers are pretty much straight in the middle, just a little over that at 5th place. So yeah, there is our scoreboard down in the right hand side. Those are the scores for today. They will be updated as we go through, but if you want to take a look at everybody's standing right now, there are some teams that are kind of a little bit struggling, and they're kind of down in the yellow section right now. So if you're a fan of one of these teams, they need their support. They need you rooting them on and getting them ready for the matches today so that they kind of get moved up in the topper bracket, so it helps them with the seeding moving forward into the playoffs. So that's kind of the quick overview of what's going on. This is a very interesting lobby because we kind of have everybody all over the place. Do you have any thoughts on kind of what we're about to see there, Merch?
Well, a lot can be shaken up here, aside from the fact that I believe Bricked is essentially cemented in first place. I think they could play with their monitors turned off today if they wanted to, and still have a pretty easy time maintaining first. But other than that, I'm just excited to see how, if at all, the meta has shaken up for the Pro League with this recent patch. It was a huge mid-season patch. We see the Nullifier, previously known as the stun gun, so I'm intrigued and optimistic to see maybe some shakeups in the meta, because I think something needed to change for quite some time. Looking forward to it.
I think you're right, and I was talking to everybody beforehand, and I think that they saw the Nullifier used 2 or 3 times in the EU side. So I'm curious to see if maybe the NA side is a little bit different, if some people just absolutely have to run it, or if they just don't feel like running at all. We're going to find out. And chat, I hope you guys are excited as well, because we're going to be getting into it. Let us know, what do you think about the new Nullifier? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Does it have no place in the game? Let us know your spicy take, and I'll read it out loud a little bit later. But we are getting started. This is Beyond Soul under construction. This is a very interesting lobby, so get excited, look at the teams up top, find your color, and follow along as we get started.
Yeah, we are underway here. Obviously, have to jump on board with Brick as we have Stooge just not missing to start things off. He has more enemies in his sight, and those are unfortunately the blowers who look to be dropping like flies. However, Busy's going to get dropped and then instantly defibbed by STN. That's a full reset for Brick. Still looking to get work done around here. The fight hasn't really commenced much more as Ethanol gets the reset on Normalize here, and we're going to look for another engagement that's about to take place in the staircase. Huge red going back and forth. I believe he caught that and sent it.
Yeah.
Incredible reaction time out of STN.
Yeah,
It
welcome.
an
This
absolute
is
freak.
we're
Doesn't
still
know
new to it
Normalize
as
is in the stairs
well.
though.
It's probably just
but
gonna be me
unfortunately,
piloting this one tonight.
For Normalize, he looked away at the last second and doesn't catch him there. Busy's going to get a pick with the sledgehammer.
Solo doloing it,
Another
but maybe
is
he gets
going
power
to
and helps
fall
on
to
hold
the
it.
DMR or Pike, I should
yeah,
say. And that's
those
again,
of you
that's
who are
now
just
going to be
joining in
a
and
wipe
such,
for the blowers.
essentially
so
we
Brick
have
looking to
Brick
secure
in
this money
game,
and
which
the
is
hospital
pretty much
side
one
of
of the best
things,
teams
one of
right
the
now.
hardest
That
cash outs to
consists
push,
of
and we
Stooge,
see that bridge getting worked on
STN,
as well.
and
But
Busy.
now up top we have Oni Legends who have struggled a bit so far in the
Yeah,
Pro
I will
League.
tell him
Jumping
to
aboard
phase
with
power
strafes
roll,
here,
but
some nice shots.
consists of
Looking
those
to
three
get the finish.
players,
He does take
and
out
they're
Gremlin,
so in
and
the
they
lead
also
as far
have
as
a
points
cash
go
out
that,
A
you know, it's
underway.
pretty much
That's
solidified for them.
another
They're gonna
pick in the hands
pretty
of
much
Walio.
just
Belize is going to get one as well, but that's a
if they
two-piece
want.
coming
They
in
had a
from
really
strafes
dominant
and
lead
a
last
wipe
week,
for the Scallywags. Nice work early
my audio
out
is
of
a little
Oni
low.
Legends.
Okay,
However,
is that better?
he's taking some more shots. Looks like
I
a
can
third
also
party's
gain it
on
up.
the way.
Yep, and there is that nullifier.
Yeah, thank
in
you. I'm
hand, so
trying
we
to
see one
balance
person
it all at
running
the same
already,
time, so
and he
definitely let me know
immediately
if you
gets
can't
caught
hear
out.
anything.
He has to dive into that
and I'll
building,
make
able to
adjustments.
get away with a sliver of HP, but sadly that is the end for Pure Strafes as he goes down in a pretty convincing way to Normalize.
Okay.
Normalize
If
now
it's too
spotting out
loud or
his
too quiet,
next
definitely let me
victim,
know,
but unable
and I'll
to
make
find the
adjustments.
shots, so he's going to run away, going to that crane, which is a very
So as I
good
was saying though,
vantage
this
point for him
does
to be
Brick
in,
consists
and the
of
blowers look like they're in a
STN,
really good spot
Stooge,
right now,
and
as Cash Out A is about halfway done.
Busy,
Here is the push
Busy
for Oni
OW.
Legends and potentially Scallywags
says
as
I'm
well.
streaming
There are
Legends.
3 teams
Why?
here because nobody wants
Okay,
to deal with
thank you
the
for that.
other
I will
cash
fix
out.
it.
It is quite stacked and
but,
quite hard to do. But looking
this
at the
team is
loadout
so
and
in
kind
the
of
lead as
layout
far
right
as
now
the
of
leaderboard
blowers, we
goes
see they have
that
a good vantage point overhead. They're also set
they
up in a
pretty
nice
much
little
can
boost
pop
structure
stomp for the
and
next
ready
4
to kind of
games,
stop anybody
and
and
that would
jump
be it.
over there immediately as they go for
Okay,
the
let me
cash
turn
out.
myself up
It's
one more time.
interesting how everything is kind of slowed down. Nobody really
Is
wants
that better?
to go for anything just yet. There they go. They're pushing up the crane. They know he's up there. They have
Actually,
to
might
get him, but the
be-
crane provides you with so much protection. It's really imperative that they bring it down. There's that red barrel. That's where it's going. It's going directly for that crane. Another one right after it, and that crane will be falling down. Should be anyway. I can't tell as it is.
Yeah, Busy has been rocking the sledge, which is surprising because he was running the SA 1216 basically all day yesterday while I was watching his stream. So I'm definitely surprised that he's out here with the sledge, but I'm also not too surprised. That is something that Walt's actually talked about. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see.
They've got to stop him. There's the stop. The blowers have done it. There's not enough time, but the Scallywags are here too. Everybody's just fighting left and right. This is insanity on the point. It doesn't even matter. The cash has been taken. There's Gremlin trying to get his teammate back up, but this is already just insanity, and these teams are ready to fight.
Yeah, that was a huge opening fight.
Soul Construction is
every
basically
team
just
opting to
fighting
not even
middle
contest
point and
Brick,
just
so Brick gets away
TDMing your
with
way
one.
through it,
And
which is
beautiful
crazy.
play out of the blowers, specifically Normalized, who really made that happen, just absolutely controlling the crane. They dropped it, but it was just a bit too late. We now have Gremlin picking up assist on STN. This is just a follow-up fight here right now. I mean, they could be...
Yeah,
showing an
MFK,
important
I
position. You wanna
also
maintain
kind of
up
hope it
here,
doesn't.
but it looks like they're
I
gonna
think
go
it's in a
over to
good
3
spot right
anyway,
now, all
so
things
just a bit
considered.
of an
I do know
unnecessary fight,
that
but the wipe
the
is
whole
gonna take
wind-up
place.
issue
They're
is
gonna get the
considered
tap, and it looks
sort
like
of an
Oni
exploit
Legends
slash
and
sort
Brick
of
have
tech,
both
so
been wiped, so
it's going to be interesting to see if that
both
sticks
of
around or
the
not.
vaults are going to be
But
tapped.
yeah,
Looking at the scoreboard here,
I don't really like this part of the map. I don't like this map, period. If you guys know that we are certified soul haters, so hence why.
Absolutely, and I love to see the Scallywags come back. They've had a really interesting performance throughout this entire league, so gotta say I'm rooting for them a little bit. But we move over to Zuki.
Yeah,
He's
MFK,
down
that's
to just
kind of
5 HP.
that's kind of
His
my thoughts
teammates
as well,
are
is the
dead.
fact that like
He's trying to avoid a
it takes
team wipe,
skill
but
to be able to
somebody's
pull
right
off the
around
wind
corner.
up
He goes
to a
in,
sense. Like that's why it's
closes
kind
that
of
door. Surely
more on the
they've
tech
heard
side
it,
for me
but
rather
they're
than
gonna
exploit.
ignore him and let him
And so
survive as his teammates
it's kind of
probably
like
coin back in. They've got about 12
I'm
seconds
kind of
to
torn on
still
if I
have a
really
little
want to
time.
see that
Zuki gets
nerfed,
spotted
because I
out
think if it's
again,
like a
sadly
skill that you
goes
can work
down,
at, then I don't
unable to
necessarily
keep
think
his
it's like
team up, and the blowers
broken per
are
se.
wiped.
whereas like phantom striking on the sword was clearly an exploit, which is why it got nerfed. So I think it'll be interesting to see if it actually gets removed or nerfed at all.
A really interesting spot because I believe that it's somewhere over by the construction area. Yeah, so it's kind of in this middle area, but we see
What's up, Rocks? Yeah, no, we're a whole like not even 15 minutes in, and Soul Slander's been thrown around. Let's spark up the chat. Yeah, positioning is key with the minigun. It is way too easy to be punished.
Without much problem. There it goes. C4 down on point. Move over and watching them as they get tickled a little bit by the Bricked team. They need to get a good setup now and get ready for the push because it's about to happen.
Yeah, the push is going to happen, but maybe not, as we have most of the teams focusing their attention over on the D site, as it is about 45 seconds ahead. This is just something we see a lot in the NA side of the league. These crazy staggers, a bit of the extra fights going on after the point, during the point, but we have an aggressive steal taking place. The Sledgehammer going to put in that work, get one stop. Defending a point that isn't theirs, Brick can do whatever they want here, and it looks like they are looking to
yeah, no worries, man.
Blowers, at least for the time being.
Typing is hard,
this one
especially when
to
it's
the Scallywags. It has the whole time, and there's about 25 seconds left on it for anything to take place. As we do see a wipe on the blowers. That is unfortunate. You hate to see it. And now we have Brick just standing around on site. They are going to go for the steal, so they're not hard briefing or anything of the sort. However, they are taking shots from the top, and they do get the flip as well. So that's
yeah. So my thoughts on the Nullifier are kind of, I feel like some people agree with me in the sense of I don't really, it's an interesting concept, but I don't think it solves the problem that they put themselves saying that it was going to solve, specifically when it comes to like the sword, right? So
some aggression over here.
Tying it to the sword nerf, for example, basically Embark put out in their patch notes probably 2 weeks ago saying that the sword was getting a nerf on base damage because the stun gun was out and light players are getting one shot by it, and essentially they said that until the stun gun comes back in, they feel like light players don't really have a way to counter that. So what's interesting to me is they've brought in this Nullifier, which, you know, now is the rework of the stun gun. It's returned, and the idea was that they're going to reevaluate this later. I don't know how they're going to reevaluate the damage change that they've already made, for the simple fact that, like, the Nullifier just kind of prevents the inevitable, right? Like, if you have a sword player on you and you shoot him with a Nullifier, he can't take damage. He also can't do damage. He can reload, which means a sword, so who cares? But like, what's stopping him from, as soon as the Nullifier wears off, from him doing what he was going to do anyways, right? And I feel like that's the case with a lot of things. Like, every single time I've gotten nullified, I have not really been in a position where I'm panicking, compared to like with the stun gun, where I got stunned and I was like, oh, I'm gonna die here. You know, that's kind of my take on it. I don't think it really solves a problem. I do also agree with people thinking maybe it should have been like a support weapon where you can nullify your teammates, which could have been cool, because like right now in its use case, it really like helps when like you're getting winch clawed. You can nullify the heavy, I guess, and then that gives you an escape. But there's so many cases where that's not going to happen, or like other equipment and things where it just doesn't matter in that sense. I think like if you were able to shoot your own teammates with it, for example, and nullify them to prevent them from dying, I think it would make way more sense as an equipment. But that's my take. I'm still playing with it. I've only had like one day really playing with and against it, so you know, I think time will tell with it.
Yeah, I'd like to see some success on the side of the blowers as well. These points are split. They are going to end pretty much at the exact same time, though. And first place is still achievable if somebody can overtake Brick. I'm curious to see if they're going to see any.
Yeah, I do think it has its place, like especially in non-cash out modes. I think in cash out is a little more where I'm a little confused on its usage. You know, I personally would like to see like a support weapon come out that does kind of the same thing, and you can use it for your teammates instead. I feel like giving the opportunity for your teammates to escape in a support path, maybe it's a medium. I feel like that's a good spot for it, but you know, time will tell. I think it's gonna be, once people figure out really the niche to it, maybe we'll see like how strong or how weak it really is. It's a little too early to say.
in the hands of the Cerberus. Kip, nice movement using the gateway to easily traverse around the map. No other deaths have occurred, but there's just not enough time here.
That is a good point that it does basically hard counter the minigun. That's actually something I didn't think about. But on the flip side, it gives the minigun a free reload.
As you wanted to see there, Rio, you love to see it. The blowers are going to take second place here, Brickton first.
Yeah, the blowers did great. I think that they had a really kind of strong performance.
I haven't even swapped any of my light utils for the Nullifier. I think it's alright. I've seen it used well for denials. Yeah, I mean, it does well for denials, but there's so much other equipment that's doing that, right? You have the gas mines, gas nades, pyro nades, DMAT, like winch claw. Like there's so many things already that do that. That I think like for the sole purpose of preventing the steal is just kind of meh, or an entire rework of a gadget. You know what I'm saying?
But with that, if he was just having fun, the guy got 11 kills with the sledge. So I don't know, maybe he's now turning into a sledge main. These people kind
I thought about it immediately because I ran into the same problem as when I got defibbed in the open with minigun.
Yeah, that is the insane heavy hitter of that map.
The difference is you can move with just Nullifier. So you nullify a light who already has like crazy movement. I mean, he's getting away for free now.
They were really kind of
a
well-formed team. You can see that they're
Brick first. Honestly, this first series is not gonna be a lot to really watch. It's gonna be probably Brick dominating pretty heavily.
Also, the Oni Legends were heavier hitters.
I am
blowers, so it just kind of
curious to see. Actually, Oppo's not playing on Oni Legends today, which is I think his team. So I haven't kept up with the news early this week, but I'm kind of surprised to see that he's not in this. He made this team sort of as fill-in last week. Like they filled in for another NA team that I think had to drop or something. And yeah, he's not playing now. So I don't know what's going on.
Having a good position alone can deter people, or just make it so you only really need to get that one kill. You don't need to be going for 2, 3, 4 when other teams are involved as well. Just playing your life is what it's all about, and Normalize was doing that extremely well last round. I'm curious to see what our next map is. I'm not sure if we have it decided yet, if the pick is in.
Are we going to Seoul again? Is that what I heard?
Interesting. Nightbot failed. Shocker.
Okay, well, Skyway. Okay. It's been a long day for production, but that's okay. We're going to Skyway
Show me Kyoto
next, and
interestingly
enough, it's
wonder if people start liking Kyoto more because of the patch that came out this week, where they moved the cash outs finally.
It is kind of picked from time to time, but
I don't know though.
To go from Seoul to Skyway, which normally people would probably put at the bottom of their list of kind of maps that they would pick, but the way that it works is that the winning team, which was Bricked, was able to pick the map. So Bricked, I think, just might be having a little bit of fun today. I think that there's not a lot of stress on their side, so we might be seeing just a little bit different Bricked than we have in the previous other 7 play days.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. Like I was saying before, they can pretty much do whatever they want, and it looks like that's exactly what they are doing. Shout out to the chat because we got a hype train going, by the way. So let's juice that thing up.
I don't know the map
here on
enough to tell you the coordinates of where a cash out's going to be. That's any map, to be honest with you. So
a lot of the buildings play exactly the same.
Yeah, I would argue that a lot of the player base probably doesn't know the rotation that well. Maybe I'm wrong though, but I also don't know. It seems, I mean, I've noticed some different cash outs just from watching the busy stream yesterday.
If we can
That's about
continue the trend of seeing the Nullifier, we did see that one person was running it in the last map. I didn't see it used, so maybe they're just kind of holding it in their back pocket for
MFK. I agree. The size is definitely it, but there are launch pads to get you around the map. Especially like if you have a medium with launch pad.
This last one was interesting mainly because
the destruction was a big one though, because that does affect like the server. Obviously, when you had like moving platforms going through the bamboo, I think that's one reason people don't like it. I think people also don't like the giant towers that you can just sit on. But I mean, in these matches, I don't feel like people are really doing that compared to ranked and world tours.
So it may not make too much of a difference. I don't know how that would actually work out gameplay wise though. I think everybody.
But they do pretty actively avoid it. The pros do.
The most points that way. But it's interesting. It might just be an aura thing. I mean, they might just see Bricked and they might have to get out of there. They're afraid of him. It seems like I'd like to see someone push Bricked. They're all human. They may not seem like it, but they are all human. And
Yeah, that's
boy, are
that's
they
a
good
lot
at
of
the
the new
game.
maps too. They're just the destruction is tuned up. I think, in my opinion, a little too high. Like Fortune Stadium's the same way. It's so easy to break like giant structures, and it causes the whole map to lag.
But on top of it,
So
this Wednesday we're going to be having a special episode where we're going to have Waltz, Burrita, and myself, and we're all going to be chatting about the Pro League, and we're going to be doing an episode of my podcast called The Vault. So come check out that on Wednesday. But the other big thing is Atelco. You king, you just donated all of these subs in chat, so thank you so much for doing that, Atelco. You're awesome, and yeah, you know that already. So thank you, chat. And one other final thing, chat. So we do have some multi-buck codes that we'll be giving out at the end of the matches today, and we're going to be doing it a little bit different. So if you guys tuned in to the EU games, I was really, let's say, inspired by how the EU was handling things today in their way of having these insane copy pastas that everybody was just going off and on about. And honestly, it just made it quite fun. So we're going to be doing something fun. So everybody out there, I want you to prepare your favorite copy pasta about the finals, about your players, about your team, about anybody that is involved in this game. And I want to see them in chat. And Merch and I will be picking a winner at the end of today of our favorite copy pasta. So keep them coming because they're going to be wild.
I think we are getting a rework. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I've heard it a lot now. So I do think we're getting a rework at some point of Kyoto.
Back end, what's going on before we load into these next maps? We are remaking the lobby. Apparently, somebody on Oni Legends is having a little bit of an issue.
Same face reveal. Yes. Hello.
So we might throw it to a quick.
I'm sorry to subject you to
break, but as we're doing that, find your favorite copy pasta, like I was saying, and we will be right back. As
honestly, Rox, that's fair. Get in there while you can't get slammed.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Finals Pro League. This is the seasonal battleground where teams fight for dominance, bragging rights, and the ultimate title of regional and world champion. Season 1 kicks off with 2 qualifiers where only the strongest make it through.
That's our boy Artie. Okay, this is the new playoff structure, guys. I know it's quiet. I can't really hear it very well also, but yeah.
A modified Swiss bracket. If you lose twice, you're out. Win 4 games and you punch your ticket to the league. Simple, brutal, competitive. In the regular season, the best 12 teams in each region battle it out over 2 intense splits, each lasting 2 weeks. Every split has 4 playdays, where teams are shuffled into fresh groups of 4. And if your squad isn't clicking, no worries. There's a short roster change window between splits. The format? Cash out. Placement and eliminations earn points, stacking up to determine playoff seeding. Only the top 2 teams in each region secure an automatic spot in the championship series, so every match matters. Out of the regular season and into the regular playoffs. The top 8 teams from the regular season start in the upper bracket, while the bottom 4 teams wait in the lower bracket, hungry to fight their way up. The format here is final round 3v3. Lower bracket is best of 1s until the semifinals, where it's best of 3. The upper bracket is best of 3s until the finals, which are a best of 7 showdown. Every playoff match earns teams points towards their season total, affecting their seeding for the grand finale, the championship series. 12 teams, 2 regions, 1 trophy. Welcome to the championship series. With an initial $500 prize pool and growing, this 2-day event will see the top 12 teams from both regions pitted against one another for the title of world champion. The top 2 teams from each region get a free pass to round 2. Every match is best of 3 until the upper bracket finals go to best of 5, and the grand finals, best of 7. Only one team will stand at the top when the dust settles. We'll see you in the arena where we'll find out who can reach the finals.
So that's the new playoff structure. So right now we're obviously in the Playdays. I'm gonna turn this down for just a second. So right now we're in the Playdays, right? The teams are playing, they're gaining points. There's a website. I don't have the link to it, unfortunately. I need to reach out to the guys to get that. But teams are basically punching their ticket for seeding for what is essentially the playoffs, which is the Swiss bracket that you saw earlier. That's going to be a double elimination kind of tournament styles. So, yeah.
And remember, everybody, also find your favorite copy pasta because you might have a chance to win $10. So with that said, let's get started on Skyway Stadium.
All right.
Jumping on board again with the eyes of
Where did my
Stu J
cursor
of
go?
Brick. We're taking some nice shots. We're seeing a heal beam, chat. I am so happy to see this. We haven't seen this in a long time. I don't know if we've seen
Brick
it
is
at all
literally
this
trolling.
season, to be
Brought out
honest.
the heal
Definitely
beam.
fell out of the loop, but we're seeing a huge winch come in. Busy's gonna do more work with the hammer, so he's just running hammer today. It seems like now it looks like Brick is trying to collapse on what appears to be the last man of Oni Legends, just trying to get out of there. Oh no, that's a wipe. I apologize. He's way out of there. And
Oh
so
my
are
God,
the
Oni
Scallywags.
and
So we have the
Scallywags are
blowers
both wiped
trying to
already. That's
move the
crazy.
money over to construction on A, and we're going to see Bricked.
Yeah, you can see
go
blowers
take
are just
control
actively
over
avoiding, I
at
think,
B.
Bricked, and they're
Yep,
going to probably
the
try to
cash
avoid the
outs
rest of the
will get
lobby as well.
started.
I wouldn't be
They're
surprised
on
if people start
opposite sides
following in
of
the blowers
map, which is
direction
usually a
and just
good
completely
thing.
like
We now
avoid
see
Brick
both
for the rest of the
teams
game, because they know Brick's
spawn
like
right there on
Brick's so far
corresponding
ahead that they're
sides.
just going
It's
to try to
actually a
plug stuff
really cool
anyways.
view, 'cause we saw where both teams spawned, and I think that they're all going to A. I think everybody.
I
wants
don't
to get
really
over there,
know.
normalize immediately taking some damage, having
So
to go find
Vinok,
some cover 'cause he is
I'm sorry
very
if I'm
low.
mispronouncing your
His
name.
teammates are
I'm really not
split
sure.
up over there on top
I
there,
just
but I would honestly
know
be on
that
one of
people are
these
picking
trains.
it to
It's such a
troll.
powerful spot to be in, but they're about to
I
be
think it's
pushed to
viable,
normalize
especially
that,
running
looking
double
to find
medium.
himself a little bit of cover. There
But
goes
that's
the
my
glitch grenade
take.
going off. Didn't really connect with anything.
I think they were
Ethanol
really
and
trolling. They pull out
Zuki taking
turret.
a
I mean,
good
they
amount
already
of
have a
damage.
DMAT,
There
so
is Ethanol just down to very low HP, having to put up that dome shield, but now normalized, trying to stay alive as well. As Ethanol goes down, he's able to get Kip with a really good shot, honestly, but he's dashing. He's not able
What?
to do it, and he goes down before he falls off the map. As we move over to the Scallywags,
Normalize just sending himself off the map and letting him steal the
but right behind him, it is
cash, I
the Oni
guess.
Legends. They're here as well.
I mean, I guess this is his first cash, so he's in coins here probably isn't worth anyways,
Not
but
pushing for it just yet. They're very low on cash, but this cash out is halfway done. We're going to turn our attention to B, where it seems like Bricked are having a fun little time. They're enjoying building brick houses and enjoying their mojitos. Moving back to cash out A, because that's where the excitement is. We see that Kip has gone down, and Pure Strafe's down to 15 HP. Has to get away, but unable to stay away from Gremlin's barrage of bullets. It is now down to Unfortunate, as he decides it's much easier to have his team just respawn and try again.
Yeah, he's going to take that tack wipe, and that's going to force either the Vault 3 push or some work over onto Team Bricked. And it looks like the blowers have also got the memo and understand they have to do that. They actually spawned even closer and started making their way across the map before deciding to turn around and come here. So there really is a bit of a fear factor involved when it comes to pushing Bricked. They have been dominant, and it shows. Let's see if the blowers can figure out this puzzle. It's like playing a game of chess when you're going up against STM and the boys. Busy's got he's got some work cut out for him, but he's going to take out Zuki with a nice combo. He's going to get the 2-piece. It looks like, well, someone on his team is going to get the kill for him instead. We now have just a poor last man standing for the blowers, trying to get out of there. And it's looking like a reset here. I don't think anyone else is going to be coming over and pushing Bricked.
yeah, it is so dominant. Everybody's just avoiding Brick now. It's crazy.
So pretty
This is exactly how it was last week
standard
too.
defense for Bricked once they did actually get pushed, but they had about a minute of nothing happening. As we see the Scallywags getting a nice wipe on Oni Legends. That was quick. Gremlin gets his one and Belize with a nice 2-piece on Unfortunate and Kip. They are now making their way over towards top yellow, taking the zips and moving this money. I believe they're going to take it over towards C.
Oh,
they are being converged on right now by Brick. This is an aggressive push from Busy, and he's going to get 2 pieces again. He's just going for all of them.
My God, he almost got the
finally
wipe.
take him out. But they're going to get that quick trade, and that's... I mean, Brick
Busy
is
almost got the
scary,
3K
man.
with a
There's
switch, bro.
nothing you
That's
can do
crazy.
about them. They just pop up. They're your sleep paralysis demon.
Oh my god, wow, that's a terrifyingly accurate way of placing them. I used to say it's kind of like being in a room with a monster in the corner. You just don't want to go over there, you don't want to acknowledge them, you just want to let them kind of be in their happy little circle, and hopefully you don't anger the monster. But sleep paralysis demon, that sounds way more menacing, and I'm going to keep that and keep using that, so A+ merch. We're watching now as D gets plugged by the blowers, which had a really good performance last map, so I'm curious to see But this is an interesting thing. If we look at the cash outs right now, they are just 50 meters away from each other, which means that this is going to be absolute chaos. They're also not too staggered, so both teams are going to be going after the other two teams. This is wild as we move over.
I love sleep paralysis. I too have sleep paralysis when STN, Busy, and Stooge dive me all at the same time.
This is great. Like you said, we haven't seen much use of the healing beam, but it is cool to see. Gateways being used as well as they're kind of dipping in and out of there. Moving.
I don't really get a lot of
with
sleep
that
paralysis,
sledge in hand. He was chasing
to be honest.
somebody,
I don't
but it looks
remember
like they
ever
got
really
away.
having it, but I
Everybody will
do
converge right
often,
here. There
well, not
is
really
police
often,
getting
but I do
pulled out.
occasionally
There's
have
one sledge, there's two,
like
but he
dreams where I feel like I
lead
can't
it.
breathe.
He got it leaded by,
And
looks like the
or like
elbow from
I'm
Grimlock,
trying to like
followed up by his teammates, now moving over
say
to
something
Wally,
and it's like I'm
popping
running
shots
out of
off
breath
left
so
and
fast
right
that I
with the
can't
Cerberus
say the
uses
words that need to come
defense
out.
get his teammates
Like
back up. But
I have
again,
that
everybody is here,
pretty
just
often. It's
converging on
pretty
this one point.
it's a lot.
And the only team that's dead right now is Bricked, but they're still in control of this cash
I've never
out.
had dreams
This is
influenced by the
absolute
finals.
madness, and I don't even really know what's
No,
happening right
not
now.
yet, but I
It
have
looks
had
like the
dreams
Scallywags are trying to
about,
go for the
I guess,
steal.
this
They're
channel
pretty uncontested, so I think
and
they will have this.
and
There's
handling
sequence
it.
going off. They're also taking a lot of damage.
Maybe
It's
once.
having to pull them off of the cash out. They don't have the steal as everybody again is here. Here come the Bricked as well. They're coming back and they should have plenty of time to get in this cash out for one more push. And I think the Scallywags are now in control of this, and the blowers on the other side of the map. A lot of people just dying left and right as this cash out ticks down to the last 20 seconds. Can the Scallywags hold this? I am anxious to find out.
We're gonna get one good push here out of Oni Legends.
He's
However,
chronically
Glitch is gonna come
stressed
into play. That's
21st
gonna make
century
things a
person.
bit
Yeah.
difficult.
I don't know about
D-Mac
that. I
comes
think I
into
just
play,
carry
and
my
they have
stress all
perfect
throughout the
stall set
day.
up with
Maybe
the
at
bounce
night
pad
it's
as
just
well.
when
So
I
this one's gonna
finally
swing
decompress or
over to the
something. I don't know.
Scallywags. Strafes is gonna
I swear,
fall.
I
Wally is gonna get his pick
told
as
the
well.
doctor or somebody just recently.
And
I was
Oni
like, yeah,
Legends
they're
are gonna
like,
get
how are you
wiped.
handling
Across
stress?
the
I was like,
map,
well, I feel like my
though, Brink
shoulders
gets a
touch my
last
ears all
second
day.
steal on the
But,
blowers
you know, other than that,
as they
fine.
wiped them. Really nice stuff. I mean, I thought the blowers got the Brick treatment there and they were gonna get a free cash out, but the Brick just asserting their dominance. I mean, they get wiped one time. I think this is their first wipe in 2 games, and they come off a spawn anyway and immediately get a wipe and steal. So they don't really skip a beat even when they do get wiped. It's funny that STN is on Brick because as he was casting, he was talking about your flow and things of the nature, and it's clear that their flow doesn't get messed up with just one quick wipe like that. So good to see that kind of mentality out of Bricked as well.
Yeah, no, and that's a great way of putting it. And I think you're right. We can see when teams kind of get in that flow state, and a lot of it really relies on kind of communication, I think. If you're able to talk with your team, if you're able to kind of make these calls, and especially pivot, like that's one of the things that's so important in this game is that people kind of get locked in a mentality of like, no, I have to go here, or I see an opening, I need to push. And I just think that having that communication is really interesting. And I think that one of the things we've even talked about in the Pro League is maybe having some listen-ins in the later games. So it'll be interesting to see as we get into them, because obviously this teams will be playing in some of the playoff matches. So it'll be cool to hear maybe some of their communication if we're able to do that. Don't hold my word of that, because that is something that production has to do. It's a lot to ask for, but it's still quite cool. Anyway, moving back to the gameplay, we see that the blowers are in control of this cash out. They have started it. It is running back. They're moving away as it looks like nobody really wants to mess with Brick again, as cash out A will become most likely the contingent point. There are the Scallywags.
Get paralysis almost anytime I sleep on my back.
Legends, as it seems like they're trying to make their decision.
Can't sleep on my back. I snore too much. My girl gets mad at me, but that's valid.
And yeah, like I said earlier, this will be.
Maybe that's why I don't deal with much sleep paralysis though. I sleep on my side.
Yeah, I
really
think
badly,
so too.
and I'm sure like my back is all just
financial
sorts of messed up.
To be pushing Bricked in this situation, you need to pass the team that's closest to being in front of you, position-wise. We see, unfortunately, you're trying to get a res, but he doesn't quite have the time. He did have defibs up, but he just wasn't able to get that one off. He's now taking some big shots as well. He's gonna get a pick on Ethanol, but Normalize is gonna take him out. So Zuki's gonna get the res on Ethanol as well. So we have a nice reset out of the blowers. They still possess A as
Oni
well,
Legends, man, is
but it
just
looks like somebody might be.
they're kind of like all over the place.
And I believe that's
they're not grouped. I know they're like a new team, so it probably takes some time, but
so
they seem like they're
an engagement
kind of
going down
struggling.
across the map. Meanwhile, here though, the blowers seem to have this under control.
I've also heard that
Strafes
Hyperborean
just did get the reset on, unfortunate though, so they're gonna have one more organized push at this with about 20 seconds left to do something about it. we see the Blowers playing the attic, a nice position here. They have D-mats at their disposal, red barrels as well, but a huge engagement is about
How's
to
my
take
Hammer
place.
boys doing? I mean,
Normalize doing his best to just play his life. He's a movement demon, especially with that dash in hand.
if you look at the kill
And
feed,
he's
you
just
can
really
see
being
that at least
disruptive right
Stooge
now.
is
Using the other
popping off
team,
with
nice
STN
glitch.
right now.
He's gonna probably, ooh, he's
But
gonna get taken
busy,
out. And
busy.
this
I mean,
steal
has
is
basically
gonna
almost solo wiped the team
not
2 or
go
3
down.
times
Wow,
this
that
map
was about
alone.
a second
So
away. Huge defense from
I'd
the
say it's
Blowers.
going pretty well
Brick hold on
for
to
them.
it as well. Blowers past Scallywags with that.
But I do
but
think they
huge
are
stuff
also
out
just
of
on
the
another
Blowers.
level.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that the Blowers are able to kind of continually get in second. You know, it sounds so weird to say when, like, I feel like these teams are playing for second place.
Hey, what's up,
Rift
Kale?
is just gonna be
I think I
its
said your
own
name
little
right.
thing. You just don't want to
Or
deal with him.
Kylim.
Busy
How's
also
it going?
getting 8 kills with the sledge again. He got 11 last map. He got 8 this
All right, that's
one.
2 wins for Brick.
It's
Not even
wild to
close as
see
well. I
where
mean,
it's
that
the whole scoreboard right
just
now. This wasn't a heavy
25,000
hitting lobby
difference.
and I think that lends a lot to the fact that there were so many of the cash outs were kind of on the opposite sides of each other. There was one moment where we had 2 cash outs really close to each other, but even that,
Yeah, Oni Legends is,
combat
I think,
seemed kinda
struggling in
contained
the
within
kill
the two
department from what I'm
areas.
seeing
We saw
here. I mean, they
one
have
team
more
versus
damage
another
though
one, so
than
this
Scallywags,
wasn't like a
at least
massive,
as a team, or
you know,
close to
wild
it.
combat lobby,
About the
but
same.
it did kind of play out where, of course, it worked in the Brick's favor. We're getting 60k out. I just saw
Fair
that
enough.
number.
Fair enough. I
That's
also just suck at
insane.
reading, apparently.
Makes me
So-
even upset because, like, I
But
can't
hope you're
even
having a
do that
good
in my
evening.
games 'cause that's hard. Getting 60k out in a lobby like
Let's
that,
go.
just
Oh, you're
wild.
yeah,
So
you're close to diamond
congratulations,
then.
guys. Y'all are keeping it going.
I mean, the
Will
good
they
news
get it
is
in
once
a
you hit
third
diamond, I
map?
don't think
don't
Ruby's
know.
too
What do
far
you
off
think,
right now.
Birch?
So
Are we gonna see
it's
the
definitely
tides turn a
doable.
little
Got
bit?
plenty of time for the season.
I mean, the evidence is telling me no. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. And just to add on to your point with the crazy fights, I think it all boils down to how severe the stagger is. I think when
Yeah,
we're
and
seeing
you're
these
good, Rox.
30+
I did
second
read your
staggers,
message.
that's when the insane fights go down.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's pretty much it.
actually,
If you're
for the
running
first
double
time
medium,
with
it
those
makes sense
even
to run
clubs that we saw, I
heal
believe on
beam
those close
and
dash outs, that almost
DMAT.
played out
I
a
mean,
bit
having
like
2
in EU,
DMATs, I
where
feel
we
like it's
saw
kind of
more,
counterintuitive at that point.
calm,
You should
cool,
be
collected
playing close enough
pushes,
as a team,
strategic,
especially at this level.
where there wasn't that
Um,
much time.
but yeah.
You either got it or you didn't get it. But that was cool to see on the EU because that's how they play it over
it
there in
does.
EU.
Yeah.
I
But
think.
normally
I mean,
in NA,
I'm
we're
only
seeing the ridiculous third
where am
and
I at right now? I think I'm
fourth
close to
parties because of
plateau at the
how insane
moment.
these staggers are.
Um,
But yeah, I'm excited to get into
and
game
we're
3.
starting to get slammed a little
Me
bit
too,
here and there.
you know, you've touched
but
on a really interesting thing.
I think it's
that,
part of
like,
it.
there are differences between how EU and NA play, and I think that that's really important because it's so wild to me that, like, we've have these 2 regions that are playing the same game, but they've decided that, like, hey, no, for whatever reason, there's been a difference.
Pro League is gonna
in,
get
like,
your hammer
their
nerfed.
style of doing it, and it's.
I
very-
don't know. I
it's
don't feel like the
distinct,
hammer should get
you know, but
nerfed.
I know that
I don't
people
think there's a
like
lot
us
of
that
people
watch
saying
the
it's
ton,
busted.
We can kind of tell.
I think
but I don't know.
the
I'm just
winch is
excited
going to get
kind of
adjusted
dig into
again
that
before
next
the
Wednesday
hammer
and
gets
kind of look
touched, but
in,
that's my take.
what the differences are between EU and NA.
Is there a
'cause I
cash
think
prize for
there
this
are
tourney?
some,
There is a cash
and,
prize,
yeah, maybe
yes,
chat, you've seen them as
but
well
it
if you've
is.
watched both sides, but
I'm not sure
really
when
quite
it's
cool
awarded
to
per
see
se.
how both sides are
So
doing, how
the
they're
structure of
evolving, and,
ProHubs
you know,
is
with that,
essentially
will
they
be
have
clashing
like
against each
what
other
they call
after
these
the
play
playoffs,
days,
so
which this is the
it'll
last
be
day
really
for NA.
interesting to see
EU played
how
earlier
which play
today.
style is better.
Their final one.
But with that,
But
you know, we will be
there's this
loading
series,
into
and this is
map
basically for
3 here
seeding to go
shortly.
into playoffs, which is like a
And
Swiss
some
bracket,
chat
which is
people, if
simply
you were curious why
essentially
chat
double
is being a
elimination.
little bit
If you
cursed, wanna remind
win against the person
everybody
you're
that
playing
we are
against, you play the
doing a
winner of
giveaway
another
at
match.
the end
That's basically
for
what
our
Swiss
favorite
means.
copy pasta. I've seen some great ones.
And then
you know, I'm gonna swing the
after
pasta a
that,
little
there's
bit
a
more.
tournament
I'll tell
of
you what,
EU
my
versus
favorite copy
NA.
pasta, I
Now,
will
what I
read it
don't
out
know when
loud.
it comes to pricing is
keep
if
that in
there's a
mind. For the
payout
winner, I
for
will read it out loud
that
in however
playoff that I was
format
just
that will
referring
be.
to, or
So
if
keep
it's
them coming,
only
guys.
after the
Chat, you guys are
championship
awesome, and I
series,
hope you
which
guys
is
are
EU
excited
versus
to get
NA.
into map number 3 on this looks like
I'm not sure on that. I'll find out
Yeah,
though.
the beautiful
I can
city
ask.
of Bernal jumping back on board with the winners. I believe that's the running theme here. Stu J, Pike in
The hammer
hand.
is too
Brick
inconvenient
taking out Scallywags in the
to
first
counter.
engagement of this
I don't
round.
really know what they
Again,
mean by that
they
per
picked
se,
Bernal, which I feel
honestly.
like is another one of
Because I
those
mean, the
picks
thing is,
that-
like, the hammer,
is it almost
I
a
feel like
trolley
it's
pick? Are they just picking stuff that
between
people
other
don't really
classes,
enjoy
meaning like
playing?
light
But
and
we have a
medium. I think it's
huge
easy
pad play coming
enough
from
to
the
get
Scallywags.
away,
Love to see
like
it. Don't see it a lot.
without like
And a
getting winched. If you get
one-on-one
winched, it's a different
as Believe
story,
gonna
right?
hunt down Stu.
Like
He
you're
wanted
getting
that
a quick
kill back.
melee,
He's
then you're
gonna
getting hit hit by the hammer,
Gremlin.
then
Wally's gonna take out
whatever
Gremlin,
happens after
and
that.
Wally's
But
also gonna get the res on
I think
Gremlin, so
beyond
that's
that,
one left. And that's gonna be a nice.
I just don't
wipe
feel
there.
like it's a
Good stuff
problem.
out of the
It hasn't
Scallywags.
been.
Good fight.
But I don't know.
It feels good if you are the Scallywags for sure, but if you're
Yeah.
bricked, you almost don't even care.
Yeah, since the stun gun
It's
came
like
back as well, I think it
it's
helps.
like a win-win if you're bricked almost, but across the map, it
I mean,
looks
that's
like
kind of
the
my
Oni
point as
legends
well.
were
Like we were talking about the
by
nullifier earlier,
Buffs.
right? Like
Yeah, it
you
was
nullify
a
the enemy. Now, if you
interesting
nullify a
start
heavy,
already,
like they're
and
so
it's
slow
cool
that
to
you
see
typically do get
police
benefit
running
out of it. But
SA
if you
United
nullify a
Civilian
light,
runs quite
they're usually
often.
keeping up with
But
you
I
when you
saw
run
somebody in
away.
chat, it's
So you're kind of
earlier
just
in the
delaying
start
your
of the
fight.
today, and they were like, I hope I see some SA shotgun gameplay because they really like high level SA. So hopefully you're getting what you wanted because we are
If you run
watching these kind of
hammer
pop off
counters,
right
you
now.
can't counter the more
Sadly,
common
he
team
gets
comes.
charged
Yeah,
by the other
I
SA
think that's
shotgun
valid.
held by Kip. He's now trying to go for a res. As
I don't think everything should count be a one-fit
but his
solution. Then
team
you're
is
just
kind
stuck
of
with the same
cleaning up
meta
in
all the
here.
time, which
It
is
all
super
down to
boring.
Felice. He's very low, trying to find that last light player, but can't do it, and he does get
Right, exactly,
there.
Hyper.
The Scallywags, who honestly, I really want them to be performing a little bit better than they have.
That was
so
my
far.
case. I
I've
mean,
seen
that
them
was my
play.
case with
I
the
know
sword
they're a
thing,
great
to be honest,
team.
as
They've been
well. It's
around
like if
for
it's that busted,
really
I feel like
long
everybody would be
time,
running it. I
and,
just
yeah,
didn't
really
run
hope
into
they're
it that
able to
much,
find
and
their
that's
footing in this
even
one. But we're moving over
mid to high
immediately to the other
plat
side of the
in
map,
ranked.
where this cash out in control
I just wasn't
of
running into it
by
much.
Bricked has been ticking down to about halfway there. They're struggling.
Yeah, every melee weapon, in my
They're
opinion, is
wanting
hard
get
to use in this
kills.
game simply
There
because
is
of the
some good
playstyle.
shots
I think it's hard to
SDN
play
down,
correctly.
trying to spot out the next one. There is the
I mean,
witch
of
claw
course,
going
it's
off
like
as Bricked makes their
people
push
do
in
it
there.
all the
Ethel
time.
trying to
Like
stay
it's
alive,
doable.
Gets busy down, but no way he survives this engagement, and sadly, the blowers will get wiped and have to give this cash out away to the Bricked team.
Yeah, that kind of seems like the running theme, at least in these first couple of games for the blowers, as we see them get the plug, we see them maybe even win a fight on it, but just when crunch time comes into play, they can't seem to maintain a lot of these. However, they are getting those last second steals as well, so they're having a pretty solid day. We do have the Scallywags now making their way over towards Bricked at A.
Yes,
I don't think anyone has fallen yet, but we have a huge
so,
bridge coming in and an overhand right with the sledge.
ProHubs, I
Trying to hunt down
believe,
Izzy.
host
Finally
community
gonna go down, and we
tournaments,
see another heal beam coming in, so I
as
think
well.
that's two heal
I think
beams on the
technically
map
anybody
right
can
now. Looks like they're
join
walking the dog as
ProHubs,
far as
and you
medium
just
and
basically
heavy
have to
play
like
goes.
earn
Police
rep
trying
by
just his
playing
best to do something
and
here, but
winning,
again, he's the
which is
last
hard
man
to
left
do.
alive, and he's gonna fall
And that's
by
kind of
that
what gets you up to
SDN.
this level.
Running the revolver,
There are
we'll
tons
see
of
that.
communities
The,
also running community tournaments that are
having
meant
fun
to
out
be
here
like
today. We do
aggressive.
have
One of those
White
is
on the other
Waltz's.
side of things, trying
Waltz
to
Cast
do
is his
his
name
best.
on Twitch,
Zuki
but
falls to
we actually just had him on our episode of Around the
do still
Arena,
have
which is
two
our
lives
podcast
for
where we
the
talk
hands of
about
the
the
blowers,
finals.
but I
But we just
believe
did an
all legends
episode
are
with him
full up, and they are
where we
in
covered
possession
everything
as well,
esports
so
and
this is
ProHubs,
tough
and
if
like
you're normalizing the boys.
basically if you want to do casting or compete, like here's what's available to you. So I can try to get some links for you guys about that here in a minute once we get through this series. I'll see who I can get a link from, but yeah, I know that he does community tournaments. We also in our Discord are going to be doing some community tournaments coming up very soon. We've had a busy few weeks obviously with the channel launching and you know trying to get this watch party up and running as well, but we do plan to host at least some community tournaments. They're not going to be at like the pro level, you know, seriousness or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, if you want that kind of experience, you should check out our Discord, which is here in the, it should be in the description of this stream. Speaking of which, I need to update the game.
This is really
Just remembered. Let me see if I
quite
can
like it. I love it when I see things like that because it means that these teams are really kind of fighting against each other. No person's one-sided on this, so it's kind of cool to see. And it seems like even now people are really kind of wanting to go against Brick. They're not wanting to fight them, you know, avoid them. I mean,
there we go.
they're wanting to fight them. But here is S Stooge as he's trying to stay alive, but sadly can't stay in the path as looks like Busy is able to get a few kills.
Sweet, awesome. Yeah, I'll have more news about that hopefully this week.
Oh my God,
about scheduling it. We'll give people ample time to sign up, find teams, all that stuff. So should have some multi-bucks as well for prizing. It's probably gonna be like a winner takes all scenario just for now, with you know more payout as we do more of these later. But yeah.
As well. Nothing plugged quite yet, but looking at the scoreboard here, nothing really jumping out at me. Looks like pretty even distributed stats. We do see the Scallywags trying to plug over at C, and we see Bricked trying to plug over at D. The blowers coming off spawn, and they have the spawn for D, but if I've learned anything from today, they might just go over to C. I'm interested to
I'm
see
sure people
if they do
will
want to
pick it
fight
up.
Bricked. I don't think they're gonna.
There's people of all
want to,
skill levels
to
in
be honest.
our
Normally
Discord
looking to
so
set
far.
up
I mean,
a
there's
nice gateway
let's see,
play.
how many people are in here
Love to
now?
see it. They're gonna throw this gateway
120
off of the
people.
jump pad and then pick up that jump pad,
I don't
so
know
they
if
have that back in
Cody
their
and myself
pit
will
instead of waiting
compete.
the
We'll probably be
30-something
trying
seconds
to
it is
organize it all.
for the regen. You basically get
but
a free
I'm sure
jump pad.
people can
That's a
pick
new
it up.
tech we've been seeing these last couple of weeks. big fan of that. It looks
We're
like
also for that
Sea's
tournament, not
relatively
going.
abandoned, or
I
at
mean,
least
obviously I'm
that's
talking
the
about here on the
Blowers
stream, but
think.
if you're in
They
the
do
stream,
know
you're
where
probably from
Scallywags
Discord
at
anyways.
as
But
that D-Mac comes right into play.
this first tournament is going to be
Scallywags
meant
got out
for
of there
people who
again.
are in the
I don't
Discord.
even know
Obviously,
what
people
Scallywags are,
join
they're on
and
the
they
roof.
find it,
So
but
a crazy turn of
we're not
events here.
promoting this like
No
really
picks
outside the
yet
Discord
going
per
into
se.
play, but the
So we
heals
want to
are
give priority
coming
to the people who've
onto
been there
Police. They're
already.
just trying to get their big man back in the fight as fast as they can. The medium hasn't been taken out yet. You have to focus the healer here for sure, but they are all just skating with a slight amount of HP. Zuki getting 1, Zuki getting 2, and what is going on here? Belize getting 2 now as well. But
We can see,
Normalized
the problem is
doesn't
we
find the
can't
last one on
observe
Belize.
and play at the
Almost whipped
same
that one out,
time,
but
so we'd have to
unfortunate
see
stuff, or fortunate if you are the
how we could
Blowers.
make that work.
Now across the map, we have
Obviously,
Brick
ProHubs has a
and
lot
Oni
going
Legends.
on.
So Oni
We
Legends
have
is a tough fight for them, as
Waltz
Brick is
is a
in
good
an
connection
absolute
for us, so
power
maybe would be
position. Strafe's
willing to help
just
out.
gonna
We
get pieced
haven't
up. There's
talked to him
nothing
yet
you
about
can
it,
do about
but
it. The mesh shield
maybe
is
that's
in
something we
play,
could do,
it's
but
not gonna do much as well.
for now, we're
Busy
probably just going
swinging
to
his
run this
hammer
one,
back
but we
and forth.
would like to
Actually
compete in
doesn't
other
get
ones later
Kip
for
there,
fun.
but Kip left all by himself, and you're not gonna win that engagement. Unfortunate. Hate to see it.
Yeah, interesting for them to go down in that fight, so Oni Legends will have to respawn and get another push going. We still have a minute and a half in this map at least, but the Blowers are in firm control of this cash out. But it looks like the Scallywags want to dive on and try and get the steal. They are holding it. They're able to get it. Are they able to get it? No, they're not, because Normalize comes in there with the help of his team. All of his teammates got 1 kill, one right after the other. That is good teamwork right there. But Brick is here as well. I don't think they want the cash. They just want to cause some chaos, have a little bit of fun, chase somebody with the hammer. There's Busy going down, not able to get more than 1 bonk going off, but Normalize now trying to spot out the last person. This is great as he gets the res back off, but there goes Stu as he is now the last person remaining on their team. It is Normalize versus Busy, the Sledge versus the Light. There is a glitch grenade that goes off. He decides he doesn't want to go for the kill. He's going to go for the res.
That's a fair
This
idea.
is probably the right move to do, but also Busy on the other side is going for the res as
we'll,
well. Now it's a
like I said,
2v2.
we
Both
haven't
teams are
fully
trying to
planned
fight
it out
over
yet,
nothing,
so
quite literally,
stuff I'm
they are
saying
just
is kind
getting
of
in each other's faces. There is
up near.
1 kill. Normalize getting a res
But,
off as well.
this week we should have some more
Very
news.
low, trying to
If
run out.
anything,
He's just down to
prizing is going to
20
be just
HP.
multi-buck
Can he get
codes
this
anyways,
last kill on
so
the last
you know,
Brick
it's
person?
not a big deal.
Busy is very, very low. He got him. Finally, a long extended fight that ultimately meant nothing, but they got it, and they got somewhere else. So fun to watch, and look at the scores over top on the left-hand side. We see that Brick is in firm control with 35k, followed up by the Blowers with 24k. That was some smooth moves there, Belize, as he gets the cash doubled, and he's now going to go for the steal. This will be a great opportunity for the
Against
Scallywags. Can
somebody
they
in
take the
Bricked?
victory from this? No, there's C4 going off left and right as
Bricked
two of the
is
Scallywags have
ST
gone
and
down.
2K,
This is sad to see,
Busy
as the
Overwatch,
Blowers now wanna
and
go for the
or
steal.
Busy
This will
OW, which I'm assuming is
absolutely
Overwatch,
bend them all the way to the
and
top if they're able to get this steal.
the
They're
Stooge,
able to hold it. Nobody's really
which are
stopping them. What is going
pretty much
on?
the top players
Yeah,
in
I mean, they got it. I
ranked
think
currently.
Brick even threw a little friendly
think.
dome
I can look
shield down, if
actually
I'm not
over.
mistaken. I couldn't quite tell, but it looks like the Blowers are now in possession of this one. Busy going back to work with his hammer. Stooge doing what he does best, and that's beaming people. So we're going to see 2 dead again for the Oni Legends. We have about 20 seconds left in this game for a steal to take place. There's a lot of money on the line here, and first place is on the line here. Whoever wins this box gets first place. We see Brick moving around on it. Are they even going to go for the steal? I think just for the fun of it, they're going to go for the steal. They definitely don't need it, but we see now the Scallywags saying, no, I don't think so. And we're just going to have a massive collapse here on site. Police doing his best to stay alive. There's not enough time here.
Yeah,
This is
there's
going to
no
go to the Blowers.
I think every match has
Absolute
been
mayhem
either
ensued in the final 10
Bricked or
seconds
Blowers in
there.
first place so far.
Hey,
So
the Bricked have been dethroned. Maybe their brick wall is starting to see some cracks. I'm not sure. Maybe the Blowers have been blowing them down. That's a little bit of a Three Little Piggies reference there if you didn't get that. But yeah, that was a good performance. I love when I see the cash outs get doubled. It's not something that I see a ton. It is kind of one of those last second panic things that we see teams tend to do. But I love it because it makes it just so chaotic. You don't know who's going to get it, and it can make it where basically the last place team can get that steal at the very end and get
it's like I said, this series has been
the blowers have dethroned
pretty dominant.
They were able to finally get
and Bricked has just been that way. I mean, it was that way last week, but we actually do have somebody from our Discord that will be playing in the next series, which is Brutal Logic.
Yeah, I think Bricked is just
so that will be exciting.
Clinic. They're pretty much
we could cheer him on.
We can do whatever we want and still perform at the highest level, as I believe Busy has top fragged every single game with a sledgehammer in hand. So that's pretty impressive. You could say it's like you have the surprise factor, but that really only works for the first fight in the first match. Once you understand what's happening here, you gotta play around that, play to the counters, but it doesn't matter what you do against Bricked. They are just putting in absolute work. However, the blowers have looked really good today. They've had some inconsistencies when it comes to defending their initial cash out plugs, but other than that, they've recovered extremely well. I'm having a lot of fun watching Normalize today. There's people with smooth aim and there's people with cracked aim, and Normalize has some cracked aim. I mean, they both don't miss, but it's just a completely different visual, and it's very exciting to watch Normalize play this game.
Yeah, no, Normalize is definitely.
Go, but Scotty and Gina commentate the big 100K tourney. I would think that's going to be really cool. I don't know how they'll do that. I hope, honestly, we get the guys from ProHubs doing the casting at least during the game as well, like RD, Waltz, Rio, all those guys. I mean, they really have been carrying the competitive scene for the finals. I mean, it's all community ran currently, so I really hope Embark has those guys involved.
So get excited, get those copy pastas, keep them coming. I've really been enjoying them so far, and yeah, we are getting started on Sis Horizon.
It's nice to see a different team get a first place and map pick, because I love to see Sis Horizon. This was my alternate pick to the first match. However, Normalize hunting down that pick on Busy. He's gonna find it. STN is gonna take out Zuki, so Normalize last one alive for his team. Gonna look for a reset here, as it looks like Bricked has done the same. STN getting the fibular on Busy over there. We're gonna see a nice 3v3 in just a second. Azuki's still down. I don't even know where his trophy is actually, but it looks like Bricked might just be getting out of there with the money. They're gonna
call me crazy. I do think Sis Horizon might be one of the more fun maps to watch for cash out as well. Especially the EU games last week, a player named someone, because I say someone, somebody is like curious as to what I mean. There's a player named someone who absolutely slammed last week. He's on EU. It was crazy.
Blowers decide to go, and it is
just absolutely
blowers are going to get this plug, but as we've seen, they've struggled early. And we see the Nullifier, so someone's just going to get sent to the upside down for a few minutes, and they'll be back shortly. But we see an immediate steal coming into play as Normalize is taking some shots in the back.
See what I mean though? Like they nullified that guy, and then just nothing came out of it. Like it just doesn't matter.
Advantageous position, and he's
gonna, don't really know what you're supposed to do after.
Has really fallen yet. A lot of nothing, a lot of dancing, a lot of cat and mouse going down.
Yeah, Sis Horizon plays a lot like Vegas. It can be rough to play. A lot of third parties can happen. People get way off rotation, and it's just kind of screwed.
Unfortunate, doing his best to stay alive as well as put out some damage. Nice goo and zipline work. Now gonna play the stairs. He's skating out there. STN getting his pick on Gremlin across the map, so the Scallywags fall across the map. Ethanol just going for an aggressive steal, as we do not have a wipe on the side of Oni Legends. However, Strafes is going to get the res, so they're just going for the reset. About a minute left over here on B, and not much of a stagger over on the other side of things at A.
Yep, B is ticking down a little over halfway done. They are in a good spot. The Blowers, I think, are also becoming one of these teams that not a lot of people in the lobby want to mess with unless they absolutely have to. They are showing that they are very consistent, but they have maybe spotted somebody out. Kip must have hurt him through that wall as they were right on the other side of it. No, I'm sorry, he was spotting his own teammate. That's how he knew it. I was wondering what was happening there. But yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
That's fair.
Kip blowing up the floor, and now trying to spot everybody out, but I don't see a push.
I mean,
don't know what's
you're definitely in high
happening. It looks like the
elo.
Blowers are
I
just
mean,
kind
if you're
of
plat
waiting.
1,
There they go. There it is.
I
They drop
I
it
consider that high
finally as
elo. I
they
mean,
know
you're
that Oni
what,
Legends
top,
tries to go for the steal. This is perfect
maybe
for them
top
to
1K,
do. They have
I
bought
think.
themselves a lot more time.
You sure?
The time is running down. They
See.
are
I gotta
getting
find
a
out,
lot of
actually.
damage dealt to them. There's Kip with just a sliver of HP. The steal is going off. This is not what you want. Pure Stripes is going to be able to get it. No, he has to dive off of it as he gets chased by Normalized. There is the Nullifier as he's trying to get it off.
Plat
of it.
1,
He
you're
missed
in the top like
shot. Sad to
1500,
see it, but the Blowers continue
roughly,
to hold this in a
depending
really
on where you are in
convincing
plat 1. Looks like.
Yeah, really nice hold from the Blowers. But they did initially lose it and retake. So again, a bit of a running theme there. But man, Oni Legends was about
top
50
2000.
HP away
Call
from
it
getting
2000.
that wipe and
2004,
steal.
essentially.
That is a tough one to see if you're rooting for the homies over at Oni Legends. I know that's an underdog story I'd like to see for sure. But we do see the Scallywags,
Right,
aka
exactly.
Elise and the boys, making some work over here at 3. They are being pushed by the Blowers, who just successfully cashed out. And we see some heavy fire coming into play. I'm assuming that's coming from Normalized, as he's just been beaming everything in his sight. Police looking for a huge RPG. He's going to find it. He's going to do some damage to himself as well. The heals come into play, but Normalized is going to find that pick. Wally got his. Wally gets 2.
Wally's running the model.
That's a
Interesting.
fast wipe from Scallywags on the Blowers. Really nice work there. Across the map, we have Bricked and Oni Legends are about to get an engagement.
I actually
believe.
need
Money
to
has
try
been
out the
plugged
model. I have
already
not
for
tried
Brick,
it since
and
this
Stu's
patch,
just
but I
giving those
know
cross-map
what the
shots
range
with
got
the
buffed
pipe.
on it.
There's not much you can do about it when a guy who doesn't miss is just doing what he
Still
does
good
best.
is arguable
We do
because
see-
I
oh my
don't,
goodness,
in my
they're
opinion, it
taking
was
this
not
money
very
too,
good. I
so
mean,
they're saying,
I don't know
"Give
why
me
you would
that,
have picked
I'll
it
pay
over the
here." The money's going to be
serve.
stolen across the map.
But
doesn't really
it did get
seem
a,
like Brick cares. And now
got like a
Blowers are gonna
hybrid
make a
buff,
move
so
over at D.
it got nerfed somehow a little bit, but specifically it got buffed for range. So
interesting
yeah,
move, and they
I forget
are
what the like
holding one of these
nerf or
sites.
counterpart of that
Moving
is
over as Ethel is
off the top of my head, but I
trying
can
to
look
chase
it. I'll
them
look it up.
down. There's a DMAT through the floor. He's finding one, but that goo wall stops everybody in their tracks. They're having to do a lot of damage. There's a mesh shield going up, but everybody is just dying as it really looks like the Scallywags are getting kill after kill, but they're going after it as the
Thank you.
Blowers are getting fighting back, but they do get wiped. So the Scallywags are in a good spot, but this cash out is now swarmed by everybody as it looks like they're going for a steal right now. Is this the what is going on? Are they over here? Are they about to control both cash outs? What Bricked? What are you doing? Stop.
Yeah, they
This
so
is
they
not
increased the
fair.
fire
What is
rate.
going on? I don't
They
know what to
increased
say.
damage
This is
fall
just
off minimum
wild.
range.
Can they
They increased
control
the
two
maximum
cash outs as the Scallywags
range
and
fall off.
everybody turn their
So it's got longer range. And then they decreased the damage fall off multiplier. Meaning the weapon now does slightly less damage at range. So they gave it more range, but it does less damage at range.
Now in control of the Scallywags, but they just lost 2 of their members, 3 of their members actually, and there will be a steal going off. This is just insanity, in all honesty.
Yeah.
This is absolute insanity. I'm gonna keep it real. If I was any of these teams, I
Yes,
would hate
I am the one that
Brick
works in
for
DC.
About everything they stand for. I mean, they are absolutely
And yes,
making a
Cody is
mockery
Cali.
out of the rest of this lobby, and there's nothing anyone has done about it except for the Blowers and that last game. Bricked, I mean, completely trolling and dominating at the exact same time. It is
I am
funny to
also
watch
glad that
from
the
a-
Cerberus
from
does
a-
not
from a spectator's
dominate as
perspective.
hard. It's still
But if I was
viable,
in this
but
game, I would not be happy
I think
about
they
it. I'd
tweaked
feel
it just right.
disrespected.
It seems
Like Michael Jordan said, I would take it personally for sure. We do see the Blowers now trying to make a move over on C as well. They did get away with that first steal. They have the time for it if they can make something happen, but it looks like Oni Legends is ready to collapse on here. So wisely, the Blowers just going to disengage. Not something.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
really
Bricked has
see
been
in
pup
NA
stopping. They
almost
literally,
ever.
Dizzy was saying on the stream that they've basically got a
99%
first round
of the
bye
fights I've seen
already
this season,
for
a fight
the
happens there.
tournament
Nobody disengages.
or
But we do
the
see
next stage.
Scallywags and Brick
So yeah, they're
engaging
just
over
kind
here
of
at vault
chilling.
number 5, and Police trying to get some nice shots in, but that hammer is just gonna beat the SA-12.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't see him pull out like dual katanas or something.
So he's gonna
To
be
be honest,
as well. No wipes just yet.
just go like
but the
straight melee
Scallywags
team.
are hurting here, but we do see a third party now coming in from the Blowers. They have an opportunity to do some damage here. I think they just need to be a bit more patient. However, across the map, Oni Legends might just be getting away with a free vault if they play their cards right. STN with the close range pike shots, doing better than you would think, but he's eventually going to fall to Wally. Busy gets one and Stewed gets one as well. So, and then that's going to be Belize falling as well. Nice work from Bricked here, but the Blowers stole the money and got the plug. So across the map, it looks like Oni's going to do the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, the blowers are doing really good as Busy is taking some damage. But yeah, the blowers in first place. Ooh, there is the healing canister, new thing that was added just last Wednesday. Cool to see. It does bring you up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know why they don't run sword, dual katanas, and hammer. That's what I would be doing if I was in their position. And I'm like, it doesn't really matter what happens.
Still running that sledge. I
mean, they already won 2 out of the 4 matches tonight for their groups. It's kind of like, I mean, I think that's more than secured at this point.
Reload on the RPG. Now Busy taking a lot of damage, very low, having to go back. There's an RPG, goes off.
Sorry,
really
hang on.
Connect with anybody that really needed it, but now they are going for a steal. Their Zuki is down in this, but there is still a few people up on the blowers, and they just let that steal go off.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Nightbot's running. It's running on default settings. Hang on, I'll turn it off.
But looking over on the other side,
I personally don't care about excess caps.
Seeing the normalizer, we're seeing normalize with the nullifier inwards. They're very hard, but needing it going, and Pure Strafe still running out there. I'm curious if he's able to get anybody stopped. They are in control of this cash out. They're in a good spot, and I don't think they have too much to worry about. But the blowers are here. They've decided to abandon cash out B. They want to go for A instead, and this might be the best move that they could make.
Yeah, it looks like the blower is making a calculated decision here. We have about 30 seconds left. Again, that patented stall we've seen out of Oni. They love to throw the jump pad under. So do I. I think it's a classic defense there. We are seeing an aggressive steal coming in from Zuki, though. Another drop comes into play as well. Somebody was just nullified. He's gonna be back with us shortly, but he's gonna immediately fall, I believe. Actually, no. As we see across the map, Gremlin putting in some work. Oh no, Gremlin is right here, right in front of my eyes. Another nullification coming into play. I love to see these just bits of matter running around the map, unable to do anything. But it looks like Oni's.
How do you think the game would change if it had like 5 times more? I'm gonna assume you meant players.
There as Bricked secures first. Blowers take third.
Yeah, I think there would just be a lot more player diversity in ranked, which would be great, to be honest. I think you would have an easier time going from like plat to diamond, because
something happened.
We've kind of talked about already this evening that like you hit like
it happens,
plat 2 area and you're all of a sudden dealing with top 500 players, and it is kind of crazy to me in top 500 like Ruby is actually a part of diamond. So
the blowers as well.
Like if we had more active players and more people were playing ranked and there's a more diverse pool, I honestly think you would have like a masters rank or something and then top 500 within that, and I think that would actually make ranked feel a lot better for a lot of players. But I mean,
lobby,
we can only do with what we got.
But hey, there you go. So, there is our 4 games for
all right
today.
Well, that is the first group stage. I believe they only play 4 maps, so we should be, I think, jumping into a break here.
Revolver. So these are just some wild plays, and I think that the people here are just kind of having fun, and you know what, overall that's quite cool.
Most noticeable in KS23.
And I think
interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick note there. Wally had 7 revives, so
I do not have my game open, but I would try that for you, May.
There were a lot of deaths, unfortunately. If you're gonna get a lot of revives, it means you guys have died a lot.
Write that down.
I do say this time and time again. I think not dying is a lot more important than getting a kill. It's a $500 swing either way, where if you get that kill, you get 500, but if you die, you're giving somebody $500, and I think that's a point that a lot of people forget. But you know, it's not the worst thing in the world if you're the Scallywags there. You're still in the playoffs, and you have 3v3 to look forward to. So it's going to be it's a different ball game moving forward. But great stuff to start things off for our final Playday 8 on the NA side of things. Good stuff, Group A.
Yeah, no kidding. This was a heavy-hitting lobby. There were a lot of really fun matches already going off today. And yeah, this was the final play day, so everybody will have their final score. It's interesting. It's important to note, I think, that nobody is getting kicked out like this. The way that this works is as we move into 3v3s, every team will have the opportunity to kind of play. So it just kind of depends on whether they have the opportunity to go for a, like, lose more than 1 match, basically. So that will determine their seeding. But I think that everybody here really will enjoy kind of moving over to the 3v3 format. I know I am. I know that things right now in this kind of cash out format are just wild sometimes. It's just unhinged. There's a lot of things that are hard to kind of like control. There's a lot of variables going on. So it'll be interesting to see as we switch up the format. But I have to say, I quite like the chaos. I think that it's just kind of fun. But this Group A, tons of fun. If you guys missed any of the matches, go back and watch the VOD because really they were kind of heavy hitters, especially if you were a fan of any of the teams that were playing today. But that is going to be wrapping it up for Group A. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break as we get the next group into the lobby. But that will be Group B. So everybody stay tuned and we will be right back after a short break.
So I believe Group B is when Brutal Logic is playing. So we're going to cheer him on. At least I am. Because that's our homie and they're in the Discord. I think it's our first pro player in the Discord. So we're going to cheer them on. While they're running ads, what do we think about running the Wordle? Thoughts? Anybody? You got this, bro. I believe in you.
In the world of sports, every second counts. Every move matters. That's where a spooze comes in.
Thoughts about Arc Raiders? I haven't tried it. I have been waiting for Cody, and then they just had storms out in Cali, and he has enough power. So I mean, I'm probably gonna wind up playing it tonight and tomorrow, without him, which is tragic. But I'll probably play with people in the Discord as well. So yeah, I'll be looking to party up. Okay, I'm gonna start with my favorite starter. I think it's one of the best starter words. Later gets us 2 vowels. Look at that, AT. All right, chat. Somebody give me a guess. Mater, we know ER is not in there. Trash at Wordle. Okay. Audio is a good one. It gives you 4 letters. I also used to like Adieu, which is ADIEU. But I felt like it was a cheat code. Because most people don't even know what a do is. I felt like metagaming, so I've changed it to later. So Latin. Okay. Interesting that it's not in the word list. I thought it was. That's crazy. Yeah, apparently Latin's not it. Yeah, and no else. How about Satin? That's a good one. All right, we got an S in the wrong place.
I'm entrepreneur.
Dates? There's no E. I originally was thinking batch, but obviously now we know there's an S, so let's see. I mean, there's watts, datas, that's an option. Let's see. No, datas does not work. Could do watts, WATTS, or I'm gonna go with watts, unless anybody has any other guesses. All right, so we know that S is here. Pasta. Pasta's not bad. Tasty is also not bad. No, wait. No, you're right. Sorry. It isn't either one of those because it's ATS. So, yeah. No, the S and the T are flipped in pasta. Same with pasty. Let's see.
Bricked and the Blowers seem to kind of hold the lead and take the win. So really kind of fun matches. You missed those, go back and watch them. But who cares about Group A? 'Cause we're moving on to Group B.
Quickly.
Fun one.
Quickly.
And if we take a look at the loadout of the group of the teams, they will be Fourth Party Cashbox, Team
Hatsy,
Halto's
Fasty,
Finest, and the Make-A-Wish
Fatsy,
Foundation.
Dasty,
So
Catsy,
some really interesting teams in there, and you can
Matsy,
kind of see
Patsy.
where they all line up. Fourth Party Cashbox currently in
Catsy.
8th, Team D in
No.
5th, Halto's
Patsy.
Finest in, where are they? They are in 4th.
All right, there we go,
Make
chat.
a Wish all the way down to the bottom, sadly, in 11th. But I do want to point out that Make-A-Wish on Wednesday had a really good performance. They seem to kind of come back. They seem to, over all the teams that I've seen in this entire league, they seem to be the team that I want to say has like matured the most out of all of the Playdays that I've seen. So I think if you kind of want to root for an underdog, definitely root for Make-A-Wish team because I've been really impressed with what I've seen so far, and I hope that they're able to continue that going forward. But really, this is a good lobby. There's a lot of heavy hitters in here. Halto's Finest, I think, is a crowd favorite. And really, just I think that this is going to be one of the more balanced lobbies. So I think that you can expect just a lot of really intense gameplay.
I know.
Probably some really close scores. And yeah, I'm just quite excited to get started. And our first map will be on Seoul under construction. So, Merch, what do you think about
Once again, we're kicking
this
it off
group?
with Seoul construction.
Do you have any thoughts on these
Unbelievable.
teams? Have you
Shocker.
seen any
Who would
of
have
their
thought?
matches? What are you feeling so far?
Yeah, I think this is a huge group. As you were saying, shout out to Make-A-Wish. They've definitely been making strides and improvements, and it's very cool to see teams just improve like that week to week. But pretty much everybody in this group is capable of taking that second spot here in the standings, aside from Make-A-Wish, unfortunately. Fourth Party would need a perfect day, but between Halto's Finest and Team D, there's a lot of potential to take that second place spot. And I'm looking forward to it. And what better way than to play on the best map ever made in the history of video games. Jumping on board with Brendy and the boys. They're going to send over, it looks like Brad is filling in.
This team with Lamp and graduating is definitely going to be challenging. I mean, they're pretty solid. This whole tell.
He's taken all these opportunities.
I think Lamp is still number one.
Seized them. But they're going to have this
Unranked
first
right now,
fight
but
going against Fourth Party Cashbox. Brendy just looking to stay with his team as a good medium should. Lamp finding one, finding two, and that's just going to leave one alive for Fourth Party Cashbox. Brendy going to look to move the money because they can get this over to Hospital.
No, Apo's team was Oni.
For an interesting strategy. They're just going to go.
And he wasn't playing, so I don't know what's going on with that.
First. I thought they were going there without the
like I said, I don't keep up very well with like what's going on in the pros lives, so maybe he was busy tonight, but he did not play in the last match. We are rooting for Brutal Logic though, who's playing for Fourth Party Cashbox. They did face off, it looks like, for the first fight against Hotels. Struggled a little bit there, but they can come back, I believe.
Trying to play his life the best way he can. Unfortunately, he's going to fall to the hands of Sergnal, and that's going to be a wipe for Halto's Finest. We're going to see a revive now from Sergnal, a huge red barrel as well, as we just see that mesh shield.
We'll talk about wipes. Fourth Party Cashbox looking good right now.
Unfortunately, Sergnal's going to
Can he get the wipe?
Viper's going to get traded out by Brutal Logic. Absolute mayhem ensuing, but that's
almost
finally going to
it.
be a wipe for Fourth Party Cashbox. No one is stolen yet from HF, and they're going to be coming off spawn momentarily.
Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah,
Why
Brutal is a
nobody
member
going for
of our
this?
Discord.
Finally, somebody goes
So,
for it.
for that
and it will
alone.
be the Make-A-Wish team, and I think that they're going to be able to get this right in time as Halto's Finest spawns right
Why am I
back
following
in.
this
There
person?
is
What is this
Lamp
message?
running that SA shotgun, trying to connect with
Why would I
anybody
follow
he can, but he
GG
gets
Nico?
stopped by the goo. There's Varian trying to run away on the crane, but sadly gets caught out by Lamp's SA shotgun. There.
Oh,
the crane in place, so I would try and drop that if I was them, but oh no, they're all lock bolted in place. There is Goo trying to buy themselves a little bit of time, buy them a wall, but nobody's really connecting off of this lock bolt. They got 2 people and nobody took advantage of that. I'm not sure what happened there, as Halto's Finest are seem pretty unfazed by this whole thing. There is maybe 15 to 20 seconds left on this cash out. There is C4
That's a lot of util on the box. That's gonna be tough.
Is on fire, but it looks
this first cash is so hard.
Here, Make-A-Wish are going up to the crane, but they do spot out Team Dit.
I don't know. I don't know why they
One of
popped
them
up for
goes
me.
down
Also, what is happening with the player overlay? Do you see that?
Maybe 10 to 15 seconds left.
It's
Somebody
glitching
needs
out.
to get on it right now. There was the nullifier that
They're
went
not getting
off.
in.
They didn't
Yeah,
connect with anybody.
it's.
Viper
I mean,
now
that's such a
throwing
hard
gateway
point to
down,
break.
trying to stay alive in this
If
fight.
they can get
He's very
cleanups,
low,
though, they
3
would be in a
HP,
good
having to go through
spot
that gateway.
right
Probably a
now.
smart move. They killed each other. Brendy and Viper went down in that fight. They both got a great shot off, but the cash went to Halto's Finest. Really great play.
Yeah, nice stuff out of HF, exactly how you want to start, and they are slaying out too, so they are sitting pretty in first place. As you see, Team Dit also cashing out, but didn't really fight anybody, so they are about $5,000 behind. Nice stuff, you love to see it if you're an HF fan for sure.
Yes, I'm pretty sure this is the ranked cash out rules, if I'm not mistaken, so it should be a 30% penalty for wiping.
Number 4 out of there.
I could be wrong though,
Possible,
actually.
but now we're going to see some aggression coming
I'll keep my eye
from
on.
fourth party cash box. We see brutal logic.
There's weird issues when it comes to ranked rule sets within private matches in this game right now, so I actually don't know. It's like the World Tour cash out rules versus ranked.
Come in. I don't know if it grabbed anybody. It looks like he may have caught one with it. He did, and he's got him stuck in the stairs. Unfortunately, he is able to get out.
No, it's 30 in ranked now. Yeah, it's a lot. It got changed in season 6.
Brendy with some huge shots. He's gonna get a trade with the burn. Again, not a wipe yet, as we see.
Let me make sure. I hate saying numbers because I turn out to be wrong, apparently.
HF looking to get a reset somewhere, some way. They are not quite on my screen. Oh, they wipe. Okay. Cafenio is going to wipe Lamp.
That's okay. They did go down, but they are leading the scoreboard right now as Team Dit is in firm control over this cash out. It is about halfway done. We did see that Brutal Logic was trying to reload that
hold. It might be 15. I may have gotten another wrong number wrong. I swear I can't catch a break.
It's kind of cool,
hang
honestly.
on.
But there he goes. He shoots it down, unable to really get anybody from that. Sadly, he was very close from that. Now having to run away very low, but getting chased by the Team Dit. He does go down in that. Llama and Spawns are able to get 2 kills from them, but Llama now down to just 1 HP. Sadly gets caught up by Cafaneo, and it is just now down to a 1 versus 2, and they get stuck out in the stairwell, and sadly fourth party cash
maybe 15
goes down in that fight.
30 is a lot. Where did I hear that?
By Viper,
okay, I think it's 15. Maybe it was 10 before, now it's 15 or something.
Now in control of Halto's Finest, so Halto's Finest was able to sneak in there in amongst
according to the finals wiki, it's 15%.
Looking now at Bobo as he throws some smoke down, goes and demats the floor below him, and is going to get his teammate back up. He decides to go for a demat play instead of getting him on the slow rev.
Bro, that's the problem with their team.
Down, and Halto's Finest seems in firm control. I don't think anybody's going to have time to steal this as we move over to Cash Out C. Cash Out C and D are very close to each other. They're going to want to make this push, and I think that we're going to see all of the teams dive right on it. But there is Bobo as he spots out one of Halto's Finest members, getting some shots.
I think it used to be 10,
all
and
blocked
then
by
they
that
got moved
mesh
to 15,
shield.
something
Moving
like
over
that.
to C, it is still in control of the Make-A-Wish boys. You'll love to see it, but time is ticking down, and oh no, fourth party cash box is here as well, and Halto's Finest. Everybody wants to be diving on this point. Cash Out is running down. Viper has to stay alive with his team. They need to hold on to this just a little bit more time. There it is, fourth party cash box diving on it. They want to go for the steal. There is the Nullifier in hand. Can he get it off? He did. He got him off, and that is going to buy them just a few more seconds. Interesting play as Viper now runs back, and the steal is going off again. Glitch grenade in hand. They're able to stop it. Well done. Make-A-Wish team, you are getting some kills in there and got some cash. Everybody's here over this point. Everybody just wants to fight and die. Graduating going down. No team wipes happening just yet, but this battle is just really wild and back and forth.
I'm really
Yeah,
curious
it
to
seems
see
like
what
every time we
teams
jump on
wind
board
up
with
in
Fourth
the
Party, they're getting kills.
you know,
so
in
it's
that
interesting
actual
to
major,
see them
'cause-
struggling this much in the financial department. But we do see
Yeah,
Team
Fourth
Dit
Party
with
Cash is
another
going through it at the moment, but
cash out
I mean they can still
underway.
come
Is that
back.
one
It's also Mount
at
Blunt.
Hospital? It is. It's up on helicopter pad. It looks like so. That's
Soul
two
Construction is pretty
fantastic,
like if you get behind, it's
cash
really hard to
outs
come
be
back. It
blessed
seems
with
like
if you're
so.
Team Dit. They earned that first one for sure, but it looks like timing just worked out over on this one, as we now have a massive engagement taking place over at 6, primarily between HF and Make-A-Wish, but Fourth Party doing their part and being annoying. They're now gonna jump over here because they definitely need some money. Fourth place is not gonna cut it. You cannot settle for fourth place here. You're gonna need that plug money, and you're gonna need to cash out with it as well if you want to make any strides. We see some nice shots going in. Everybody
great
just
lock
lighting
bolt.
up Make-A-Wish, unfortunately, but Fourth Party is gonna get the better half of that one. Signal gets one. Lamp finds one as well. So Make-A-Wish is wiped, and now we see HF and Fourth Party getting jiggy with it. Brendy, nice DMAT play here. He is the self-proclaimed shotgun king, and right on cue.
Man.
Nice flick shot there on Cafenio. Love to see it. Big Brendy fan over here. Nice to see him back in the slaying department, because in these earlier weeks,
For the
he
most
has been
part,
struggling a
and
little
I say
bit
that
as we
because
pull up the
there's
scoreboard.
a
He's been
animation
going 6
for
and 3,
like a
but
tactical reload, I think, on
unfortunately,
the
as a medium,
AK.
sometimes it is not the
And
most glorious role.
I
You're
bought
stuck
the
playing behind your
whole tile
teammates,
skin
but
recently,
I'd
the one
love
that
to
prints a
see
receipt,
Brendy able to slay
and I
out
know
like
that I
he is
can't
right here,
equip
right
that
now.
tactical
But
reload
6
to it.
isn't moving at all.
So
they
I think
might
it depends
they might
on
be
the skin you're
waiting
running,
as we
but
see
for the most
they're
part,
probably
yes.
just trying to avoid a ridiculous stagger.
Or no, not on every
I'm
gun,
not
but
quite
you can,
sure. Or they're just keeping
you know,
us away. That's
like
actually what
if you
they're
buy
doing.
an
There's no
animation
need
for
this
like
to
say
go
the
in.
F car,
Yeah, this money's not
can
gonna
put it
go
on
in unless someone gets out
almost
of there
every
quickly
F car
with it. But
skin.
Brad doing his
But you
part,
can't use it
staying
obviously on
alive,
like other
hits
weapons.
the nullifier. See you later in another
Grabs it from
dimension.
him.
That's
He
crazy.
says, I'm out of here. So HF's gonna take second there. Interesting decision. I don't know why they didn't try to plug. They were content with taking second. I think they played very well. But am I missing something here, Rio, or should they have tried to at least plug?
It was an interesting decision. Not the one that I would kind of make either, but maybe they had their idea.
Yeah,
their
the deploy
strategy.
animation also. I mean,
don't
who
know,
knows?
but-
It could be also
okay,
just a
hold
bug
on.
with
Team Di with 3 kills in total. In total,
What?
Llama had 515 damage. Bobo had 418. What?
And I think that was in the first fight.
That's crazy
I
work.
think that was the first fight.
That's crazy
it's
work.
my job to talk, and I'm speechless. I don't even know how do I explain this to the viewers? Like what just happened? Merch, you got to help me out because I don't even know what to say.
I got you. So what I always say in times like this is that it's an objective game, and this should be the ultimate lesson that we're not playing team deathmatch here. Definitely kills on a scale like that would help. Having 3 kills to your name typically would probably hurt.
That was insane.
your
Team
overall
did
score,
literally
but
got
they essentially
3
had 2
kills as a
cash outs
team and
completely
finished
uncontested.
first.
So you're not getting 500 apiece
And, like,
here or there, but
sub
you're getting
1,000 damage for
8,000
2
and
players.
then
That is
12,000
crazy
or
work.
18,000 respectively. I think it was the first and last that they had completely for free. So absolutely ridiculous. That's got to be a YouTube video from one of those guys. How we won a pro leagues match with 3 kills. But
That's gonna be a video for
you
somebody
love
on
to
that
see
team
it.
Llama, or
You
somebody's
love
gonna
to
put out a
see it.
video saying how they won
Okay,
a pro league match
one
with
of
only
the
3
weirdest
kills.
things I've ever seen in the
I
finals.
mean, I
but
guess
yeah,
that's what
you
happens
said
on
it
Soul
right. It's an
Construction, though. If you
objective
play the
game. They
outside
played
points the whole
the
time,
objectives,
it's.
they got it right.
I mean, I guess it's
And,
pretty
yeah,
easy
just
to. Well, not
fun
easy,
to
but.
see. I don't
guess
know.
it's
That was
definitely
honestly
doable.
really anticlimactic. I didn't like how it ended. Everybody was just kind of hiding the cash away from each other. I don't know, everybody. I have a feeling that map 2 will be a lot different. These teams, I'm just gonna go with they were feeling each other out. Nobody kind of knew what to do, and it was just kind of like awkward teenagers at a dance. Nobody really knew how to dance. Nobody wanted to call out their partner and say, "Hey, cutie, come on and dance with me." And now
That's
I feel
funny.
like I'm
Yeah,
just
I have
getting,
not
like,
even noticed
wildly
that.
off
I
topic,
keep getting
but
torn
we're
on
gonna
if
get
I'm gonna
loaded
buy that new
into
F car
map
skin or
number
not.
2. And yeah, we will see what this map is here in just a second.
Hey,
Fortune
let's go.
Stadium. Ooh, we haven't seen that today.
Top 2K is pretty good. I
My
actually
favorite map,
don't
so
know where I
couldn't
am
have
right now. I
asked
think I'm
for
top
anything
4K
better.
at the moment.
Let's
Let's
see
see.
how all of these teams unfold on this map.
I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, this
you guys aren't aware, there is a
map,
oh,
and I definitely understand why there is a lot of potential to be creative here. As we see Llama getting to work.
There's an
quick with
enhanced
the renovations,
leaderboard.
taking out some
if
structural
you have not seen this
foundation on
before,
this building.
or you can search
Now
up
has a
yourself if you're
goo
not in
in
game.
hand as
Pretty
well.
cool. Looking for the first top 10K though,
Walking,
so
trying to get that silent footstep audio.
that's
For
pretty
those
cool.
of you at home, you do get silent footstep audio when you walk.
Lab
something
3
to
should be
keep
on
in
there.
mind
Yeah,
at
let's
that
see.
higher level of gameplay. Across the map, fourth party cash
My name
box
in game
seems
is
to be
literally Sam,
handling
so
Make-A-Wish, but
let's
right
see.
here in front of us, we have Boo Boo trying to get this engagement going against HF. Nobody is fallen yet. We do see some damage going in here and there for both teams. Perhaps Team Did just
Oh,
going to
4,000. Wow, I dropped 88 places. I haven't
It's
played
not
in like a
something
week
that,
of
you
ranked.
can really bank on.
Yeah,
forcing
I'm
mistakes against
currently
the best players in the world,
4,014.
but we do see that
So,
heal barrel.
Got a little bit
aka
of a
the
climb to
blueberry,
there,
as
but
this
I
man
have not
calls
played
it.
much ranked.
Play. I would like to see a lot. I would like to see this. Exactly what we're seeing right here. I want to see people run around with that and throw it preemptively because I think it can do a lot. We see Boo Boo looking to do a lot with this nerfed Cerberus, but the nerf doesn't seem to be affecting these players that much. Spawn's gonna get that pick on Brendy. Again, a slow fight here across the map. Fourth party cash box did wipe, but Lamp's gonna find a pick on Boo Boo. Llama's gonna take out Lamp. Grad's gonna get Llama, and then Spawns is gonna get Grad. So one by one they fall. The trades come in, and that is a nice wipe for Team defending the equivalent of the hospital cash out. So pretty much picking up right where they left off as far as hard cash outs to push.
Yeah, and I think that we're already seeing more of a skill or more of a kill count on Team Dit on this one. They are in control of it, but hey, it looks like they're even being avoided over here as Viper and his team start to go for this cash out. Cash out A is starting to tick down, but we are watching as fourth party cash box makes their push. They want to get in there, they want to get some kills, but Caf and Neo is having to duck back.
You were so close.
Backwards a little bit.
Yeah,
So
I wish I had
Logic
time
and
to
his
play more
teammate
ranked.
are
It's
just
kind of
stuck out there a little bit.
Cody and I's
Maybe
idea originally was to try to get top 500 this season, and then we started the channel, and that's just consumed most of our playtime. We play for a little bit, play some World Tour, maybe some ranked, capture gameplay, make the video, and then go to bed.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna stay on A or
That's kind of what it's been.
Both teams are fighting.
But we are starting. We've kind of fallen into our rhythm now as far as like videos. So we're playing a little more ranked now. We've been playing a lot with Finny, our moderator, as well, one of our mods in the Discord. So it's been nice to have like a 3-stack as well recently. Specifically for ranked, I queue up with a lot of people in LFG for World Tour and stuff.
Unable to kind of go
Try
for
to.
anything, doesn't spot anybody out. Glitch grenade in hand, Nullifier as well. Dives down in there, but not really going for the cash just yet. Time is ticking down, and I'm not sure this is the play that I would do. I would want to get there, but they seem to be kind of stuck, struggling to get over there. But there is the C4. They're going to drop it, and they are going to have a chance to go for it. I don't think so. Not just yet.
Really sad
but
numbers
there
are
is a
not as high as they
Nullifier
used to
going
be.
down as well,
Yeah,
and there
man, it's across the board. I'm really hoping as esports ramps up with the finals that maybe we see an increase again, maybe in season 7, season 8. But the thing is, like in my opinion, the game's the best it's ever been right now. I think it's in a great state. It's just kind of
a nice start for them. We do
maybe
see
a little late.
trying to set up
I don't know.
with an aggressive move.
Yeah, we're still
assuming that
making
they have a
content
gateway on
and
the
stuff,
money.
and
They
we're sticking
do.
with it for now.
Great. Love
Our
to see
goal
that.
is
They're
to
gonna get
do,
this fast
in
plug
case
over on
you guys have
C.
not heard, we've mentioned a
This
couple
is
times, I
good
think.
if you're HF.
But
You
our
are the
goal
first
with like
team
these
to
watch
plug
parties
here.
is to eventually do this,
The
hopefully
other
live
money hasn't
at
even been completed
the
as
LAN.
far as
Obviously, we're
goes,
testing
so
it
this
now,
would be
getting
monster
familiar with like the
stagger.
pro scene
As
and
long
things
as
like
HF
that.
can
But
hold this, then
we
they're
would
gonna
love
be
to do like
in
an
pretty good
in-person
position for the
watch
next
party
one
like
as well.
this
We see
at the
nice
LAN
positioning there
when
out
they
of
host that
Grad.
major. That's like our
Hunting
goal.
down Cafenio. Nice pick
So,
from Lamp as well. That's going to leave one
We'll
left
see if that happens.
for
So
fourth party cash
we
box.
haven't
They
taught the
got
embark
handled
or anything
pretty
like that.
easily from
So
HF. I love to see it. Grad is another really satisfying player to watch. I could watch him shoot all day. Something about people on controller too. It's just so smooth. It's different to watch, but Grad is absolutely cracked, and I
didn't know
like
he was running a
seeing-
controller. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
yeah, this
Grad's
game
a
does get
controller
compared to
demon. We're gonna
Titanfall
see
a
Llama
lot,
with
and
the
I
melee
definitely can
with-
understand
I'm
why.
sorry, the sledge melee
those terms.
combo. That is a tough one to deal with, and they're gonna go for this plug now over at D. almost a full minute behind C, and he's actually gonna get caught in the back.
I think one of the things
so
too is
nice
people
stuff from
didn't want to
Varian,
take the time to
sneaking
learn
that
cash
steal,
out, and
sneaking the
that
kill and the
turned
plug
them
as
off from the
well.
game. Even
So
though, in my opinion,
that's
it's the
tough
best
to
mode
deal
in the
with
game. I think it's what
if
makes
you
the
are
game the
Team
game.
J, you hate to see it.
I don't personally
HF
really feel
looking
like
good,
playing
though.
TDM.
No one's
Power
really
Shift's
pushing
fun, in my opinion, for casual,
Yeah,
but I
all
wouldn't
those
want to play it
finest
ranked.
have the opportunity
Terminal
to
Shift I've
set
never
up
touched in my
here,
life,
and
and I don't really
also
have a
the
plan to.
Make-A-Wish boys are doing really
But
well so far.
I think a lot of people just got turned off from cash out for whatever reason, because there is a huge learning curve with it. I mean, to like play it, correctly. It's not you don't just run and gun. I mean, you gotta think about when you're gonna hit the vault, when you're gonna cash it, whether you're gonna protect or go rotate for third parties, like all that stuff. Almost like Apex Legends in a way. Like Pro Apex Legends is the same way. Every single game is different in your gameplay strategy. But I think like this game in comparison to Apex is people didn't really think about it that way. They just thought it was like kind of an arena shooter.
But they are now
So,
having to force their way into another push.
but I hope with
Finest
like
are
Pro
also
Hubs
up.
and
Cash out
other
is ticking down.
esports
There is
venues that
Surgical
they
goes
are
for the
able
steal,
to
but there is C4 on
maybe
point,
cash out
blows
becomes
up,
more
drops
popular.
it.
We'll see though.
It looks like Halter's Finest are going to be able
What I
to
do
hold
hope
control of
is
this
Embark
as
does
Team
not
J is
change
here as
the
well.
ranked
We're
mode.
watching as
I hope they
looks
add
like
ranked
the
as
fourth party
well
cash
for like
box
power
just
shifts
got
and stuff, but I
wiped,
don't
now
want them to
Team J
change
is like,
ranked
hey,
over
I
to a
want
different
some
mode.
kills too.
I
And they
think
came in
cash
and
out being
cleaned
the
up
ranked
the
mode makes the
remaining
most
of
sense.
Halter's Finest. Now we're watching
Because the
them
thing
as
is, like,
they
if you're gonna do like
bounce
ranked
pad
TDM
over
or
to
terminal
cash
shift,
out
people are
D.
just gonna go play
Cash
other
out D,
games
they have
anyways.
every
That
opportunity
honestly
to
do
get
this
the
much
push on
better.
here,
As
and they're
much
running
fun as
down
those
to
modes
maybe
are,
about
they are.
25
I mean,
seconds
they've been
left.
done better
There's
in
an
other
APS
games. It's been
turret.
around
They're going to
forever.
try and drop this down and go for the steal right from underneath them. But by dropping it, it goes down 2 floors. They close it up. This is a great strategy, but I think that there's still a little bit of an area that they could spot them out. We're watching as their teammates throw some.
What I don't
down.
understand though is
Sadly,
people on
Bobo
Twitter being
unable
like,
to
"This game's
hold
boring."
down
I don't
control.
know how you
He
can
is
think
gonna
that playing
drop
this
and
game.
He is going to die. There is what looks like a gravity vortex, or maybe
Yeah,
somebody
no.
got,
As somebody who primarily plays
materialized whatever
Rush and
call now,
Battlefield,
but
it's
Cash Out
definitely
is in
not related to
control
that
of
at all,
Make-A-Wish.
in my
They're gonna
opinion.
be able to get this, and I don't think
I
anybody
don't
is going to have time
like
to go for a steal.
Rush is the
Make-A-Wish gonna be
equivalent of like
propelled all the way
demolition
to
of
the
Call of
top.
Duty,
This is what I was
where
saying,
you
is that
spawn
I
in the
have
same
seen
spot
the
and you
most
try to
growth
protect
out
your
of
2
any
bomb sites.
team,
Like, it's
and
nothing
from
like Cash
Make-A-Wish,
Out.
So I'm happy to see them performing the way they are so far.
Cash Out, there is no
Yeah,
attackers and
you
defenders. It
definitely
just
called
depends on
that, and
who
I think
controls the
you're
cash
spot
boxes
on
at those
with it.
times.
Make-A-Wish looking really good.
It's
HF
completely
also
different.
looking good as again, they're just playing the timing the right way here. They're gonna get this final plug.
In my
Showing
opinion,
that extra
Rush is one of
30
the most
seconds
fun
of
modes of
bonus time.
Battlefield. But
Unfortunately, Grad's gonna
that's
take it
a hot
out
take.
there.
People love conquest.
We
and
do
stuff.
see there's about to be a lot of mayhem going in as Brendy's gonna miss that initial defib. Lamp was nullified, but he's back. Now we're gonna see that defib over on Grad, and a good goo out of Brendy, just keeping his buddy alive. Unfortunately, for the other team, HF is quickly reset and in a pretty advantageous position.
What?
Fourth party cash box at least putting in some shots.
Which
Team
died.
Did just
That's
going for an
crazy.
alternate route here, and now HF's gonna find themselves between a rock and a hard place. They're getting pushed from just about every single angle. I'd like to see them get out of there as fourth party is now going for an absolutely free uncontested steal. I don't think anybody's really close enough, and they weren't. They got the steal, so really nice timing from fourth party cash box and fantastic situational awareness as well. This kill feed is just lighting up though. Fourth party is going to be taken out, and now we have an aggressive steal from Team D. Brendy's going to find an easy one there. He doesn't find that defib again.
Oh my god.
That's 2 times where we kind of missed a defib. He was glitched there, not much you could do about it, but that's
Yeah,
tough
fourth party
timing.
stole the
We
cash
do
box.
see
I think
them
it's
get
getting
wiped
stolen,
to Make-A-Wish,
unfortunately.
who are now going to get this steal.
Yeah, but don't you
Team
have
Dick coming off
reviews
spawn,
and
but they're not
continuous
gonna be back
assault
there in
of
time to do
changing
anything about
spots
it,
in that
as they are now
mode?
just arriving. Nobody
That was
has
kinda
touched
similar.
6, and it doesn't look like anybody is going to.
Yep, this cash out
In
is
Rush,
running
I
down
don't
in the
remember.
Make-A-Wish
I actually haven't
boys
played
are
Battlefield in a while
holding
as well,
strong.
so I'm
Here
not
is
sure
fourth
if
party
you can
cash
change your
boxes. They
spawns
dematted down
as
from the
much.
ceiling. They are gonna go for a
I think
push.
you
They have maybe
can.
20 seconds and need to get on it right
Maybe.
now. Goo is going off all
not sure,
over the place.
actually.
We see Team Dit is here
But the
as
idea
well.
is the
Everybody
same.
wants
You
this
basically,
cash.
like,
Who's gonna take it?
if they
And it
take
looks
your
like
2
everybody just
bases,
dying
basically,
left
you
and
get
right.
pushed back.
Cafaneo getting popping
That's
off,
basically how it
getting
works.
kill after
They
kill.
basically
Can
set a
he
bomb
connect
or
with
something
another
on the
one?
2
He's looking for a kill hiding behind that
objectives,
pole,
and
but
if they
unable to
blow
do
it up,
so.
then
Time
your
is gonna
team
run
who's
down,
defending
and it
moves
looks
back.
like everybody's
That
dead,
becomes,
but the Halto's
larger.
finest, but the cash
Their spawn
goes the
moves up,
way of
yours
the
moves
Make-A-Wish
back.
boys.
And I
That
think you
was
can.
just
Oh yeah, you can
intense.
spawn on the 2
What a
objectives.
wild
So so you have your
honestly.
default spawn, you have the two
That
objective
was
spawns.
That was
and
insane.
then
The way
obviously
those last
squad spawns
second
as well.
collapses occurred. Great stuff out of Make-A-Wish. They are playing out of their minds. Polto's finest taking second place. I believe that's back-to-back second places, but that's pretty good considering Make-A-Wish was in 10th place going into that round specifically. So you're not really going to be overtaken by a team that many positions down. That's kind of best case scenario if you're HF. If you're not going to get first place, that's the team.
Yeah, I mean the demolition and just like the crazy plays of the finals is what makes the game so fun, in my opinion. Like if somebody's gooed up an entire wall, well, I'll blow up the ceiling and push through instead. Like that's what I like about the game, the fact that they can do that in a competitive standpoint. Like the framework is here for a ranked version of that. Like I mean, I guess Siege kind of can do that as well, which is why you see a lot of crossover from Siege to the finals.
But they're all people that have been in the scene for a while, and I have seen them just pop off like crazy. So I fully expect that they will. I'm not sure what's happening here. I thought that this was going to be a really balanced lobby, but it does kind of seem to be leaning a little more towards Halto's finest and the Make-A-Wish boys. So we're only halfway through. Those only the first two maps. They have every opportunity to change that up. But I do just kind of want to point out again, like I said it from the start, that like the Make-A-Wish guys just seem to have changed. And it's one of my favorite things. I was talking about people like behind the scenes, is that like this league, we've never seen this in the finals. We've never had the opportunity for a team to have growth, for a team to kind of change and like adapt in the way that they have. Most tournaments that have happened in the finals are normally like a weekend, or if we're lucky, a couple of weeks overall. But this has been 8 play days. This has been a lot. And I don't know. I'm really impressed with it, and I think it's just something that has to be highlighted in this scene, because we're seeing it develop for the first time. So again, guys, if you don't have a favorite team to root for, there are a ton in that lobby, but really the underdogs are the Make-A-Wish boys, and they're doing great. So I'm rooting for them. I hope that they can keep it going, because they do have
Make-A-Wish really is making a
in that lobby
run back.
well.
I mean, those
With
guys were
Halto's
like
finest
bottom
well.
of the
Halto's
barrel,
finest,
and
those
they
of you
are
who don't know,
and
have
they
been
just
around
won
for
the
a
series.
very
I don't know
long
where they're
time.
standing right now
They were
after
some of the
those
first,
two wins.
really competitive teams. They even won
The finals
breakout
absolutely
events back
does
in
deserve the CS:GO esports scene. Like it should have that kind of
It's been a
following
while now.
eventually. I hope it does.
Yeah, so it's just been.
That's what I'm saying.
really
I would
exciting,
love
you know,
for
journey
this
for
to
them,
be
and
in
I'm
an
just happy
arena
to see
one
this team.
day.
So,
You
but
have
with that said, I've kind of
100
talked a lot
Thieves
about
playing
all of
against
the teams
FaZe.
in here.
I
Team
think it has
Git
the
as
ability
well
to be
has
like a
been
tier
just
1
really,
esport.
good performer.
There's others
They
who
seem to
think
have
it's
really
maybe like a
consistent
tier 2 kind of
maps,
like Rocket
consistent,
League in a
play
way,
style,
like in that kind of level, or
and,
Apex.
yeah, they just really
Apex is
well-rounded.
kind of elevated up
Cash
to,
Box
actually
mentioned
Apex
before,
is
but
kind of tier
I
1
hope
now,
that
so
they're
never
able to
mind.
step it up just a little bit.
But I think the finals
Yeah,
absolutely
I
is
think you pretty much
potentially
covered all the
getting
bases
themselves
there.
there.
This is such a
So,
tightly
but in my opinion, they need
contested
marketing
race.
from
We have
Embark.
HF
I mean,
currently
that's
sitting
a
in
big
second
part of
place
it.
after that last one.
So we'll
I
see.
mean, it is still so up for grabs for pretty much anybody here. I'm liking what we're seeing out of fourth party Cashbox and Make-A-Wish though. It's cool to see these teams just progressing.
It
and
is very
growing.
fun to watch. My
But
one thing about the
with that being
finals
said, we got
is
map 3
cash out can be
underway. It
hard
is
to like
New
follow what's going on
Vegas.
if
I
you haven't
love
played the
aesthetic
game.
of this map.
But that's a
Everything is
lot of
so
esports,
shiny
right?
and new.
Like
Maybe I'm just a
especially
simple
shooters.
person
I
that
mean,
likes
watch like
shiny
pro Call of
things. But
Duty
we do see
and
a
like you've
nice
never touched
engagement
hardpoint or
coming
never
in
seen
from Team
hardpoint,
Tit immediately on
or
HF. Bubu's gonna get that pick on
control,
Lamp, thanks
like
to the
those
burn
maps and
hits.
modes, or
And now he's got another
you've never
enemy
touched it
in
before,
his
you have no idea
sights.
what's going
Looks
on.
like Grad
Search
trying
is
to get out of there.
arguably the same way,
Grad
but a little
picking
bit
his
more
battles.
easier to pick up if you've
Unfortunate
watched
out
like
of
CS:GO
Bubu,
or
not quite
Valorant
landing
or
how he wanted it to.
you know
But he's gonna find
other
that assist
elimination
over on Grad
style
as well.
games.
Across the map, fourth party Cashbox is taken down. Lamp's gonna find one, and that's gonna be on Llama, who just recently
Fourth
took out
party is
Brendy.
kind of
And
in a
now we have
blender, I hate
Lamp
to say
trying
it.
to play his life the best he can in a 1v2
It's
situation,
been
but he is
tough
gonna be taken
matchups for
out
them.
by spawns. Lamp almost got out of there, but it's just 2v1. That's a tough one to get out of alive. Make-A-Wish with a fast plug across the map. Love to see it. That's good stuff if you are rooting for the Make-A-Wish boys.
Absolutely, they continue to impress, and I hope everybody out there is enjoying it as well. We've got a little bit of a lull, so I want to remind everybody that at the
Hours
end of
that I
this
have on the
map, at
finals
the
is
end of this,
actually a lot
day-to-day
lower than
community
other
matches,
people.
we will be giving a
I
giveaway
have
of
currently
some
210
Remember
hours and
basing it off of our
210.7
favorite
hours.
copy pasta. And on top of that, I'm gonna
and in the
read out
last
loud my
two
favorite
weeks, I've
copy
played
pasta
23.
that you guys paste. So chat, go wild, fly my pretties, do what you do best, and let them be known what your favorite copy pasta is. is. Make him up about the
Holy,
players. Anybody
there are
performing,
people that I
but
play
that's
with that are
enough about that
thousands,
as we
or at
move
least at
over
the 1,000
and all
mark
those finalists are
currently.
getting pushed. They have to get
I
something going
played
right now
closed
as they move
beta,
in and out of that stairwell.
open beta,
Graduating goes
and then
down. Brady gets a
season
kill though.
1.
Graduating gets
I don't
back
know how
up by
long
his
in season
teammate. They
1.
are
I
in
stopped
each other's
playing though,
faces, trying to just go
for a long
at it.
time.
Lamp very
And then
low.
I started
Graduating
playing
half
again
health
with
as well.
Cody,
Having to put up that mesh shield as he gets
like
charged by
halfway to
Air Heavy.
3/4
Oh,
through
that was a
season
great
5.
kill on
And
Mr.
now
Derp.
I'm playing
That was
consistently.
not what you want to see for the
So,
Make-A-Wish boys. They
yeah, I
decided to
went
go for that
from
push, and it just
like
worked out in the
silver
favor
4
of
or
all those
something to
finalists. So the steal
plat
will
2,
go off,
almost plat
and they
1,
will be in
and
control
then
of
deranked
this
back to gold,
cash.
and then got back to plat 3
Yeah,
or
as we
2
take a look
last
at the
season.
scoreboard here,
So, but that was
pretty
playing
even
a
stuff
lot of
for the
ranked.
most part. An
Now I'm
early
playing a lot
struggle
more
for
World Tour
fourth
and casual
party
modes
in the
currently.
kills department,
So,
and a bit
yeah.
of success for Team D early and often. They are looking to.
You
get
have to
these
remember that
kills
forcing
rolling
esports
in,
is always a bad
especially
idea
to
if
make
games
up for
community
lost time in
doesn't
that
try to
game
do
one,
esports
they
on their
finished
own and
in
putting
one
money
with 3 kills,
to force it won't
just
do
to jump
anything.
back to that
I
point. But it
definitely
looks like an
agree.
HF is probably gonna cash out
You
here
can't force
across the map. I
anything.
didn't see
I
exactly
will
what was
say
going
the
on, but we do
community
see Make
is
a Wish
doing
getting in
it
there pretty
to an extent,
aggressively,
like
and
ProHubs.
the boys in orange are
And also
kind
I
of
think
far
A
away.
Squad
I
or
don't know if
whatever
they
their name
have
is
it all
that
set
I
up for
don't
this or
know
not.
off
I
the top
don't
of my
think
head,
they
but
can stop
they
it.
also do community
He
tournaments.
gets
They're
it at the
not as
last
organized
second.
as
Oh
this.
my goodness! I mean, talk about playing with fire.
So like it's
That
it's
was way
there.
too
The
close
interest
for
in the
comfort
community
for
is
my
there. I mean,
liking,
these
but
guys are
nice 2-piece
streaming
out
the
of Lamp
players and stuff
and
pretty much
a
every
kill
day.
out of Brendy as well.
But the problem is
That's
there's just
gonna
not
be a
much
wipe,
marketing
but
behind
boy,
it. I
was
mean,
that
it's
close.
hard to market.
Now, back over to Team
It's hard to
J.
like
They look to be in a
get new
similar
people to
situation
watch
where they
or
are
play
being
it, like
pushed
bringing
by
awareness. I mean, the
Make-A-Wish.
amount of
They're
times
actually
we've
being
mentioned
stolen from right
ProHubs,
now, or
like
from
with the Around the
fourth party,
Arena
should I
episode we
say.
released,
They're being stolen from right
and
now.
people were
but
like,
a
"I'd
stop
never
does
heard of
come
this.
into
Now I'm
play.
checking it out." It's
We
pretty
see
crazy.
trades come in,
So-
Brutal Logic. We are going to see one last hop. I don't know if anyone's in position to stop this. I don't see the mesh anywhere. Wow.
The other thing is like
Wow.
the lore behind the
Oh
finals
my
is it's built
goodness,
around
at the very
esports
last
as well. Like
second.
it
I don't
is
know
an
what happened to his
esport,
mesh, if he
and
was
so
glitched or something, or
like
if it was just
Embark has
broken,
said
but
in like
he
an
definitely had
interview
a
with
mesh
Dot
there.
Esports, they said
Yeah,
that
I think he
they
just dove right
are
on it
going
and just
to
got in his face, and they weren't
integrate
body blocking because he
esports,
thought
but
his mesh
keep
shield was
it
gonna be
to the
enough.
sense
Just
of like they're not
heartbreaking
going
because I really thought
take
that this
away
was
from the
gonna be
casual
turnaround spot
feel of the game.
for fourth party cash
So
box,
like
but hey,
kind of how
unfortunately
the
doesn't
state
work
is
out every
now. I mean,
time.
like it's a bit
Graduating
sweatier,
with that
sure, and like
insane
I mean,
aim
there's a
from
clear
across
objective
that
and like
half-injured
area
side
for
of
you
the
to
map.
grow
Really cool to
and
see as Cash
become
Out
more
C
competitive.
will get
But the
started
idea
by
is they're
all
going to
those
mix
finest.
their
All those
esports
finest
events
with a pretty
into
good
the
lead
lore
so
of the
far,
game. So
19
I don't know if that
followed
means
up
like
shortly
announcers are
by
going to be,
Team Dip,
announcing
just
things that happened in
15. On the other
esports.
side of the map, it looks like Spawns has
Just
gotten
Scotty
a
and
nice kill
June
there.
integrating
The
with it.
other
I don't know. I
cash
mean,
out
there's
has
so
not
much they
been
could
started,
do.
but Vault 4 has
Yeah.
been tapped, and it does seem like fourth party cash box are the ones that are going to be in control of that. We're going to move over to this vault.
There's
because
enough
it
people who
doesn't
wanna
seem
watch
like
it. That's
anybody
fair.
really wants to
Yeah.
fight with Halto's finest
It's
at
so
the moment.
hard to
This is
tell
the
with
mega
just
dome
the
that we're
player base.
seeing
I mean, the
right
player base
now,
is not
and it
big
does- and,
as well.
fourth
I
party
mean,
cash
that's
box
part
were
of the
able to
problem.
kind of get that vault over
It's
there
not even
and
that
get
like
cash out
Embark necessarily needs to
started. We
market
do see that the
esports for this. They
Make-A-Wish
need
boys
to
have
market their
gone
game
down.
a little
This is
more.
not
I
their
don't know how they're going
performance
to do
today.
it. They have heart
Half
creators going on,
seems
but
to be
yeah.
like every time I sing their praises, they have a little bit of a slip up. But hey, that's okay. As we said, everybody is maturing and growing. But yeah, things have kind of slowed down. I'm not sure. I think people are going to go for a little bit more of a strategic push in this next push.
I'm hoping they get
Yeah,
like
somewhat of a
content creator,
caster's curse
and I
with
hate to say
Wordle
it, but I
right
hope
now.
they
Like,
get
when I
content
spectate
creators more
Blubber, I
involved.
spectate ends up
Not
dying
not
immediately
existing
after.
finals content
We
creators,
see
but
a
like
blueberry in the hand of
the big
Xenio.
names outside of
Something I
this
just want to
game.
point out
They,
here.
they can get them a little involved,
This
especially
being
when the
last
100K is
day,
more
play day of the season is
fleshed
kind of a
out.
lost
Like the
point.
details are
But I
more
would have
fleshed
liked
out.
to see teams
It'd be
forcing
interesting to see
doubles
like
to
Shroud or
avoid
other
large
people start to
staggers.
kind
I
of
think
flood
that's
in, see if they can
pretty
take
much
their
the
stab
only
at qualifying
way
for that, because it's going to be
you
an
kind
open
of reset
qualifier.
the timer
So
is enforcing both of those
that'd be great.
follow-up up.
I mean, we
cash
saw
outs, or
some big
vaults, I should
streamers
say,
get
to spawn at the
partnered with
exact
for the
same
season
time.
6 release.
We hadn't really seen that a lot.
Well,
I
not
thought we
big
were gonna see
streamers.
it
We
right
saw
here,
people
but
like
we didn't.
Styloza, for example,
Regardless,
and
we have a
Flats,
huge
and
engagement
some other like
going on between
Overwatch
HF
creators,
and
for
Team Did.
example,
HF
that
currently
are
in
big to
control, but
me.
Team Did is
As somebody
all
who
over
followed
the
Overwatch
place,
for a
trying
really
to
long
make
time.
something happen.
So
Lamp in a really nice position here.
yeah,
playing
it's
his life
Timmy.
very
Those people,
well.
yeah.
It
I
does look
mean,
like Brendan fell,
I
and now
totally
Lamp
see
is
like
gonna fall
tens
as
or
well,
it's
but
Timmy or
Brad is
people
getting
trying to
that
take their
hand
stab
on
at
Brendy
like that
in a pretty
major
good spot. They can
as the
get there,
defense
but
get
that's
more
a
fleshed out.
nice
The problem is
move.
it's just been
They're
like
gonna have to be quick here
mentioned
as
in
we
passing.
see the
Oh, yeah.
sledge
But as soon as they have
just
like a
not
date
doing the
and
job
when
on
the
Brendy as he
qualifiers
gets him
are
out
and
of
things
there.
like that,
And
I
nice
think you'll
stuff out of Brendy
start
there.
to see more.
Beautiful
I mean,
shot
I
out of
personally am
Brendy.
going to try to
Very
be in
well
chats
played
and things
if
like
you
that, try to
are
promote it
HF.
if possible.
Good stuff. Across the map, though, it looks
But
like
we'll see.
440 Cashbox just wiped on the money, and no one really in position to do anything about this, as Make-A-Wish is going to get that steal. So a little bit of a Uno reverse card on that Caster's Curse, as Make-A-Wish has turned it back around yet again.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about this game is that everything can just change on a dime. It is not set in stone until the last few seconds of that timer tick down. So it can all just be jumbled up, and you never know it. Halto's Finest is looking pretty right now, but there is no guarantee that they'll even end up in first. We're watching them now as they set up on the Mega Dome. They're trying to spot out where everybody is so that they can make the decision of which cash out to go for. They don't want to go for a vault. They know that Team Dit is right below them, but they also spot out the Make-A-Wish boys. They are over there, and they are in control of Vault 6. I think they
like
want to go for the
Fortnite might be a stretch, but it would be cool to get like an in-game esports menu that lets you play in like community tournaments built into the game every week.
But he did not connect any of them. They are still
Shitty cosmetics.
on this
I
Mega
agree.
Dome
I would love for
waiting
this game to be
something
the big
happen.
game.
There was
The thing is, like,
gateway, I
it
believe, that
fills a
helped
space
Team Dit
in
get cash out
FPS
started.
games specifically
But we're
right
watching
now.
as
Like,
Halto's Finest are
the
looking
only
overhead.
fresh
They're in a
FPS
nice
that's
little
out is
cargo
Fragpunk,
formation
and that's
as the
falling
cash
off
out
in my
B is
opinion.
about to get
The
started.
content creators are
RPG
already
goes
talking
off
about the
and
game's
just
dead.
stops at least
I mean,
two of them in their tracks.
that's what
And there
the
it
finals
is.
was
It
competing
looks
with when they
Viper
released
down to
Season
just a
6.
pickle of HP.
Fragpunk.
There it is.
So,
or Varian, as sorry, and
as I said, it still
Varian
fills
goes
a hole
down in that
in
fight.
this,
Graduating now,
genre.
looking for his next victim, and spots him out. He's running right into Mr.
Check the
Derp
Steam
and
charts real
brings
quick.
him down. That is going to be a wipe on the Make-A-Wish guys as they get set up, and Halto's Finest are in control of this cash out.
That was so funny to see. Just out of the corner of your screen, you see Brendy from the top ropes chasing in after 3 enemies.
So the
and
finals
they
in
somehow
the last
come out on
30
top
days
of
is
it, too. I
actually
thought for
up
sure that was going to be a
0.5%.
questionable push to say the least out of Brendy. But
and in
HF just
April it's down
collapsed
0.94%. So I
onto
mean, it's
fourth-party
really
cash out, and they
keeping its
won that
player
fight
base for
pretty
the most part.
convincingly. Across the map, Team Dit
In March
is
it was up
ahead as
almost
far as the
8%,
timing
not
goes
well
on the start of
7%.
that plug, but because we're in
At a peak
overtime,
of
these are gonna
27,000
finish
players, and that's
approximately at the same
from
time, if
Steam.
not the exact
It's not
same
including console,
time.
which I think
We see
this game
Make-A-Wish
is
try
a
to do
lot more,
something
honestly,
here.
a lot
First
more
place
console
is
players
still
than
on
Steam
the
players.
table, but
So,
somebody's gonna
especially
have to
for
do
that
something
now that
about
Xbox
HF's
launcher
money.
also has the game, so
Otherwise, no
that
one's
changes
gonna
things.
pass
And I
them.
think Epic
We do see a
Games
nice
launcher as well has
Nullify
it,
come into
so
play, as well as
that's not
some
including those
evasion
numbers.
away from that
But
Witch
on
Claw.
Steam,
Huge
18-hour
stuff,
peak
but
is
it's to no
18,000,
avail, as
or
eventually
24-hour
Wordle
peak is
as
18,000.
well.
That's
Boo and
not
Spawn
bad.
with their picks. And now that just leaves a lone heavy for the boys at Make-A-Wish. You hate to see it, but out of nowhere,
Right, we don't
fourth-party
have
cash
console
box
numbers.
are gonna
We
just
also
show
don't
up
have
and
other
try to get
platforms
this
on
steal.
PC.
One stop
But this
comes
is
into play,
the
but
public option we
I
have.
think that's really it.
Let's see
Nobody
something.
was prepared for this push where a full health team comes in against 2 teams that have been battered and
For
bruised.
reference,
Across the map,
Fragpunk is
HF
down from
still in
March,
possession of their money, so
76,000,
if no one steals from HF, it doesn't matter really what happens here.
76% with a 24-hour
We
peak
do
of
see,
11,000
though,
players.
Fourth party go from 0 to
It's
0
now
as they
beneath the
drop
finals
or they jump
by
from 4th
a
to
margin,
2nd place here.
I think.
And with 3 seconds left for someone
Yeah,
to
by like
start to
7,000
steal
players.
over at B, I don't see
Come on.
much happening. It's also a kill
The
race.
finals is
something to
keeping
keep
their
in
player
mind
base,
here.
which is
Team
great.
Dit is a kill ahead, but they have wiped. Ooh, and fourth
Oh.
party doesn't get
I
the
also agree
second kill
Fragpunk
they
is
need
not
to
a good
actually
game.
overtake. Very close kill race here. Beautiful stuff from HF. It's been absolute mayhem. These final boxes have just been absolutely insane, Rio.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And guys, just for those of you who don't know, what just happened here is that it looked like second and third were tied. So they had the exact same amount of kills or same amount of cash. And what Merch was mentioning is that it turned into a kill race. And basically, when 2 teams are tied the way that they are, the first team to get a kill will get 500 extra cash. And what that does is it brings them to the second place in the scoreboard. But on top of that, what it means is that if the third place team gets a kill as well, which is what we saw, they only get $500. But the team that eclipses it will be the ones that goes up first. So the very first person to get to that cash total holds the place. So that's what we saw there. And it's sad to say, but Team Dit just slowly, just barely got that kill a little bit earlier than the fourth party cash box. So that was their opportunity to get it. And it's just a little bit of an explanation of kind of how it works. Because I think that the cash totals can be a little bit confusing sometimes, especially if you guys don't play. But that is map number 3. That was Vegas. That was wild. Like, that was a good map.
2 people
And, hey,
in
fourth party
Hotel's
cash box,
Finest
they
can be
actually were
in
able to
diff
get some cash
teams.
outs finally.
Who are you referring
Yeah,
to?
good stuff out of fourth party. That's something to note. That's how the Pro League works, as well as just the fundamentals of the game. You have to overtake if you are the second team. In other words, if you're the second team to achieve that tie, you do not
People
get
want
the
to play
win.
COD
So the
because
first
it's
team
just
to get
like
there
been
gets
the
it
same
unless
for
they
all
are
those years and
physically
it's really
past
familiar. think.
And that's just
But I mean, it's on a
fundamentals of the
decline.
game. So
I
we
mean,
saw an
COD's the
exciting
biggest
kill
thing
rate
this
at
year
the
has been the
end
fact
there.
that Verdansk
That
is
was
back.
awesome. I feel like
I mean,
Vegas
a re-released
always
map.
has those crazy moments.
And some
like
people are
that, but
complaining that
that's
it's the
just been
same,
theme of
and some people
today,
were
and that
like,
is also why we just love
at
the
them
finals. The
saying that, well,
chaos
yeah.
is what it's all about. I believe we have one game left from this Group B. Group B flew
Oh,
by. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I
don't know if
didn't
I'm
see
just,
that, but
like,
it's probably just a
immersed in these
spectator
games right now, but
bug
I'm
with
having a great time casting it with
private
Rio.
matches.
I am
mean,
excited to see map number 4, and HF I believe gets the pick on that one.
Yes, so whoever wins gets to decide the next map, and I'm curious to see, because this has been a little bit different. It's going to be Cis Horizon, so that is a very commonly picked map. For a little bit of history of you guys that haven't seen it, Cis Horizon, back in the day of when we were doing private matches, was the only map that had no variations. So it was the only map that you could get the standard experience on without having to worry about, like,
fourth party
is
can
it
do
going
this.
to be
I
under
believe it.
construction? Is it going to be a mode
I believe they
people
can bring
don't
this
like?
up.
So in the competitive scene, Cis Horizon became kind of the preferred map, and it is, in my opinion, some of the maps that we see some of the best gameplay on. So I'm very excited, guys. This is map number 4. Keep the copy pastas coming. I want to see how excited you guys are. Root for your favorite team. Don't have a favorite team, you have a favorite color. Follow it along as we get started on Cis Horizon.
I can't wait. And just a quick note, I would love to see them add like suspended structures or up, down, left, right to Cis Horizon. But we have a fast engagement going down here as Cernal hits a Halo 2 super bounce, and he's going to take out that first one. Brutal Logic's actually going to get it, and we're going to see a fast defib as well. But that's just going to end up being a farm on behalf of his teammate, leaving the poor Light for Make-A-Wish left to just fend for himself. And that's going to be a
No,
fast
100%.
wipe.
I mean, yeah,
well,
COD tries to stay
across the
fresh.
map,
The problem is
there
they
was another
go back.
wipe as well, and they are
As somebody who
already
is an avid
respawned.
Call of
So we
Duty
see
player and
B
somebody's
plugged
played it
immediately
competitively,
for
or at least
HF,
tried
a
to
very
since like
fast
Black
start,
Ops
but
2.
not too shortly
COD's
after,
biggest
we're gonna
issue
see
is
A get
halfway through
plugged
their
in, so
cycle, they just
not
kind
a
of feel like they
bad
give
stagger.
up
You shouldn't
and
see
are working on the next
anything
thing.
too funky.
And that makes the game feel like
Yep,
slop
and this
in a
setup
way, you
is
know what I mean?
happening
Like,
right now from Team Dead. They are getting pushed
MW3 I
almost
felt like was
immediately.
the
There is
exception.
a
I
steal
actually thought that
going
game
off,
got
but it
better with
seems like
time.
fourth-party cash box is in
I haven't
control.
played Black
They
Ops
are
6
above
recently
this,
because I'm
making it a
hoping
little
it's
bit of a
doing the
challenge
same
for them to
thing, and I
spot
might touch
anybody
it in
out.
the next few
This is a
months or
very
so.
interesting spot for the cash out to be in because it's on so many levels. It
But
can
I
be
mean, we
dropped
saw
like
with
it
Black Ops
just
6. As
was.
soon as Newtown and
Now
stuff started
watching
getting released,
spawns
like
as
that's
he's
what they
getting
played
kill
into,
after
and it just
kill,
kind of
brings
became.
Surginal down in that
And they were
fight.
using AI
There's one
generated
person
stuff for a lot of
left on
things.
fourth-party cash box.
Like,
Is he gonna spot him out? And sadly, he goes down in that.
as much as I
Bobo
enjoyed the game, it
eliminated
kind
as
of
well
made
as
the
Brutal
textbook
Logic is trying to
slop,
bring his
but
teammate back
you know,
up. But
not as
there
bad as
is
like
Llama
2K.
with the bonk. He gets him, and he gets a
But,
very satisfying little bonk. But he is the last person remaining on his team. So now he's trying to dig himself
that
a
is what I
little
like about
area
the.
to get his teammate back up. But sadly, there is that sonar grenade going off.
That is what I
and it
like
didn't
about the
look like
finals
he
is I
was
feel
able to
like
get
all
away
these
from that. There
updates
goes
feel
Llama
fresh. It
down
feels like
in
they're
that
really
fight,
actually
as
trying to
fourth-party
achieve
cash box
something.
has somehow
Whether they
maintained
do
control
it
over this.
well, up for debate.
Yeah,
But I
this is some
think the
crazy
community is
stuff going
typically
down. I don't
torn
know if
on
you
if
guys
it's
at
good or
home
not,
can
which is
see
a
the
good
chat
thing.
as well, but we are also
Um,
playing rock, paper, scissors
yeah.
at the same time. Something to keep in mind as these teams who are dead are just that competitive. They need to win when they're dead or alive. But we do see HF in possession of the money.
Alright, fourth party is
across
holding.
the map.
They're in
Fourth
the lead right
party
now. Let's go.
maintaining control over here. Pretty straight up standard stuff so far. As we see a couple of blueberries in the view of this camera. I would love to see these players just using them for what they are. Again, I'll double down on it. I think it's being slept on early, and I think as the game progresses and the meta evolves,
Yeah,
we're gonna see it
100%.
used
See,
more
Sledgehammer,
because
I do
it's
agree
just
with.
an extremely beneficial tool,
Yeah.
especially if you're not going to be running.
I've always
POV.
thought they've done
But we
well.
see a nice DMAC come into play, Varian with some nice close range shots as well, but it's ultimately going to be the Matter from Viper that takes out Logic. Llama's going to get one as well. Spawns is going to find one. We have multiple teams fighting in the same area over here as HF is also, they want to party. Lamp's going to fall. Brendy's going to find Spawns. Grad's going to find one. So HF getting all the kills here, all the money and all the kills. Varian trying to stay alive, but HF is just going to show up and make sure everybody's dead before they go and tap the rest of the money.
Yeah, this is an interesting kind of kill loadout. Looking at all of them, they're all pretty close. Interestingly enough, NIS L Doc is also known as Mr. Derp, has 0 kills to his name, so he hasn't really been able to find his stride just yet. But on the other side of things, fourth party Cashbox finally kind of getting some movement and getting some air in their sails. Really fun to see. I hope they're able to get it going. Vault 3 has been tapped right now by Sergel. They are dematting
I feel
through
that
the
hate.
wall. There is a lot of people here. They all
I wish
want
personally
this
I'd stuck
cash
with the
here.
game.
It's
This
easy
game,
as they make
I
their push
feel bad
into
that
it. Llama
they stopped for
gets
so
a
long.
bonk right
I feel like I
off
actually
the bat,
missed some of the
but there he
prime a little
goes
bit,
for the
but I
second one.
think
He
it's
gets the second one, and
getting
they're
to its
just
prime now
cleaning it
even.
up. Can they find
What
the
people talk
third?
about, I think
They're
it's like
looking
what
for it.
season
They are
3
waiting
or
for the
4 is the
fourth-party
best
cash
it's
box to
been.
just
Like,
get wiped.
sad I missed
But
that.
now we move
But
over
we're
to
starting to see
Varian,
things from
running that
those
pipe.
eras coming
Pike
in.
hasn't seen any buffs lately, but it is still been used at least twice today. Cool to see as they take the cash. There's a couple of team wipes that went off. Halto's finest, and it seems like Make-A-Wish are the only people alive in this map as they're going to take their vaults and get the next cash out started.
Yeah, HF has been buzzing, pretty smooth sailing, it seems like, at least so far for these last 2 maps. As well for Make-A-Wish, they have the plug. Again, maybe about a 20-second stagger here, so nothing ridiculous. We're not going to see, hopefully, we're not going to see any crazy third parties. I love to see these straight-up fights, although the mayhem does get exciting.
I think
It
the
is
MP5
absolute
gets nerfed.
chaos
I hate to tell you.
and just way too much to try and attempt to make any sense.
I think the
of.
range on
We
it
do
is
see,
just because they've tuned down so
slow
many
approach
things. I think
or
the
no
range on
approach
it
at
has
all
become a
going on
problem
over
to
at
people.
D.
I
The
don't
teams
really
might be
personally care that
opting
much.
to
I don't think
all
it's that
push C as it
ridiculous,
is the
but
more progressed box. So
I have the
again,
feeling you're going to
that's
see
some old school
it get
strategy.
adjusted.
Even if the stagger is not crazy, you just want to push the money that's closer to finishing. Brandy's gonna fall, and
Yeah, I hate. That's
steal is
exactly what we
going
were
to
talking about
take
actually
place
earlier.
as
Is the
well
fact that
across the map. Again,
on Steam
not
charts
much
it's
happening
actually
over here at
growing.
D,
It's
but
just
a
slow.
lot is
It's like
happening
0.5%
over at
growth in the
C.
Playbase.
HF,
But
they
we were
do
comparing it to
reset, and it looks
Fragpunk,
like
which was
they're
the other
actually gonna
big
hard
thing I guess
reset
that was
and
out,
just take their
like coming
talents
out or
over
had
to
news
D,
around it when
while Spawn
season
is
6
gonna
started.
pull the signal. Brutal
That game
Logic
is
is
down
gonna find one
70
as well,
something
but there are
percent of
3
its player
teams
base on
fighting over
Steam.
here right now.
Like
And
the
that
game,
is not
the game
good
could be
if you are
considered
the
that.
2 teams not in
It's
possession
sub
of this one.
10K
You are the team
players right now or
defending,
something. I
all
think
you
it's
really
like
have to do
maybe 11,000
is sit
players
around,
total
chill out, play
on
patient, and that's
Steam,
exactly what
and they
they're
just
doing,
released it to
as
console. I
it seems
think just
every
now.
team has
So,
now decided to turn
we'll see.
around and follow the HF mentality and go for this other money. A steal is occurring over there as well. I think it's for HF, and it is. I just assume so because they were the first ones over there. Grad gets the res on Brendy, but he's going to fall immediately after. This money's going to go to fourth party, so good stuff for them. But with not a lot of time left on this, HF still has the potential to take first place here with just a few more seconds of defense.
2 fourth parties leading.
Yep,
Let's
just a
go.
few more seconds indeed. They are running this clock down. There's a res that
Few
goes
more
off
kills
from
and
Team
they're
Jet.
chilling.
They don't have much time. They'd have to dive directly on the point. But what is this? Fourth party cash box is here as well. Everybody just wants a little piece of this, but the time is just running down. This isn't working out in
so
anybody's
close.
favor except for Halto's finest. And now just look at the skill, the kill feed, as everybody is just
Brutal
dying left
sacrificing
and
himself
right.
for that kill.
Sadly, there goes the Make-A-Wish
No.
boys, and it's going to be followed up closely by another team, I think, because everybody is just dying, graduating very low, has to stay alive if he wants to avoid the team wipe from his team. Great movement from that with those dashes, getting on that bounce pad and just really moving across the map. His teammates were able to spawn back in. I think they used their coins, or maybe they got 1 coin and res the other teammate, but they are all back. They're in control of the cash. They've got 33k. We've got a minute and a half as they make their way towards Vault 5. They will get the tap on this, pretty uncontested, and Vault 6 has already been taken. It is now in control of Team DIT as they're bringing it all the way to cash out B. Everybody is very close. This is an insane close quarters combat. We have a Vault and a cash out right on top of each other. Teams are diving on top of this point. Vault 6 is just insanity as it looks like fourth party cash box has taken it and they're trying to run. They want to get out there. They're running away. Sergil breaks the wall and gets the kill with the elbow. That's wild to see. Varian now running with the cash. They have it in hand. Bounce pad as well. They will get the plug onto B. I say that as I hold my breath as he now seems to be running away from it. What is the strategy here?
So I was gonna say HF does not want this to get doubled. They were clearly going for the split, but yeah, he's just getting that money out of there. They don't want the double. The double, although, would essentially guarantee at least top 2.
It's kind of close.
You run
That's 30
a
meters away
greater
still,
risk
never mind.
of not finishing it
I was like, wait, that
first.
box
They just
was
have
getting
to
kinda
play their
close to
money
B.
here. But if they're going to keep playing volleyball with this cash box, it's going to get to a point in timing where it gets doubled anyway. So HF needs to
Cody,
disengage
my
here
boy.
as fourth party
How
is
is life in
aggressively
darkness?
pushing. HF really needs to just play their lives here and play a ratty defense. We do see the plug go in across the map with about 20 seconds left, so they don't have to worry about that. And now there's a little bit less pressure as far as who can pass them in the standings, but they are by no means secured in first place. We see Lamp playing under the objective.
Cody,
I
if you're
love
not
playing
aware,
for
Brutal
drops.
Logic is playing
Most
for fourth party
teams
cash
these
box,
days,
cash
they
box, so
play
that
height,
is
they
who we're
play
pulling
above
for.
it, they'll set up some goo on the walls.
Unless you're Cullum, then you're pulling for
the element of surprise when
Team
it
D.
comes to
That's the
drop
name.
plays. It feels like
That's
you're
who
really
won it.
being ambushed when you get dropped in onto all those mines and C4s and whatever else the case may
Oh, is your
be.
lights back on
With that being
finally?
said,
That's
fourth
good at
party's
least.
out of there. They decide
That's an hour early.
they want nothing to do with that. They change their mind, and they're gonna get some decent timing here on the third. Unfortunately for them, it looks like Make-A-Wish has kind of already been handled. They are going for the reset, but they're gonna look for some good timing here and an aggressive steal. We see the Dome Shield come into play. I don't
That's our
see
boy.
a
That's our boy.
dematerializer in play for them, and there's not. But however, the Steelers gonna fall anyway, being Signal. Nice stuff out of spawns. HF looking to get this one for free, so
such a
HF's gonna
tough
secure
spot.
first place
Oh,
one
come
way
on.
or another. But we do have a last second
Wait,
steal.
Brutal might have
coming
this?
in from
No, he got
fourth party
winched
cash
off
box,
of
but
it.
Winch is gonna
No.
cancel that one, and there is no time left in the game. So Team D gonna jump up into second place just barely by about
Damn.
$1,000. HF taken first. Good stuff.
Yep, Hulk
That was
goes
a good game
finest.
out of
They
fourth
did
box. That's sad that they got
amazing
dropped to
today
third there
in
at the
this
end,
group.
but
They
you know,
came out on
I
top.
thought that was a
love
well-played
when
game,
the
at least out of
teams
them.
decides like, nah, we're not gonna
So-
fight them. We're gonna let them have their little quiet time alone with the cash out and decide to just third party or even fourth party a cash out. So just fun to see. I'm really happy that Haltos Finest is performing in the way that I had hoped. And
Yeah,
looking
Solwax,
at the
I mean,
entire scoreboard. It's,
I'd recommend
yeah,
if you're referring to
following
like
close
casters
behind
and like
Team D,
me,
and then
I'm not really
fourth
trying to
party cash
cast
box.
it. It's just kind of
Sadly,
like a chill,
Make-A-Wish
like
in
watch it
fourth
together thing.
place. I
If you
think
want to
that they
watch
just
like the
maybe
full experience, I
ran
definitely
Steam,
recommend
but
checking out
honestly,
ProHubs
looking
over
at
on
the kills,
Twitch.
Viper had some good kills on him.
Yeah, the
7
cash out is
kills,
really
the
hard to cast,
kill
but I
leader,
will
Captain
say
Mayo on
the
fourth party
playoffs
cash
are
box.
going to like
Just
what the final
just a
round of
really
ranked
fun
and
lobby.
world
Honestly,
score
these
is.
players seem
So
to be
it's going to be
pretty
1v1
well
or
matched,
3v3,
and
however you
Haltos
want to
Finest
say
was
it,
able
but
to
like
take
one
it.
team pitted
And
against one team.
I'm
It's going to be a
so
lot
impressed.
easier to
I'm really
follow
just
at that point.
pleased with what we just
So-
saw and how everybody performed. And yeah, I think so far that was my favorite group. Just it was more fun than Group A, and Group B just seemed more well-rounded. And
A cash out
matches
is
just seemed
difficult.
just a little more
Luckily,
intense.
Embark is giving
Yeah,
us some
I
more
agree. I
tools
think
and
that
stuff.
group
Or
of all
well,
the
us
groups
meaning like
generally
other
had
casters.
the
I don't
most
cast this
to
game, but
lose and or
luckily
win.
they're
So
giving
we saw
observers more
the
tools
dogs
to
really
make it
come out.
easier to
The dogs
follow,
were
which is pretty
barking.
good. So
And we saw
you know,
some
hopefully
great
they
high-level
continue to do
gameplay.
that.
I
There's
love to
obviously
see
some
it when these
improvements.
teams are just
I keep
completely
plugging the last
dialed
episode of
in.
the pod, but I think it covers a
HF
lot of the things that like
didn't want
people are having pain
anything
points
less than
with.
second place. They do not want to finish in
There's some
third
ideas that we
even.
talked about in that pod
And
as well.
going into this
So
group C,
I'd say give it a
there's
listen.
one team that's looking to do
see if
that
you
to
know-
them, and that's AHS.
See if in the
I believe
finals
they're the only team
Discord at all
truly
you
in
can
position to be able to
give
do
those
it.
ideas to Embark.
They're going to
maybe
need
push
a
them.
solid day,
But, yeah.
just like HF had, but HF just did it. So this is going to be interesting. You can bet your bottom dollar that HF is going to be watching this next group as well.
Yeah, and with that said, everybody, that is going to wrap up Group B, and we are going to get everybody loaded into Group C. So hang tight. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break to get everybody set up, and in the meantime, you can enjoy some finals commercials. But before we go, I want to remind everybody that we are going to be doing a giveaway for $10 worth of multi-buck codes from just pasting your favorite copy pasta. You guys can make $10 in finals currency by pasting something funny. Okay, I don't think that I've ever had an opportunity like that in my life. So I want to see what you got on top of it. I'm going to read it out loud at the end. But guys, with that said, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break and get ready for the last group. So stay tuned. More finals coming to you real soon.
This isn't just a game. This is TNT.
There you go.
Welcome to the jungle and welcome to 8 Squad's Thursday night.
Chat, if you want to go join their giveaway, you can put your favorite copy pasta in their chat and potentially get $10 in multi-bucks. So go check that out. Also, just drop them a follow in general. They're obviously the ones running the show. We're just sitting here enjoying it. So go check them out while we're in the break. Also, while we're in the break, I think it's time for another game.
Every move
How
matters.
about
That's where
connections?
Spooze comes in. The sports beverage designed for
Seconds.
champions. With a Spooze, it's simple as pop, pour, perform. Packed with electrolytes and essential nutrients to keep you hydrated and energized.
They want me to make one? Nah, I'm not good at that. They need Cody, is what they need. That dude keeps them on lock. I'm not good at copy pastas. There's one that always gets me, is the Vaporeon one, which I'm not going to tell you about. You can go look it up yourself. But if you look up Vaporeon copy pasta, it's pretty hysterical. And Cody can do it bar for bar, which is really funny when you're playing a game like Repo or something, and he just starts dropping that. So, yeah, that's that's probably my favorite. But I ain't gonna go put that in their chat. It's also so long. So. 100%. So you're absolutely right. That is one of the things that I agree makes this game hard as an esport, is for somebody who's never watched it before to go click in and try to watch it. It's complicated. It's such a complicated game. And the same is true for like people who are playing the game for the first time and trying to learn cash out. It's overwhelming. It's difficult to like do well. You get a bunch of kills and you're like, why did I lose? Like, well, the objective matters more, but you still have to get kills. You can't just play the objective unless you're teamed on map 1 in this round. So, you know. Anyways, let's jump into some connections. If you guys are unfamiliar on how this works, essentially we're trying to make a relationship between 4 words. They basically form a category. We have 4 mistakes. If we lose, we lose. So, lost a game with 15 kills once. I've been there. It happens. Okay. So, looking at the board, we need to make categories of 4. I'm never good at this game, putting it out there now. But we have things like sick, ill, well, maybe, like feeling well. Maybe these are feelings. Smoke, fire, hell lit. All right, bet. Is not correct, it looks like. Doesn't tell us also how many are incorrect, which sucks. But I definitely agree with smoke, fire, and possibly lit. Yeah, that's this game. It's rough. Like I said, I struggle with it all the time, so. What is Netty? I don't know. Sick, ill, well, dope. No. I also thought that was a good one. Kitchen. Yeah, it's a tough one, for sure. So Netty is a med, okay. Sick, ill, well, Netty. Netty, ill, sick. And what is Orgo? Orgo refers to organic chemistry, apparently. So We can give this a try. Milk cream paste lick. Milk cream paste lick. That's a choice. Give that a try. One off on that one. I have the feeling not sure which one of those is incorrect. We only have one more guess. One more incorrect guess. What's competitive? Probably. These could be like short. Okay, wait. So what about comp, Orgo, ill, and Netty? Netty is also slang, apparently. So these might be slang. Comp, Orgo, ill, and Netty. Put lit instead of ill. Ill for illness. Or we go with the other three? Ill is not slang. Okay. Lit is. What do we think, Chad? I'm gonna lock this one in 10 seconds. All right, I'm gonna lock it. Oh, chat, we were never getting that. All right, we got it wrong, but to be fair, we were nowhere close. Awesome was dope, fire, lit, sick. It defeats soundly is cream, lick, paste, smoke. No way I was getting there on that one. Will contractions without the apostrophe. So that's heal, aisle, shield, and wheel. That's terrible. URL endings plus a letter. Calm. Dude, nobody's getting this. Yeah, these are terror. This is actually the worst one I've ever seen. I'm just putting it out there. This is genuinely the worst one I've ever seen. So I don't feel bad. I can't believe milk paste cream. Paste was the one that was throwing me for a loop on that one. But yeah, it was almost correct. So anyways, I don't feel bad about losing that. I'll be honest. Another one, they're daily, so we gotta do another one another day. But yeah, I can see if I can pull one from an archive after. We can do one more.
Wimbledon as the last person remaining.
All right,
on
we're a little
his
bit late
team.
to this one.
He throws up a gateway, ready to get away if need be, but the Apes boys are spotted out. He is running the ARN. Cool to see. We haven't really seen anybody use it today in favor of the XP. So
you can do it.
We can maybe see him
I can see if I can find
with it. But his team is decided to maybe pull off from this. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, as they're kind of split up. This is not what I do when I'm playing with my
I think
team.
you have to have a membership to New York
I
Times
mean,
games
it
to
is
play the old
something
ones,
I
but
do
there's
when I
like
play with my
fan-made
team,
ones.
but it's not on purpose. As we see the Hank J Wimbledon jumping off the map, you gotta put some respect on his name. Unfortunately, he's gonna just dash off the map there. You hate to see it. 200 MS set up here. Nobody quite in position. Actually, they're quite out of position, but they have an aggressive goo pad set up. I like this. I haven't seen people defend this way all season. Good stuff out of 200 MS. throwing a different look out there on this final play day of the season, as we see Cobra trying to get some heavy shots in, but he is just under 50 HP, doing his best to stay alive with the mesh shield, keeping the boys alive as well behind it. Good stuff out of them. Sparrow finding the picks here and there. Mad's gonna find one, Brands is gonna find one. A lot of different colors we are seeing in the kill feed, and that first box is going to go over to 200 MS, or second of the first 2 boxes, I should say.
He's got a perfect.
A res.
Nice.
Jumps off the map again. So he might be having some issues over there. Not quite sure what's going on. Maybe nerves getting to him, not able to hit the jumps the way he would like. But we do see Vault 3 being tapped. And across the map, Vault 4 is also being tapped. Some nice shots out of Cobra, but the M60 just not doing the most damage out there.
He says that, and that M60 just beamed that kid.
You gotta look
I'm just saying.
Sparrow's gonna find one as well. And this
The
is
M60 just beamed another kid. I don't know.
That DPS looked A-okay to me, Rio.
Right? Yeah, no, the M60 is totally valid
The
choice.
new
and I love
7-Up
it being
gear?
used.
What
Cobra
is
one
that?
of the best players to kind of watch when he's doing
That's
that.
all
And
it's
yeah,
cursed.
a great
I don't even
pick.
know if that's
They're now
real.
going to be in control of Vault 3. I would take this to
Do you think the lock bolt is
but
okay? I
think that we
understand
see
it
that
isn't the
somebody's
stun gun,
already
but it's
getting
really
set up at
close.
C,
I
and
don't
yeah,
see
there's
people
the
complaining
plug.
much. Is it
C
me or
is
is
a
it
little
because
bit
people
more
don't play
off
heavy
to
and
the
hate
side
light?
than the other cash out, because it's kind of right in the
Couple
middle, and
things
it
to
makes it
unpack.
where everybody
I
wants
think
to
you're
go
right
there.
that it's because
But
people
after
don't play
hours
much
now,
heavy
going for
and
the
just hate
steal,
on
they
light.
will
I
have this.
agree.
There's some C4
I think you're
on
right.
the point. They're ready to drop it if
I think
need
difference
be.
between
But the real question is
lock bolt and
200
stun
milliseconds.
gun
They
is that
just
you can at
respawn
least
back.
move and
Are they gonna
shoot
go
back,
for D
whereas
or
you couldn't
C?
with stun gun. I don't
that
think.
if I were them, I would go for D. As I mentioned earlier, this is kind of the more
I also
exposed cash out. It's
find it
very much kind of
relatively
in this
easy to get
under
around
construction
corners
zone,
and stuff, and have
it
my
makes
team
it where
support
it's
me
a
when I'm
little more
lock bolted.
chaotic for everybody to
That
push.
being said,
We are seeing as
it's also
Airlock and his
breakable.
teammates
That's the third
are
point.
on top of this crane,
But
the crane goes down red.
Brutal, you played fine,
They
man.
don't want
I
that
thought
crane
y'all
up,
did
and
good. You
honestly,
had
it's
so
the
many
place
games
to
where you're like
have.
second place,
Cash
close
out
to
is running
first, and
down
just
about a fourth
got
of
an
the way done
unlucky
already.
turn of
Airlock
events
and
that
his
just
teammates and
put you
Cobra
guys
have
up third.
lost
But
their
I thought y'all played pretty
teammates already,
decent.
so Dark Horse not too
And yeah, you're an
great.
upper bracket.
Sparrow
That's
is down.
such a W.
Airlock trying to stay alive as
Congrats.
he's dipping
It
out.
was fun to
Those
watch.
goo walls are very important.
It was nice to have a
They just buy
team
you a
to
little
pull
bit of
for that,
space. They're having to
especially because
DMAT
I think a lot of
through
us are
because
still
Airlock
new
is
to the
very
scene.
low.
So
Sparrow was able to coin back in.
Yeah.
Cash out is being stolen though right from underneath them, and Dark Horse are not on point, and they've just lost the cash out.
yeah,
It
you
is
guys
now
were getting
Ape
third
Squad
party
and
pretty heavily.
200 milliseconds going after this cash.
Like I said,
out
I
is
thought you
insane.
guys
His Ruby is very
played
low
fine,
and getting
like played
tickled
great,
to
at least from
death
what I
from
saw.
behind,
But
having to run
it's
away,
just
and he
that's just
can't
cash out
make it
for you a
happen.
little bit.
Moving over to Lasagna and his team trying to pop the shots off from that distance. BMO now running to the cash out, trying to
Brutal,
stop
do you
the
actually
steal.
like
There it
playing
goes. He
soul
went down
like
in that
construction?
fight.
Like, is it
He's
just
gonna go
a
the
thing
way of
that's like
Dark Horse to be
fun,
able
or
to
is
get
it
this
like
cash.
actually not? Does it
They're
play
gonna get
well?
the money. I think it's amazing that God zip is still up. I don't know what. There we go. It's about time somebody got rid of it. That made things way more interesting than they needed to be for Dark Horse. But meanwhile, across, or not really across the map, a mere 67 meters away, we have C in the hands of AHS, and that is nearly
Interesting.
completed. Dark Horse not quite in the clear yet, but there's just going
Yeah,
to need to be
Soul
one
Construction
super
looks miserable to
aggressive
play.
and
I don't
arguably
know why
sloppy
people.
push
It
from
seems it gets
200
picked every single
MS if they're
time.
gonna have any chance
Just a
of getting
dominance
this.
thing, I
just
guess.
don't think they really
Like
have
people
the
are
time for
dominant on it,
But
want to keep
mayhem
playing
is
it.
about to ensue as we also have Ape Squad on the scene. Sparrow's gonna find one on BMO, and Brands is just gonna say, you know what, I'm out of here. Smart thinking if you're 200 MS, nothing is gonna come from that fight. Good stuff. I like to see the disengages. Nobody talks about that. Nobody's talking about the disengages. Everybody wants to see the kills, and it's understandably so, but we're trying to win the game here. We're not just trying to light up the scoreboard. So I like to
agree.
see that for
So-
sure, Rio.
No, absolutely, and it just means that there's strategy in a game like this. It's not all just combat. It's not just jumping in, going for kills, and who can click on heads a little bit better. It is all about, hey, how do we work as a team? How do we make a cohesive unit and make our
I think,
strategies in place? And absolutely,
there's a couple
pulling
things
off
on
of
Heavy
cash
Soul
out
that don't
is
make
the
sense. For
strategic
example, the
play.
mesh
It might
wall
not be the best one to
does
make
not
every time,
block
but it can put
Winch
you
Claw.
in a different position and really
That's
kind of line
something,
you up for
and same with
victory a
Dome
little
Shield.
bit later in
Yet
the
it blocks
match.
grenades.
With that
There's just
said,
certain
we
things that
have
just
a
don't make
minute left
sense
in this map. If none of the
in
vaults
this
get
game.
plugged, but look
When
at
it comes
the
to like
cash zones,
LOS
everybody.
and
It
just
is very
interactivity
close.
between
We're
objects,
talking just about 10,000 difference
Lock bolt
between
not
first and
breaking
last.
due to
But moving
LOS
over to
is a
Airlock
big
as
one
he
for me.
dives
I
in
don't
with
think it
that
makes any
server,
sense. It's still
trying to
locking me
clean
through a
up
wall
some
or
kills,
through the floor,
sadly
but
those down in that fight. Vault 6 will be moved over to B, which is the strongest cash out point in the entire map. It's called the hospital spawn, and it is so protected. It is so dangerous. It is a spot that nobody really wants to go after. So Hank J. Wimbledon and his team will be in control of this cash out, and it's honestly the place to be. I will be surprised if anybody decides to push them.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, Brutal, that teams don't, like some teams don't just wait for a while before pushing on to
there goes Ashy down in the fight. Sadly,
the high point.
Going off from Hank. He's
like, because it's obviously there's so much third party, and I'm curious as to why people don't just like kind of hang back and then just wait to clean it up after. But,
Hank, who are you?
Yeah, that is a different Hank than we saw jump off the map. That is for sure. He was 360ing as he dashed across the map, and then I think he found all three. So great stuff out of Hank over there. Meanwhile, Dark Horse is kind of struggling to stay alive, but not Sparrow as he finds two. Cobra gets traded out, but Sparrow last man alive in a 1v1. Light on heavy action, trying to just light up this dome shield. Sparrow doing his best to get this win here. Still in a 1v1 situation. Wolf being very smart. He's just backing up, playing as much of a stall as he can. Another goo that has to be infuriating if you're Sparrow. These coins aren't really going to come in with much time left either, as now
that's a good point.
The boys over at 200 MS bought themselves the perfect amount of time, and BMO shows up and handles Sparrow for him. So we have another team.
Yeah, it's like I don't really know how you balance all that.
And if they can get this one stop, which it looks like they get, they're gonna walk out of here with that money.
Yeah, this is wild how it all panned out, but there you have it. After Hours in first, 200 milliseconds in second, Dark Horse in third, and then sadly Ape Squad in fourth. This was wild. This was close, really, until the very end. We saw every team kind of go from fourth to first, and just kind of a really good mix of gameplay. We're going to see the scoreboard in just a second, but looking at that, Hank J. Wimbledon with 10 kills. And production, do we know who Hank J. Wimbledon is? Is this a sub, or is this one of the players? It's Uni, of course. Uni, what are you doing, bud? You're popping off like that. That makes a lot of sense. If you guys don't know who Uni is, go check out his streams. He is an insane player, as you can tell from what just happened in this lobby. 10 kills to the man's name. Followed up, the second close kills was by Sparrow, and he had 6 kills. So that just kind of shows you the stopping power that Uni and his team have. So amazing lobby, amazing way to start off this group, the last group of the last Playday. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Uni doing what he does, living up to the name, Destroyer of Universes.
Yeah, that's true.
Just absolutely beaming everything in sight, always making the right plays.
That's what's kind of curious, though. Is like, what stops for teams from doing literally nothing?
He had there where he jumped off
like,
the map a couple times early.
All 4 teams are just standing there waiting,
the most in
stalling
the lobby,
the longest.
And I think he had the least deaths in the lobby too, but I can't remember. But Uni popped off for sure. I like the name though.
Ape Squad,
like
as well as the top club in the team, or in the game.
I love that. We're all playing a game here, even though we have some serious stakes on the line.
They're like a really big in-game club. You see their tag
like it, but I find it
somewhat
so
often, and it's just full of like the top.
Change their name because
a lot of high-level players, or high elo players.
Of players in these in all of the matches. The 4 groups of 3 people, and NA and EU side. I'm trying to keep everybody in my head is a challenge, and then the second that somebody changes, like I think Mr. Derp is one of the worst offenders, and now Uni. As long as I've known him, he's changed his name probably 4 or 5 times. So it's just my little gripe. But hey, they're having fun, they're having a blast, and I said it before, but that was a
Apes
great way to
has
start
44
off
players
map
in the top 10K.
They will be able to decide the next map that we're going to be loading into here shortly. But do you think that anybody kind of really?
And they also host community tournaments. That's the other like community tournament. I would say that's
because they seem to be
popular.
In control in the very beginning. But
I don't follow them at all, though. I will say.
Yeah,
ProHubs
I
is
don't
like the only thing I have
recall
time to follow.
exactly what happened in that fight, but I did like how they were pushing it up until that last hospital push where Uni got the 3-piece. You had called that no one was going to push them in their right minds, and then right on cue, Ape Squad absolutely aped, living up to their name. Unfortunately, it probably was just the wrong decision to try and make that push happen. I think that wipe was what ended up sealing their fate. But we're going to start things off in the eyes, the POV of Hank J. Wimbledon, aka Uni. He's got a gateway in hand, not quite ready to go just yet, but he's going to get some decent shots there as we have 200 MS going for another jump pad play. Uni really pushing the limits.
So I think that's why ProHubs does
fire.
such a good job with how they are
works out
organizing their like
fantastically.
tournaments and stuff.
He's trying to get out of there, but
Because it's like
Brand is gonna find
you
him.
want
Nice
to get
shots
first
out of
place. You
Brand.
want all those points
Across
plus
the
kills
map, Ape
matter.
Squad
You get points based on
handling
that as
Dark
well.
Horse very well. We see Wolf here getting some nice damage in on Mad, getting the assist. Has one more enemy in his sight. Not going to get it, but he's going to grief out this trophy just a little bit. Maybe buy themselves a little bit of time to get this money moving after he finds the res as well. We're going to back out, take a zoomed out look here as we see 200 MS going for the reset. Dark Horse is wiped. And AHS was also looking for a reset. I don't know if a
Brutal, we were in here earlier. I think we're
not that
trying
I'm super
to
against
talk
it.
about
We do
organizing
see
a
the
community
coin
tournament
used.
coming
I'm not
up.
super against it. We're not really
I'm not
seeing
sure
these
when
coins
just
that
yet.
are
I gotta
or
talk with
anything.
Cody, but
I
it's
don't
an
know
idea
what
we've
that
been
was either,
discussing
but
over the
I do
weekend.
know that 200
So
MS
I'm hoping to
is
host one
plug-in A.
soon.
And
Probably
across
just
the map,
for a little
the
bit of
other money has
multi-bucks,
not
maybe
quite
nothing for the
gotten
first
in yet. I
one, just to see how
believe
it
there's still a
goes. But
fight
yeah,
between
that's something we
A-Squad and
want to
AHS
do for sure.
this other
look at that.
box,
So.
but we have a massive launch, and it's going to land perfectly.
I don't know if we
Wow,
want
that
to
is
run.
rehearsed, that is
The two of
scripted,
us don't
and they
have
knew
the
exactly what
bandwidth
they
to
were
do
doing
something
there.
like
We have
ProHubs is
AHS
doing. I mean,
showing
Burrito
up to the
obviously is
construction site, looking for some
doing
action with 200
crazy
MS.
amount of work, and so is
Yep, they
all
are
like
ready for
Waltz
some
and
action
Reno
in
and the casters.
Oh,
So
look at that. Uni gets
I don't know if
spotted
we'll
out by
do something
Brand,
of that
able to
caliber,
just
but we
bring
probably
him
do some
down
community tournaments. Probably try to
immediately, but
partner
they
a
do
little
dive
bit with
on the point. They
ProHubs.
wanna get here, they
I mean,
wanna get some
we've
kills,
obviously
and they
been in
wanna
contact
get
with
the
Waltz.
cash,
He's
but there
active in
goes
our
Lasagna.
Discord.
There
So
goes After Hours,
you know,
and they're gonna have to take
we'd like
a
to do more
minute
collaboration with them
change
at
the
some point.
channel and change what they're doing, change their plays a little bit. But the
Yeah.
big thing that I pointed out before
We
is that these cranes are
the other
still
thing
up,
is we want to
and
do a
we see
watch party like
immediately
this.
that
I don't know
the
if you were in
Squad
here earlier,
and
but
the 200
we want to do a
milliseconds
watch party
climb on
like
top of
this
those
with
cranes. They
Cody and
wanna
I,
be
and
on
then
top of
other
there.
people as
It's
well,
such a
other
high
pros
vantage point, and
at the
realistically,
LAN.
I believe that
Hopefully,
one red barrel
assuming
can
that
bring
we
them
can
down.
work that
I
out
know
with
for
Embark
certain
or
that
somehow.
two will, if you kinda
That's like
miss it
our
just a
goal
little bit.
with like
So
the channel.
I would bring them down. I
So
would, it's
that's
the
another
highest point in the
kind of
entire
idea
map.
that we
It's a
have that we're
liability
building on.
for
This is
everybody
obviously the
that wants
first
to
watch
go up
party I'm
against
doing.
it.
I'm
But with
doing
that
it solo
said,
because
there
Cody's
is
out
a
of power.
gateway in hand.
Because of the storms, but yeah.
Lasagna and his teammates ready to go through that when they want to attack.
Okay,
There
sweet.
it
Yeah,
goes, and they are
I
gonna make a
gotta
push
get with
directly
Waltz and
onto
probably
Ape
talk
Squad at
with
B.
him and
You
Burrito.
see Lasagna
But that would be
popping
cool.
shots off, throws a goo wall down because he is pretty low. They're heavy in there as well, throwing up the mesh shield, trying to protect him, but it looks like
We
they are
talked
pretty
with
low.
the
Hashi
ProHubs
very
people
low.
obviously for
Rippy
this
taking
watch
some
party
damage
before
as
we
well.
did
They
it
need
as
to push
well.
in there
So
as a
they
team.
know
They
that
need to
we're
get grouped up, but they're coming in
doing
right
this
behind him.
concept.
This is a great play. Rippy goes
so yeah.
down, looking for the second one, and oh my god, Ape Squad just got wiped in a few seconds. Mad and Hank J. Wimbledon just cleaning it up. Now they're going to get the steal, and it'll move over to the other cash out on cash out A. This is in control of 200 milliseconds, and they need to stay in control for
that's what
about
we think.
5
Early
more seconds
January
to stop
or
any
February,
last-second
like
steals.
Q1
There it
2026 is
goes,
probably when
2-3.
the
They don't
major's
have
going to
any
be.
time to worry
So
because
we have
the
plenty of
cash.
time.
That
We've
will
only
be
been a
it.
channel
But
for
it
a
seems
little
like
over a
Dark
month
Horse
at
is
this
still
point,
here. They're
so
looking for
you
some
know
kills. They want to get some cleanup. They
we're
want
still
some
working out a
action.
ton of
They
our
wanna
running
get into
kinks,
the combat
like
'cause they only have
our video
1,500
schedules, for example, trying to figure out how we can make all this
$1,500 to their
happen.
name.
But we're trying.
Yeah, and
You guys do
Sparrow falling off
attorney,
the
I
map
guess it would be
again,
NA.
second time falling off
So
the map, getting quickly
we're
fib
gonna
and then
kind of
quickly
see.
taken out one
It
more
depends
time.
on obviously how
That was
many
a
people
really
sign
nice
up.
defense from 200 MS. And that
If
was also
it
a
is
really
like
nice
NA
push
versus
we
EU
saw
on a
from
bracket,
AHS aping
our idea
Ape
is like a best
Squad,
of 3,
as I like to say.
and it
That was
alternates
just-
between
that was textbook.
NA
They
and
played the
EU.
numbers perfectly. They got a quick
So
pick.
for hosting, so
They
we
had
break,
the
we
clear
change
health
the lobby
advantage,
each
they
time
knew it,
and put them on
and
different
they just
hosts
turned on their
so
Apex
nobody has
Predator
a
glasses,
sheer
knew
advantage.
exactly where to
Because
go,
there's actually a good
and
amount of EU
they hunted
players
that down,
in our
got the
Discord.
flip. Good
It's I don't know
stuff for
what the
200
mix
MS
is right
and
now, but
AHS.
I have the
We are
feeling
now
it's
set
actually
up over on the house,
a lot more
defending,
even than we
Vault
expect
4. They're going to be
currently.
getting pushed.
I think there's
from
an
the
NA edge,
northwest
but
here.
I
It
think
looks
EU
like
is
being
present
Dark
in
Horse,
there.
so
I know for sure.
They want some more action. Uni trying to get out of there with his life. Stuck on 29 HP.
Exactly,
Doing
yeah.
everything he can. Gets a nice angle from Cobra. That is not good when you're dying to people who are one shot. That is just a lapse in communication and very frustrating on the other side of things. As we see Ape Squad getting wiped again, but we still have this fight going down between Dark Horse and AHS as Sparrow, the last man alive. We've already seen him fall off the map twice. He can't, unfortunately, do
Southberg
that
represent that as well. I mean, yeah, so it's going to be kind of like a we figure out who's
doing the
playing
little
where,
things
and
to try and make
if it's a
life
split,
little
it will
bit
be a
harder
coin toss. If
for
everybody's on NA
AHS.
for those matches,
But
then
AHS is
we'll
looking
play
pretty
NA.
solid
If
to
people are
start things
North
off
America,
here.
South America,
Meanwhile, across the
that
map,
kind of stuff.
200 MS is going to get their plug.
Yeah, and the
as
first tournament, obviously,
Yep, this
like I
cash
said
out is
earlier,
getting
like
started by
we're
200
or
milliseconds.
the
They're
first
already
community
in first,
event
and they
will
have
be
secured themselves a little
we're gonna
bit more
promote it
cash
pretty
by
much
getting
only
that
in the
plug.
Discord. Obviously, I'm
This
talking about
cash
here on
out
the
is
watch
an
party, but if
interesting
people
spot because
go
it
and
does
watch
have a lot
how
of
long have we been
opportunities
live?
to be dropped really far
Like
down. I
two,
think it just off the
two and a
top
half
of my head, I
hours
think
worth
it
of
has at
footage.
least
People
4
go
drops
this
that
far
can
into
do.
it and find
So
out
there's a
what's
lot
going
of
on,
areas,
then
and
they're
a
more than
couple of
welcome
those
to join.
spots
But
that
the
can
idea
drop
is
down to are really open areas.
we want to
But we're now watching
have
as
this for
after
the people
hours
who've been
comes
in the
around.
Discord and
But
be
there's
able
the
to like
cash out. It
support
just
us
went
so
flying
far.
off the side of my map. I'm
We
not
don't want
sure
like a
what
bunch of
happened there. I think a
random
winch claw
people
into a
from
bounce
YouTube to
pad,
come
and
across
it
to like
does
joining in
help
immediately on the
that
first
cash
one.
out manipulation. It's something
yeah.
that's very unique and very interesting in
But
the
eventually
finals.
we'll
But there's
try to
the
expand
bounce
it,
pad,
and
there's
people
the
are
little
welcome to
goof
bring
fork
in their
set up by
friends
200
outside as
milliseconds.
well.
They're very spread out.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
split up.
totally chill.
This is
But
not
the
what I
idea is
would
we're not going to be
expect,
like
but at the
heavily
same time,
promoting this
nobody's
one.
gone for the steal just yet.
Our first
Here
one
is
at least.
after hours. They're trying to make their push. Mad getting caught out, unable to do any real damage there. But now watching as Brands is trying to get in there as well. Brands getting some shots off, getting kills, but sadly goes down to Hank.
Yeah.
And
I don't know many
Greedy
people in the South
stairwell,
America servers, I'll
looking
be
for his
honest.
next victim
That's
and potentially
rough.
to get Brands back up. They would try and I would try and get my teammates back up, but an RPG went off right into Grudy, and sadly he's going to go down in that from Mad. Mad very healthy as well. All of Uni's team is here. The time is ticking down. We're looking at just under half of the time left. They are making their push, and now is the time to do it. But 200 milliseconds still has one person up.
I'm pretty sure they
are
have
staying
Asia
alive
servers,
and
but
a
I think
little
it's
bit out
the
of position, but I
continent,
think he
just
got
like
spotted out. I'm
you know,
not
most of
sure,
the other
but there
ones.
is Brands,
So
and there they are.
obviously
creeping
Asia is
back
a
up.
big
Scash out
continent,
is down to its
and
last four.
where those servers
They
are
need
held,
to
I'm
make
not
something
really sure.
happen.
I also
200
don't know how the
milliseconds
servers
wants to get
really
the steal.
work in NA.
There is a
Like
sonar
I don't
grenade
know if
going
it's
off,
multiple
looking
data
for
centers and it
anybody in
pulls
it.
from
Another sonar grenade going off, and he
you know, the
spots them
closest
out
one, the
exactly.
most
That was
balanced
a
one, or what.
perfectly placed
But,
one. He
yeah.
knows exactly where everybody is. He drops down. Oh my God, the invis
Yeah, I don't know
play
what the Asia
going
player
up
base
in
is
the
like. I don't think
elevator,
it's very
getting
high.
out of there. This is
I know
insane
Australia is not big,
gameplay
apparently.
for
I
Brands.
think
You'd really
there's
love
one
to
or
see
two
it,
people
as
in the
he's buying
Discord that are
perfect
from
amount of time for
Australia,
his
and
team as his cash out just slowly
they,
ticks down. Getting one kill now over on
they struggle
Gold.
to find
That
games,
M60
from what I've
getting
heard.
kills after kill. Moving over to Uni. and now
China
back to
will probably be
Rudy,
its own
looking
thing. China
for
has a lot of
anybody in
governance
his
when it comes to
crosshairs.
servers and
There
online
goes
connections and
Lasagna.
stuff anyways.
Can he get a second?
So,
Sadly, he goes down
even
in
if there's
that
an
fight.
Asia
The
server,
cash
China's
has
going to be its
gone the
own
way
thing
up
if
after
they even
hours.
have
Really
a server for the
wild
finals or
match so
give
far.
access to the finals.
Yeah, that was some nice work out of Brands in the elevator, but you could also
But,
argue
yeah,
that was
I
some
mean,
great
as somebody who
stalwart
works
from
in cloud
AHS,
computing, I mean,
kinda
like if
keeping
you
him in
want
the
to
elevator.
set
He
up a
definitely
China
was playing his
infrastructure,
life
it's
very
a
well,
whole thing.
but it was to
Like
no
you
avail.
don't just
Unfortunately,
do
when
it like you
200
do
MS
in other
coined there, they
countries.
just not get a fortunate spawn.
I doubt there's
Had they been
even
a
a
little
China
bit closer,
server,
they might
but
have
if
been
there
able to
is,
stop that initial
it's its
flip
own thing.
and change the script there. But that is not how the cookie crumbled for him. However, on this side
Yeah,
of things,
it's notorious
Dark Horse has about
in
20
most
seconds
games.
left on this defense. Ape Squad is
There's
wiped.
tons of
They've
YouTube
been
videos
in
out
the
there about
respawn
like
screen a lot
people at
this
internet
round,
cafes
unfortunately. You
cheating.
hate to see it.
It's
Not
kind
the
of
Ape
crazy
Squad
to
we're
watch.
used to seeing. Honestly, filled with
They
a
take it really
bunch of
seriously. I think
slayers
also
over
people
there.
gamble
They're normally
on the
popping
games
off,
that they're
and
playing,
they
like
have a
in
play
internet
style that I
cafes.
definitely
So
respect. Love watching
it's almost
them.
like a little
We do
gambling
see
house.
200 MS getting some nice range shots over on the crane,
It's happened a
which is
lot in like
still
CS:GO,
standing.
and
I'm sure Rio noticed that, as
I think
that is,
Dota.
that is
Maybe
the point he
League as-
likes to
I'm
make,
sure
and
League
he's
as well.
definitely right. That is just such a power position. The only people who don't want it destroyed are the people that are standing on it. So realistically, there should be 3 teams trying to take down those cranes pretty much at any given moment. Currently, no money is underway, and I don't know if we're going to see any go in with just 15 seconds left. 5 is close, 5 is moving. But I think they might just be keeping it away, actually. 6 gets tapped to get that extra 1,000, which is actually going to be a game changer for 200 MS, now putting them $500 ahead of Dark Horse. So literally tapping that vault puts 200 MS ahead of Dark Horse. Good stuff out of them. That's great situational awareness.
Yeah, pretty anticlimactic end, especially after the last map where it was much more of a crescendo and just everybody clashing. Sad to see it just kind of slowly tick down, but it was the smart play. Nobody really wanted to plug, and you could tell that there was kind of a fight over the vault. It did get close, but it didn't get put in. But that is just kind of how how it pans out after hours taking the win.
I
And
think
followed up second by 200 milliseconds. And like you said,
I think
heartbreaking.
it's 3
but Dark
groups.
Horse almost had
Trying trying to remember if it's
but then
4.
the
I think it's
tap
3 though.
on
I think
the
it's 3 and
vault
a
held 200
4-map
milliseconds,
pool for
get
each.
that extra $1,000 and brought
Right now.
them up just 500 over them.
So yeah, I
Ape
mean we're
Squad,
we're
again,
halfway through
struggling
this
just a
group.
little bit. They're getting kills. They're getting kind of working as a
Yeah,
team.
I feel that.
But a lot of deaths on their side.
I'm
as
East
well.
Coast, so it's 10:30
I
my
don't
time
know,
as well.
Maybe it's just their lobby that
a lot
they're
going
in,
on.
but this isn't the Ape Squad that I've seen. I know these guys.
Yeah.
I know that they have a lot of stopping power, and yeah, I'm really hopeful that this is just kind of a little misstep. And I know you guys got
Yeah,
this.
I
as we
appreciate all
go
the questions,
into
by the way,
next
guys.
map in just here in a minute.
There's things that
But
I need
what's
to
your overall take on
that I'm
what we
gonna
just saw
connect
there,
with like
Merch?
Waltz and other
Yeah,
people
I
involved
think
with
to
ProHubs
touch
to
on
get some
the
answers
Ape
for
Squad,
like how prize money is
they're not
distributed.
really playing their game
like
right
when
now.
it's
Every
distributed,
single Playday I've seen,
things
they
like
have
that.
just
I know there's a
mastered
website
the art of
for
third
Sport
parties.
2. I just
think
don't have the
Ape
direct
Squad
link,
and
and
Bricked
it
have
was sent
had
to me
the
at one
best
point,
third
and
parties in
I
the
think it
league
either got
for
deleted
sure.
or
Bricked with the
I
best
can't find it.
defense
So
of third
I gotta look for it
parties,
again.
but Ape Squad has.
But I will try to provide
fantastic
everybody
timing
that.
on their third-party
I'm sure
pushes,
bracketing will come out as
and we
well,
haven't
and
really
ProHubs will have
seen
links for that. So
today,
I'll make sure to
so,
have it for the next watch party.
calling them to be a little
So,
bit more ratty,
but
unfortunately, but that
I know
is
it's getting
what's
late, so I'm gonna
worked
go and
so
make
far.
obviously the announcement
That's
now.
what
If you're
got
not
you
in the
here, and
Discord,
that's what you found the
link is in the
success in, and
description
you
of the
guys do it
stream.
very well.
Join up.
So I would like to see
We're
more
gonna give you all the
third-party
ProHub
Ape
news.
Squad. Other than
There
that,
is a
though, I
ProHubs
mean,
Discord as well. I don't have the
these
link on
games have
hand.
been
I will get that for you
competitive,
next
yo.
time.
Nobody's really standing out. The kills are
But
even.
as far
aside
as
from
like
Uni, who
watch
just
party
doesn't
schedules
miss.
go, watch party is pretty much
Everyone
only
else
going to
has just
be
been
for
pretty
NA.
even, I'd
We
say.
might do EU on
Yeah,
Saturdays
Uni
or on
is
the
an
weekends,
outlier,
but
and if you take
I
them out of the
work
equation,
full
this
time.
is
So does
probably
Cody.
the most
I'm
balanced
East Coast.
lobby
Games are
in
like
leagues that I've seen in a bit. So
I don't know,
a lot of opportunities
3
for
o'clock
everybody
my
to pop up,
time.
but at the same time,
You're on the
Uni
East
is
Coast in the
stoppable.
afternoon,
Like,
so
he is
like I
not
can't
an
do a watch party
unstoppable
obviously
force.
while I'm
I've
working.
seen
But
him miss, I've seen
NA,
him
I'm
miss,
gonna try to
mess
do the
up, I've
Wednesday
seen him
games,
fall off the map.
assuming they're
Just
still
a
doing
lot
them
of,
on
like, things
Wednesday,
that
and then
you-
obviously the weekend
yeah,
games
you
like
expect from a
tonight.
human. People make mistakes, so it's just it's cool to see. But yeah, I think that people just kind of need to work.
And then
around
Cody
them.
should be joining
I've also seen
for
that
other
they're
watch
really
parties
good
as
at,
well.
like,
He's
going
kind of
behind an
TBD
enemy
on the
team,
weekends
and
to an
just
extent,
completely
but
get thrown
he-
off guard.
we should
And
be
I think that's one
on
of the
here
things I touched
together.
on before
So
too, is the fact that this game relies on communication. If you have played this before, and if you've been with like randos or somebody that just doesn't talk to you, you know how much of a hindrance that can be to your gameplay. So in a team play like this, the second that you're getting shot from behind, there needs to be that call that like turn around or target somebody different. So anyway, I could critique and go into a lot of detail, but I don't need to, because we're getting started on map number 3 on Cis Horizon. This is a great map for all of these teams to get it going. So guys, I want to keep those copy pastas coming. You've had some great ones so far. I want to know that you guys are excited and you guys love the finals as much as Merch and I.
Yes, sir. And that's a good point you touched on about the communication as well. As we see Lasagna tap in 1. You can pretty much tell as a spectator too, without even being in these Discord calls, when a lapse in communication occurred. It's just one of those games where, especially with the sensitivity people play on as well, you make these turns in the matter of seconds. So when somebody gets picked, and then
I'm
later,
shocked by the lag of miniguns
they're
this
shooting someone
series.
else on their team.
Honestly, it was pretty rampant last week.
Here, but we're going to see a DMAP play into a jump pad for sure. I love these plays. You really get the job, and it looks like 200MS did just that. However, a trade does come into play. Nice shot.
Yeah, good night.
Rudy, at least on the
Thank you
first
so
one.
much for
Sloppy on
hanging
the
out.
second,
Yeah,
but now
and
finding some
we'll catch you on
good
the
dams
next
there
one,
on
and
Uni.
I'll be in the Discord as well.
Gonna
So
find one.
yeah, hit me
I
up
believe we're in a 2v2
whenever.
situation here. The heavy is going to find one. No, that is also going to be Uni, but some nice shots out of Mad. And we now have a 1v1. Brands definitely has the health advantage, and he knows it. So Brands, nice stuff there. Using the double barrel as well. First time we're seeing the double barrel today.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the lack of
Across the
minigun
map,
today.
Money's been plugged for 30 seconds,
don't know
so
what's going on with it.
nice
to be
stuff for
honest.
Dark Horse as well. That kind of slipped right under the radar.
Yeah, Dark Horse just seems.
I mean,
to
it
be
just seems like
uncontested at
Sledge
this
and
moment,
SA.
we
I guess
are
the SA
already
buff
watching
was
as
that
Vault
big.
1 is trying to get
I mean, it's
moved
definitely
over
strong,
to cash out A,
but, yeah.
but it looks like somebody got stopped in their tracks already. Brands just get beamed by BMO, living up to his name in a very convincing manner. But here's Ape Squad. Come on, guys. This is your map. I feel it. This is their opportunity as they get this cash out started in the courtyard. The courtyard is a very good place for this cash out to be. It's very open. It's very exposed. There's not a lot of opportunities for people to kind of run in there without taking a heck of a lot of damage on the approach. So this is very good for Ape Squad, and I will be surprised if they lose this at all. With that said, here comes 200 milliseconds with a gateway. They jump right through. There's an RPG going off from Wolf. He spots out 2 of the Ape Squad members. He's trying to connect his shots. They are hitting, but not enough. He's now battling against a goo wall, chasing the next person down, takes a lot of self-damage as well, reloading his M60. It is going to be an opportune time because Hashi gets deleted in that fight. He did get him with his winch claw as well, so again, winch claw does just a sliver of damage, and they absolutely clean up on all of the Ape Squad members. They're going to get this steal, and as I mentioned before, this is a very strong spot for them to be holding, and really whoever's in control has the best opportunity to maintain that control. And I think that what we should do now is go over to the other side of the map where I think that there is a little bit going on. Nope, doesn't even matter because this cash out's done as well. Dark Horse gets it, and I bet you everybody makes a push towards the next cash out. I
think you're right. It's almost looking like 200 MS, and again a Space Jam reference here, are the Monstars, and they kind of stole the play style of the Ape Squad because 200 MS is taking pages directly out of Ape Squad's book. Super aggressive play here, playing with the utmost of confidence. It is fun to watch. This isn't really a 200 MS that we've seen too much. Wolf throwing the blueberry, it's not going anywhere. Gonna look for an RPG. That doesn't find anyone either. Also chose the wrong target in my opinion. But we are gonna get some nice shots.
No!
Oh my goodness, beautiful shots out of Wolf. He's never gonna have to reload that thing, but right on cue,
I think this is the
gonna
first
be reloading.
series I've seen with the M60. Obviously, we've seen it map
not
one.
much he could do here. It's just gonna look like a tactical wipe. Maybe he'll go down getting one.
Yeah,
but they're not going to get the money, that's
fire.
for sure, as Brands is going to get the res on Grudy as well. BMO finds
BMO
one,
getting clean
still
up,
alive, but it's not really going to do much there. Nice stuff out of 200 MS. You love to see it. Let's get some 200 MS fans in the chat. You guys are always popping off every single week. I know they appreciate it as well. We see a nice lock bolt coming in from Cobra here. It's going to translate into an immediate kill. Looking for the second one, but that Shack with the short clip, he's going to need to reload. As we see Cashbox 3 moving in the hands of Dark Horse, they're going to be taking this over towards the green area of the map. One of my favorite places to hold, but Ape Squad might have other plans here. They don't get the stop, but they are already on the scene. Bemo's gonna fall to Sparrow. Cobra's gonna pick up one on Hashi as well. Oh man, this just might not be Ape Squad's day. It's not looking too great for them early here in Playday number 8.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle, but they do have 4 minutes and a lot of opportunities to turn this around. This is one of my favorite cash outs, mainly because of one feature of it. And look up, there are these massive ceilings. And what I like to do, but my personal strategy, is I put a zip line up to the very top, and then I throw a goo barrel, and I have a nice little vantage point that nobody really sees me. So there's my little tips and tricks. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. But we move immediately over to D, where the cash out is getting feisty. There is the after hours as they just kind of clean up 200 milliseconds. They tried for another push, didn't work out in their favor. Moving back over to this cash out, we see Cobra with a lock bolt in hand, ready to shoot it off. I think that was a good one, but no, it didn't connect with anybody. The Ape Squad boys are running around. They're trying to get out of that combat. Cobra now trying to stay alive as well because Sparrow has gone down in that fight, but they're still in control of the cash out. There is the steal going down. Dome shield as well. Ape Squad is on it. They do see Hashi getting out there trying to find some kills. Steal did go down, so the Ape Squad is in control. Rippy going for
it felt like he had more than
the
mag.
res back off. This is a good play, but they don't spot him out, so this is going to help him even more. Can he get the res off before he's spotted out? No, he did, but he's going to go down in that, I think. And there is the res. They've got all of the members back up. It is just a massive amount of combat going back and forth here. Can the Ape Squad boys hold on for just a few more seconds down to the last 15 seconds of this cash out? Everybody's dying left and right. Sparrow going for the kill. They got the wipe. Do they have enough time? I think that they do, and it's going to be a heartbreaking steal by 200 milliseconds. What is going on, Ape Squad? Come on, guys. Stay alive for just a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, 200 MS right on cue, just pulling out the Ape Squad third party, getting a free steal. No kills necessary, no purchase necessary. I mean, they just show up.
God, dude, that XP 54 beams.
Brand is gonna fall to Sparrow.
Man, that's crazy.
Sparrow's
that he does that
nice
from there.
shots in, but this isn't really doing anything for Dark Horse.
It wasn't even a full clip.
They are in second place, so not the worst spot to be in, and they're gonna maintain second as long as AHS keeps this and doesn't get a bunch of kills here. Sparrow and the boys just going for a hard reset. It's looking like AHS is going to walk away with this one as well, leaving us with about a minute and a half to determine if Vaults 5 and 6 are going to go in. That was the first time today where we didn't see an
That's what I'm
overtime, I
saying.
believe.
Yeah,
First time 5
it's
and
like
6
the
didn't go
ARN
in.
makes sense,
So
but
I'm curious to see how this one gets handled this
yeah,
time. Here we
he's
go.
literally like half a mag into that
Almost
guy, and he's
ways that
dead
we might
from
see
that
again.
range.
We're
That's
definitely gonna see the
ridiculous.
first and second team wanting to kind of control that and make sure that those vaults don't go in, but immediately Sparrow spots out Hashi and goes down as well. Sparrow spotting out BMO as well and gets him down. He's the
Either
last
that or they
person
need to
remaining on
increase
his
the
team.
recoil
He's
on
going
it.
for a res.
I'll
This
be
is a
honest.
good play, as it looks like the Ape Squad is trying to do the exact same thing. It is going to be a 2 versus 2. Can Sparrow spot them out before they do? But there is a plug, so the vault has been plugged into cash out B. That means that we will have some overtime, thankfully, and vault 6 has been tapped as well. So they have 50 seconds to bring that vault all the way over to the other side. There's a gateway, and they will get to A almost immediately. Grudy having to retreat because he's getting shot out by Sparrow. Sparrow spots out 2 of the Ape Squad people, gets BMO down. That aim is insane. Can he spot out the second one? He did. Oh, can't complete the kill. Sad to see, but that was a really good performance by him so far. Hashi getting the kills, and cash out B is starting to tick down. A hasn't been plugged yet, so I'm not sure what's happening over there.
Yes, Sparrow can definitely aim. I'm going to be honest. I ran into him in ranked a couple weeks ago. He had anonymous mode on, and I reported him because I thought he was cheating. And then I saw it was Sparrow after the fact, so I apologize, Sparrow. You got nothing to worry about there, brother. I know you're legit. You're just nasty at the game. But we do see money getting plugged in for 200 MS.
That's so funny.
We also see AHS sitting comfortably with about half progression left over here on B. But right on cue, Mad's gonna fall.
Yeah, so I agree.
Ape
I mean,
Squad's gonna need
the
to do
M11
something here.
or the
They
Mac
can
10
at least move up a couple
nerf is
positions with
what
the
has
successful
made the
steal
MP5
here.
look so
As
good.
we-
Like the MP5, I don't even think
Uni just
was changed.
beams,
Just
beams.
the
You
M11
hate to see
was
that. They are
nerfed.
still 3 alive.
And that's kind of the problem is
for
now
AHS as
you have
well.
the
So we're gonna
ARN,
see a
like
fast
the range
TK coming
above
from Hashi on
technically
Rippy,
the
but they
MP5,
are
and you
not
have
at
the
full
Mac
numbers
10
quite yet, or at least
beneath it
not
at close
fully,
range. So it's
fully
like if you
back.
change the range, it just
We do see 2
like
alive
up or
for the
down.
Ape
The ones
Squad,
that are
but
overlapping. Like right
Uni's
now, it
doing a great
honestly
job here
overlaps the
kiting, playing
ARN.
his
So
life.
the idea
They
is to
don't
lower
really
it, but
need
if you
to get
lower
the
it, you might
kills,
as well
they
run
just
the
need to
M11.
not die. It doesn't
So,
look like
I don't know.
Ape Squad is gonna find the time.
Light's
to
got a
make
lot of
anything
weapons
happen
that do
here.
a lot of
However,
damage,
across the map,
and
we
it's
do
gonna be
see
like
Steel coming into
almost
play,
an entire
which
class
would be
rework
huge,
if you
and
start
that
moving
steal
things
actually
around more.
happens. So 200 MS.
Like
is
they're gonna have to
get dropped.
subsequently move things
Huge
down
steal and
even
a
more.
last
So they
second
move
kill.
the
Oh my
MP5 down.
God.
Well, they gotta take that Mac
Dark
10 and
Horse
move
was
it
in
down even
first
more.
for a second.
And people are gonna be like,
And
well, why'd you
just
nerf it? Nobody's
overtook
using it.
them.
It's like, oh,
That was huge.
that's why.
And
Unless
I
you
think
want them to
AHS
be
secured second place
close to
today
identical,
as
I
well.
guess. Then
That was
it gives player
literally
options,
at
but
the last
like,
second, the timer
what's
was
the
going
point?
down to 0 when they got that kill and they got the extra cash. That was insane. I don't think you'll ever see anything end just like that. But wild to see a After Hours again coming on top. Map 3, they were in control, but oh my goodness, look at that Sparrow popping off. It seems like Sis Horizon is
I
his
agree.
map. 13 kills,
I
7
would
assists,
be happy to have it on medium. I think
8,500
it makes
damage.
sense.
That is a massive amount of damage.
I
That's almost
still
more
don't know
than
why the
double
ARN got put on
anybody in
light.
that last
Honestly,
map.
they could have put it on
Only
medium, and it'd be
shadowed by
somewhat of an
Arrow put it
SMG
behind
at
him.
least.
So
But
just a wild, heavy-hitting map. Dark Horse were fighting on all cylinders. They wanted to win, but sadly,
I'd be curious to see what
After
medium
Hours just
playstyle
seems
would
to
be
just
like
in
with an
control.
SMG.
They are just dominating so
I'd wonder
far.
if people pick up the pace of medium, because
they knew what they had
I mean,
to do
ideally,
today,
unless you're
and
running
they're doing
shotgun,
it for sure. Those guys
medium players are
big
kind of like
time
your
over there.
support poke.
We've seen them win
Obviously, you
tournaments
can
as
fry
a
on
team,
medium, but
maybe
I
under
think a lot of
different
times they
name.
sit back and
I
kind of
believe
poke, or at least
they
that's what
went
I
by a
do,
different name when they were winning
and
those
have good
tournaments.
success.
But we've seen these guys play together. We've seen it for 8 Playdays.
I'd be curious to
now
see
as
if they made it a
well.
running
They know
gun
what's
automatic
up. They got some
weapon for
demons over
medium,
there,
if that
and
would
they
change
came
up the
to play
playstyle
today.
much.
And that's exactly what they did. I don't think anybody was quite on the level or even capable of doing what Bricked has done this season. However, it's been a tightly contested bracket for pretty much everybody
ARN shouldn't have been
besides
out in the
Bricked.
first place. Yeah,
Highly competitive between
I still
HS
think the
and
taped mag
AHS.
implementation
A
is
little
really
bit of a
dumb.
rivalry that we got
I
brewing
think
over
it's
there as well.
a cool
to see.
concept, but they should just make it where the first
rivalries
reload
indeed,
does
and
the
I
thing,
feel like I've
and the
broken
second
record at
reload
this
is
point, but
long.
that's
Like
what's
I
so
don't,
cool about this
I don't
league.
get this
Like,
whole
we have
let's
a
dump
league
the
in the
whole mag
finals.
to get the
People are
bonus. It's
developing-
just
people are
silly.
developing
The
rivalries.
same is
People
true with the
are going
repeater.
up against
People
each
are
other, and
saying
some
like in
people-
our Discord,
it's
they're like,
it's something
oh,
I've been in this scene for
if
since
my
the
repeater
day
has
that
space
we
for
had
5 rounds, I
private
should use the
matches
speed
going.
bleeder. I'm like,
And
that
it's just
makes
been so
sense to
fun
me. I
watch
don't
the
know why it's not that
development
way.
we have today. I remember remember streaming when there was like 12 people watching these games, and now chat, you guys are awesome, and you know, we love ya. We will have one more map for today. I don't even want to say it. I can't believe that this is the last map, and I don't want it to end, but it's not going to end because we have the playoffs after this week. It'll be on.
All right, chat. This is your
weekend,
last chance
and
to
then the
go
grand
send your
finals
copy
followed
pastas.
up
I
the
think.
week after that. So there's a
Put
lot
the
to
link in
come,
chat
but
one
that's
more
just
time
a
for you
little
in case
hint
you haven't
of
done
what's
it.
to come.
I'm obviously
And,
not
as we get loaded
going
into this
to
last map,
because
but want to
I don't
remind
want to take away
everybody
from the
again,
community.
after this map is over, we're going to be doing our
But
giveaway.
you guys should do it.
So
And
do
then
you
if you
want
win, let me know.
$10 in all of the finals bucks? I know that their store
There's the
added a
link.
ton of cool stuff. I'm always
And obviously drop them a
scrounging
follow
for
as well,
a little bit
or
of extra
Prime,
cash to buy
or
some cool
whatever you
stuff.
wanna
So
do.
if you want to win, you just
your
have
life.
to make us laugh by pasting your favorite copy pasta. I love the ones that are kind of more targeted towards like players or, you know, the finals in general, or just anybody that's happening in the scene. So keep them coming, guys, because they are fun to watch. And I said it before, but I'll even read out the winning copy pasta. So guys, keep them coming. And do we know what the last map will be? Production. Bernal. It's all going to end on Bernal. So Bernal is a very interesting map. What makes it
I
unique
thought
in
so
the
as
finals
well,
is the fact
Soul.
that
I mean, when it came
a lot of
out,
maps have
a lot of people thought that, and I think the
verticality,
problem
which
is the
means they have a
Pike
lot
is
of areas
just
that you have to kind of look
it's
up
another
on,
overshadowing
and to kind
problem.
of
The
be
Pike is
looking up
just
to
the
make
better
sure that
pick.
there's not somebody above you or
It's
kind
got
of in a
faster fire
position.
rate, faster
But
reload.
What makes Bernal interesting is that it has a lot
I
of
think more damage
horizontality.
technically to
So
the
it
head,
basically
things like
means
that.
there's not a lot of structures that go high, but there's a
So
lot that kind of happens on the
it's
horizontal
just kind
sphere,
of
or a horizontal plane.
it's a hard choice to take it.
So it's cool to see. It's a
Our
very
first
unique
video on
map.
this channel was
It's a
talking
little
about the
bit, you know,
repeater, and I
not the
said
favorite
that
by everybody,
while
but
it does
I
a
think
lot
that
of
from a
damage, it's
visual
hard to clean up
kind of
kills with.
standpoint, it's a
People
really
can
cool
slip
map.
away
What
too
are your
easily
thoughts,
between
Mike,
shots,
on the map?
and I still feel
Yeah,
like
I
that's the case.
am a fan of Bernal.
Yeah, the
It
FAMAS is way
I
more
guess, one
consistent.
of
The FAMAS is still,
lower
even with the
pick rate
range
maps,
nerf,
I
is
guess we
still
see in the competitive side of
arguably
things.
the best
I
AR,
think that's because it
or
almost
best
has a
weapon.
labyrinth effect. If you're not
Ooh.
holding a
I do
dematerializer,
notice the
then you might have a
range
really hard
difference, though.
time navigating through
I'd
the
say it's
map,
welcome.
even
That
though
gun
it
had
is
way too much
so
range.
horizontal
As
as
sad as
opposed
it
to
is
the
for me.
verticality that we see. We have rooms that literally lead to nowhere. We have fake doors, so it is quite frustrating if you don't have a dematerializer in your hand. But I do enjoy the gameplay of it. The rotations and the timings work out really nice too. The game has started, so we are underway here as Dark Horse are taking some shots from the Ape Squad, fighting over for Vault #1. That means across the map we have 200 MS and AHS handling their things, handling their business over there. We see a bit of a reposition coming in from Sparrow here as Airrock is going to fall. So 2 alive for Dark Horse. Not great, but Sparrow hitting the flank of the Sentry, it looks like. He's got the enemies in his sight, but he's
Exactly
a bit
so.
out of range. This might be the one spot where you
I'm in the same boat. I also hate the fact that I need to run defib, and I know like there's a couple people who would argue you don't, but I'm kind of like, if I'm not running defib, why am I playing?
That's going to be a wipe
medium?
for Dark Horse. It also looks like it was a
Playing
wipe for 200
lighter,
MS
heavy at that point.
and a fast
Either
start
have
to
more
things
health or
for After
do more
Hours,
damage.
who are absolutely buzzing. They've already secured second. I mean, I guess theoretically they could be passed by someone in this group, but they've already secured second place as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they are looking pretty. I think that they have second place pretty much locked down, even if they play with their monitors turned off for this match. But we know that's not what they want to do, but we're moving over into it directly as Ape Squad is just getting deleted. There goes Rippy. They're trying to find out the next Aper, but there he goes. The res goes off. Hashi goes down. They're going to have one person at half health. There is some cleanup happening. Did the tides just turn? It's now just down to Brands as he's trying to stay alive. There's Rippy getting a res off, but is getting spotted out. This is really
Double movement plus goo is interesting.
The Ape Squad have turned this around. I did not think that was going to go that way. Really good plays by them.
I have seen a lot of people running double
Moving over to
movement,
the other side of the
and
map.
I've also
There
seen
is
people
combat
running goo.
going
I've
on
not
as
seen a lot of
Sparrow
people
spots one
doing
of the people up.
both
He's
at
the
the
last
same
person
time.
remaining on his team. He's down to just 18 HP, running away. They have to chase him. They want to get this kill, right? What are they not doing? But they run back to the cash out. They're buying themselves more time. Sparrow running back into there, maybe just get himself the team wipe so that his team comes back and they have every opportunity to go for the steal. But these cash outs are running down. Both teams are in firm control as it looks like 200 milliseconds are making their push onto cash out B.
Yeah, 200 MS following the steps of Dark Horse over here, trying to get good timing, but I don't think they realized that After Hours won that fight.
Please hold
pretty
Let's Go Killer Guy
handily
for
and
me
are
more places.
full
Yeah,
HP,
that is
full
fair.
reset,
I get that.
Really nice gateway pad.
I mean, I
into an
think
RPG
like
as well. Finding
as far as
decent
like
damage, not
support
the damage you
util
would like to see from it.
kind of goes
Wolf's
out the
still
window when
using
you're
that
playing
M60
solo,
with the
especially
bottomless
because people
clip,
don't
but he is
comment
gonna
this game
fall
as
to
much.
Mad. Uni's gonna find one as well. Mad does get taken down by Brands, but Brands being the last man alive, there's not much you could do there. Lasagna, clean shots, running the F car, Giga Chad move. We have seen some recent nerfs to the FAMAS, so that kind of opens things up as far as the rifles category goes on medium. I even saw, I mean, we see over in EU an AK being used by Nox, so, you know, crazy stuff over there, but I like to see the versatility and creativity coming out with the medium ARs. I love the F-Car. Sparrow can't find these shots though, but Arok can, so he's got his back for sure. Taking out Rippy, going for the last second steal here. They have the time if they stick it, but unfortunately, Hashi's gonna get the pick on Arok, shutting that one down. Sparrow, just the shots aren't landing for Sparrow the way they were when he dropped 13 kills. I'll tell you that much. A bit frustrating for Sparrow.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes you can get fatigued. Like, when you are performing at a top level, it can get exhausting, and especially with the stakes being where they are. So it makes full sense to me why somebody might be popping off on one map and might be struggling just a little bit in a follow-up one. But watching now as 200 milliseconds try and go for this vault, we see that After Hours is in control of it, and this is going to be a very tough fight to push in. Rudy looking for anybody with that F-car. He is jumping into that pergola, I forget what it's called, it's an interesting name, but moving into a goo wall behind him. He is staying alive, and there was a blueberry that was popped as well, so healing going down on top of that. They need to make this push, but they just seem to kind of be at a little bit of a standstill. After Hours is just waiting for their right move, but I think that 200 milliseconds decided to pull away. We move over to the other cash out that is about to get started as we see Cobra taking a lot of damage, but dealing it right back. Sadly, he goes down in that fight. The Ape Squad is here to clean up. There's Bimo getting 1 kill, 2 kills, looking for the next, but moving over to Sparrow's perspective. Are we about to see Sparrow versus Bimo? I'm not sure, because everybody is here. There's a lot of people at D and a lot of combat already going off. One of the Ape Squad boys is trying to get their res off, and they did. They have it, and everybody will be back up. This is a little bit of a lull as we get ready for these vaults to be plugged.
Yeah, a bit of downtime between the plugs there. That's definitely going to affect the final boxes, but for now we still got 3 and 4 to worry about. We see some action going down as Brands gets picked off by Lasagna. Mad mesh in hand. Lasagna shooting straight, that is for sure. As Grudy's going to pick up his buddy Brands. Mad's going to take out Grudy, punishing that defib there, and that's going to be a wipe in the hands, or I'm sorry, 200 MS is going to fall to the hands of AHS, who are absolutely clicking. They are buzzing. They know they can't get first today, but they are still trying to send a message in securing second place and doing it in convincing fashion. They have about 30 seconds clear, maybe a little bit more, but across the map, 4 has not even been tapped yet. So we're going to see a monstrous stagger and an interesting approach we're seeing out of Dark Horse as well, as they're not going to go for 4 at all. They want to avoid this stagger. I can't say I disagree. I definitely like this play call here. Cobra getting the lock bolts ready, but again, a little bit of a lull, as it not only looks like they're going for C, but it looks like they're waiting to third it as well. So they do not want to be the aggressors here. And this is good if you're AHS, because all you got to do is wait. You are going to be getting pushed from 200 MS, but again, this is a very slow developing play, and I don't know if it was extremely well thought out from Dark Horse aside from that original plan.
Yeah, not what I would expect in the last map like this, because look at the cash totals, everybody. We see that Dark Horse in 200 milliseconds barely have any cash to their name. They're going to have to hope and pray for some doubles going on, but we're going to move right into the combat as Cash Out C is slowly running down. It is in control of After Hours. If somebody's able to get this steal up, it will be very influential for the rest of the map, but there it is. Brands is looking for a shot. They move on to the point. After Hours is trying to stay on it. This is a good spot for them to be in. as the clock ticks down, and they're able
Alright,
to
you see
stop
that.
the push from 200 milliseconds. They're going to get a res off, and they're going to be sitting pretty as Cash Out D is getting started by Dark Horse. Finally getting some cash to their name, but 200 milliseconds still struggling with only $2,500. Ape Squad now getting respawned as well. I think that we're going to see a lot of this combat happening right here on this point. Everybody wants to dive on it, and I see a lot of people getting closer than they are to the other vault. There is still time if the other vault wants to be tapped, but we are looking at a potential where we would see a double, especially if somebody like 200 milliseconds is able to get in control of that vault. Slowing things down just a bit. This is not the typical combat you see in the finals, but there is some strategic plays going on as people make their choices of what they want to do. Cash Out D halfway done. That vault is about to pop. It is ready to move, but they have only just 45 seconds to get it anywhere. Watching as Dark Horse makes their retreat, going through a gateway, Shack 50 in hand, as well as a lock bolt. Sadly, Corbin just goes down in that fight, immediately gets res back up by Arok, but Arok very low, 4 HP. He's having to stay inside of that building. He's not wanting to get any bit of damage to himself, but this clock is ticking down. We're at our last 45 seconds. As I said, everybody was going to be here on this point. There's only 12 seconds left roughly on it. There's 20 seconds left. Time is going down. 200 milliseconds going for the steal. This is their opportunity to get in maybe third, but they need to get something
and they
going.
get that
They
steal.
have the cash. There goes Dark Horse, which is going to make it harder for them. We're looking at the last 20 seconds of this map. Vault 5 not going to be plugged. Everybody want to go for D. This is how it's going to wrap up in the Pro League. 15 seconds left. Is anything going to change? Is 200 milliseconds finally going to get some cash to their name? There's a dome shield going down. We're watching Wolf just wait. He pulls a winch claw. There's no time. This is how it's going to play out.
What an ending.
Not a lot of cash going to their name. They will get third from it. Really just one of the weirdest maps I have ever seen in the Pro League, but there you have it. That's how it's all gonna play.
What do I think
out
about
after
spawn
hours,
logic and
taking
cash
the
out? I don't
win.
know if I understand it
And
enough.
I don't even remember how the rest of the teams.
I've started to get a feel for spawns,
wild.
but
Yeah, I mean, that was not how I expected.
I don't really.
Two
I think know enough whether to
games of
comment
the final
like
Playday to
if it's
go.
good or not.
No
I feel like they're
overtimes
okay,
in either of those games.
but I don't know.
But I mean, I don't know. That was definitely interesting as we see. I don't really have much to say. That was definitely interesting there. A bit uneventful or lackadaisical, I guess you could say at the
I
end.
think our streams
A
having
bit
issues.
unorganized as well, but that wraps up the season, guys. I mean, that was the last game of our final Playday. As we see AHS dominant today, doing their best bricked impersonations, just absolutely wiping the floor with people. Really nice stuff. Ape Squad finishing strong. You love to see it. They definitely struggled in the first 2.5 games or so, I would say. And
That's valid.
That's a wonderful way.
Yeah, I mean, Bernal has
heading
some
into playoffs.
terrible spawns in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't believe that after
map's just
hours we're able
bad,
to take it
in my
4
opinion, for
wins.
that.
They won
Soul
every
also,
single
I think,
map.
has
That
pretty
is
bad spawns, but
terrifying.
I think it's to
Uni
keep you out of
popped off,
danger.
All of their teammates popped
But
off.
I think a lot of
They
people would
worked as
prefer
a
to have the
very
re-attack.
cohesive unit, and they're terrifying.
So,
they're right up there with Bricked. They
I don't
are
know.
one of the
It's
top
it's
teams.
tough
That whole
because like if
composition
you
is just
spawn people for the
insane.
re-attack if they already
And,
control an
really, just
objective,
the whole lobby was
they may feel
great.
like they're just
I
kind of
think
being
that,
spawn trapped at that
Ape Squad
point.
struggled probably the most out of all 4 of those matches.
The
So,
fighting far away
guys, go
sucks
back and
too,
watch the
so I'm not
VOD,
really
see
sure.
what y'all kind of made a little bit of mistakes in, and I know that you guys can correct. I've seen y'all play, and I know that this is not how y'all.
I think I have bigger issues with
but
some of these
just-
maps where the
just
vaults
overall,
spawn
looking
themselves.
back on
Sometimes
the
they spawn to where you
entire
can
game. So we
see
just got done with
like
Group
5
C.
and 6 or 2 and
Just
3.
gonna talk a
Or
retrospective
3 and
about all
4,
the other teams
and
real quick, all
teams
the
just
other
start
matches.
shooting
You
at
guys
each
can
other
wait for the final tallies to
between
come
those
up.
2 vaults.
We'll look at the numbers here in a
I
sec,
think
but
is so
Group
annoying.
A was pretty much dominated.
I like feeling like I have my
and then
one-on-one
moving
until I
over
gotta
to
go deal
Group
with the
B,
other
it was a
teams
little
at
bit
some
more
point,
of
but
a mix.
I
It
don't
wasn't
like
one
just
team dominating.
doing my thing, they're
Probably
doing their
some of my
thing, we're
favorite
just shooting at
matches
each other
were in
instead.
Group B.
It's
Just
just
they were a little
annoying.
bit closer, just a little bit more chaotic and a little bit more fun. In Group C, everybody seemed to take a
Right,
turn
exactly.
for more of a strategic play. They didn't want to. There were a lot of times that we didn't see cash outs going into overtime. We didn't see maps going to overtime. We didn't see like vaults being plugged very
There's a
often.
lot of
Just-
maps that did
just
not have
different
overtime.
play
I felt like
style,
today. I
and
felt like
kind of
these games
not
actually
what
were
I've
pretty
seen a lot
quick,
in
especially this
league,
series.
but
This
still really
entire
cool.
series was like.
So, what are your thoughts on
Either
everything that we
I
just
might have been
watched
checked
today,
out for a little
Rich?
bit. I was catching up on some stuff on
I mean,
Discord, but
each group definitely played out extremely different
yeah,
from
I mean,
the
these maps are
one
quick.
prior, for sure. It was pretty typical day in the office for Bricked. No matter what group they're a part of, it seemed to go the same way, and that's pretty much every team hiding from Bricked. As far as Group B went, we had a lot of competitive games. HF looked fantastic today. We saw some great progress from Make-A-Wish, and Team D looked really good as well. And then over in Group C, it was interesting to say the least. It was almost like a role reversal between A Squad and 200 MS, but AHS was business as usual. They held it down for sure. So they are a scary team going into the playoffs. But we have here our final standings heading into our playoffs, as Bricked obviously is in first, but AHS did do enough to overpass Halto's Finest, who end up finishing in third. Team D shortly behind in fourth. Blowers finishing the season off in fifth. Ape Squad in sixth. Dark Horse taking seventh. Fourth Party Cashbox in eighth. And our bottom four teams are going to be Scallywag, Make-A-Wish, 200 MS, and Oni Legends.
Yeah, what's interesting to point out there is that the Scallywags had kind of a struggle today. They struggled just a little bit.
I enjoyed the
and
new
look at
TDM
how it
map.
all
I think it's a ton of
panned
fun. I
out.
played it
So
for the first
they
time last
came
night.
just 8 points away.
It's really cool.
from
I was
fourth-party
doing a
Cashbox. If they would've had
challenge,
just a
or one of my
slightly
contracts
better
for heavy
performance,
damage, and
they
I was
would have
taking
been
the zip
pushed
lines
up.
between the
So,
sniper
a little
towers
bit
and block holding, and
heartbreaking
then
to see, but those
RPGing
four
people from the
bottom-tier
sky. And it
teams,
was
they're
was
all
pretty mint.
amazing players.
Cool.
They have performed really well.
It felt like
I've seen a
it
lot
felt
of
like
growth. I've
Battlefield a
seen
little bit
lot
when
of
you like jump out of a
development
jet
between
and
all
shoot
of
somebody
them.
with a
So
rocket.
don't count any of them out. Then nobody
So
is kicked
I agree.
out.
I hope
They
they
all
do
go to the
more
playoffs
TDM
next
maps
week.
that are
So there is
unique
a
like
lot
that.
of potential for
I
any
am
of these teams to kind of come out on top.
skeptical. I think
Brick
that
and
map is
After
going to
Hours
come out
definitely are
as a full map at
dominating
some point,
teams,
because
but
they
looking
named
at
it
the rest of
location
it, there was
redacted,
a
or they
lot
mentioned
of
that.
good
So I'm
competition
wondering
going
if it
on
comes out
today.
as an
Halto's
actual map
Finest in
later,
third,
but maybe
Team
not.
D in
We'll see.
fourth, Blowers in fifth,
I'm
Ape
cool with some
Squad in
TDM only
sixth,
maps.
Dark Horse
Same with
in
Power
seventh,
Shift.
and fourth
Power
Party
Shift only maps
Cashbox
would be
in
cool
eighth.
too.
So guys, that is how it is going to play out. That is our league. That is the very first
All right, guys.
league.
Well,
We have completed
that's the
8
final
matches.
standings.
I
I
believe
don't
was
know what
talking
people are going to do
production
about Bricked.
beforehand.
I'm
It
just
was
saying.
96 matches
But yeah.
of cash out so far. And looking at that, if we include the EU side, we're talking almost 200 matches we have given y'all of pro games in the finals. So guys, chat, y'all are really the reason we're here.
All right, guys, so this is the bracket.
The next stage
next week, I think, is when this kicks off. Yeah, May 10th.
So take a
So,
look here. We have the
we
quarterfinals.
will be checking that out. Oh, that's
The upper finals,
Saturday.
the grand
Excellent.
finals the next weekend. So
so
this is how it's all going to
we
play
will
out.
be
The
streaming
lower
that
bracket,
that
sadly,
event
is a best of one. So some of those teams that are
right
in
here on the
lower
channel.
bracket are the ones
So make
that
sure
are
you
the
check it
most
out.
potential of
I'll be
being-
posting a
I would
Discord
say
when it goes live,
the
just
more
like this
tough
was.
challenge going
Cody
forward.
should
So,
hopefully join me.
that is our
we'll see.
bracket. That's how it's going to play out. We do have a giveaway, guys, and I've said it all day, but let me see your copy pastas. I've seen a few of them. You guys are amazing. Now is the time. Do you want to win $10? Because we're going to choose here in just a second. I've seen one so far that I screenshotted because it made me laugh, but can anybody top it? You guys have 1 minute, copy pasta and get them going. But with that said, in this last minute, do you have any thoughts on, let's just say, Pro League, what you saw today? Let's just give, you have the mic there, Merch. What do you want to just talk about? What do you want to say about what we've just seen today?
Well, I just want to shout out everyone behind the scenes at Pro League, specifically Burrita, who's our producer, our cameraman. I shout him out every single week, but he truly deserves it. You wouldn't be watching this production if it wasn't for Burrita. I'll just be honest and say it like that. He's making all of this happen. So W Burrita in the chat, please, please, please. But other than that, I'm so happy to see. We saw the progress of teams, but we also saw the progress of the Pro League. In such a brief amount of time, the production value, the rules, the organization, it evolved into what it is today, and it is still going. I also can't wait for the playoffs. I love cash out, but it is quite hectic to cast, and I can't wait to get into these 3v3s. It's going to be a lot of fun come playoff time. That's my 2 cents.
Yep, I think that you said everything wonderful. I am seeing some copy pastas come into chat. I think I'm gonna go with, let's see, Who are we gonna choose? You know what? I've seen this one pasted a lot, and I think that they deserve it. So, Choi, we're gonna read this out loud. This is for you, Brendy, and the Halto's finest people. You seem to have the most people rooting for you in chat. So here we go. I promised it to you, and Choi, you will be contacted by Burrito for your $10 coin. But here it is, everybody. I promised I'd read it. So, if Brindy has 1 million fans, then I am one of them. If Brindy has 10 fans, then I am one of them. If Brindy only has 1 fan, then that's me. If Brindy has no fans, then that means I am no longer on Earth. If the world is against Brindy, then I am against the world! And that is the copy pasta. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. This has been a wild league.
Well,
I
there's
love
your winner
the
for the
finals.
copy
I love
pasta,
all
guys.
of you in chat and merch. I have had a wonderful time casting these games with you. And guys, that is where we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you for everything you guys do. Burrito, you are the supreme GOAT. You know it. And like I said, guys, next week we are going to get into the playoffs. But also, one final note is that next Wednesday, we're not going to have matches, but myself, Burrito, and Waltz will be on the mic, and we're going to be talking about the entire Pro Leagues experience. Everything from the startup to some of our favorite plays to some of our favorite players, everything that we've seen so far. So guys, be sure to tune in at this time next Wednesday, and we will kind of give you a nice little overview of everything that has happened so far. But guys, I have been yapping for over 3 hours, and I have had a blast. Merch, you're amazing, and we're going to sign off there. But thank you guys for enjoying the Pro League Season 0, and we will catch you again for the playoffs. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, gang. That's it. So, no stream on Wednesday. Like they said, we won't do a watch party for that, but I recommend checking it out. I'll probably check out that stream. But we will catch you guys Saturday. I will get a time. It'll be in Discord, or have notice on here on the channel to know when we go live. But I will definitely be here. Cody hopefully will be here alongside me, at least for part of the event. And yeah. Anyways, guys, catch you later. Have a good rest of your evening. Peace.